Pure power. Her strength is so insane the clouds literally scatter. And our mushroom? He is doing his absolute best not to get blown away, clinging beneath that egg. But now, the bird is watching. In front of him stands a legendary, unbeatable creature. Our guy is frozen solid under that gaze as Mother Falcon keeps staring him down. But then crack! Unexpectedly, one of the eggshells finally begins to give way. The fracture grows until out pops a tiny baby falcon. And immediately, this little creature starts looking around, taking its very first shaky steps out of the shell. It looks back at where it just came from and spots our mushroom hero. It waddles over, curious, and nuzzles him affectionately. It's like it knows who helped out. Seeing her chick finally born, the powerful Mother Falcon is absolutely thrilled. Pure joy. Getting all emotional, she moves in for a close-up, but things get weird. Fast. The chick rejects her. It literally kicks her in the face. Talk about ungrateful, right? The baby is totally irritated by the smothering. The mushroom just wonders what he's done. Just then, two more little fluffballs approach. Mother Falcon and the mushroom turn to look. It is the piglet, and riding on its back, the other two newborns. This hits Mother Falcon right in the feels. She is overwhelmed with love for them. She leans in to give them a motherly caress, but nope, not happening. The other two reject her instantly too. They are busy playing with the piglet instead. They think the pig is their real mom. Meanwhile, the first chick approaches the mushroom again. Honestly, they are adorable. Deadly, sure, but these three little ones are super cute. So now we have three legendary babies playing with a mushroom and a piglet. The real mom is just watching completely desolate. Imagine the heartbreak of being rejected. Seeing this, our mushroom gets thoughtful. Then ding, a brilliant idea strikes. He starts walking and signals the piglet to follow, heading straight toward the Mother Falcon. He stops so suddenly that everyone following him just bumps into each other. Smooth move. He looks her in the eye, surrounded by her offspring. She still glares back threateningly. Her intentions are crystal clear, but before things get ugly, one of the chicks appears. It starts pecking at her. Ouch. That emotional blow hurts more than any poison. The three little ones huddle up, trying to protect their small parents from the bird. But our hero stands right between them and their real mother. He looks at them. You cannot do that, he says firmly. The chicks actually look sad, total guilt trip. Now that he has their attention, he performs a horrible dance and grabs a stone. With a huge effort, he breaks it. The babies are just watching, completely confused. He points to the Mother Falcon. She is your mom. She risked everything for you. Hearing those words, Mother Falcon gets choked up. The mushroom gives a final command. Be good kids and give her a hug. And they do. She is so happy. After doing such a solid favor, our guy is hoping for some serious karma. He hopes she will return the favor and fly them to the Mushroom Kingdom. With her chicks tucked under her wings, the giant bird looks at him again. Her gaze is still terrifying. Suddenly, he is not so sure about his strategy. He is praying she will show some gratitude, but she just turns and leaves. Left in the dust, our mushroom hero is still holding out hope for a ride, but all he sees is her moving away into the horizon. Just gone. In the distance, the chicks look back. Mother Falcon does too with that intimidating stare. She thinks he is bold. A low-level monster trying to give orders to a queen? Wait, did that creature just talk? Our feathered friend definitely didn't expect a conversation from a fungi. It's got a dude's voice too. The shock hits hard, and now the tiny mushroom is actually trembling. Shaking like a leaf, the mushroom watches as the falcon looms over him, demanding some serious answers. What makes you think you can boss me around? He thinks, but as he tries to move, reality bites. Something's wrong. Terribly wrong. Suddenly, the mighty predator coughs up a spray of dark, crimson blood. His chicks are watching in total horror. It looks like those battle wounds were way worse than he thought. He starts trembling, his strength fails, and thud, he collapses right onto the hard ground. Absolute disaster. Nobody saw that coming. The tiny chicks scramble over, chirping in a panic as their father lies still. He's fading fast. With eyes barely open, he shoots a wary look at the mushroom and the piglet. He glares at them like they're the ones to blame. Then, hours pass as night falls over the plains. The prairie goes dark, and our bird of prey finally starts to drift back into the land of the living. He feels a strange warmth. Squinting, he sees his three chicks actually sitting right inside the campfire. Instant heart attack. But wait, the little guys are totally fine, just using the flames as a cozy bed, just sleeping. Whew. He settles down, noticing a certain round friend snoozing near the heat as well. That piglet is out cold, snoring away. The falcon? Oh, he is completely offended by this casual disrespect. He tries to act tough and stand up, but his legs are shaking like jelly. Effort isn't enough today, and he's back down. The agony radiating through his body is nothing short of soul-crushing. Not even a level up could fix this mess. That synthetic toxin is really doing a number on him. Asterisk, clink, clink. Asterisk, what's that? He hears the distinct sound of glass bottles rattling together nearby. He looks over, intrigued, and sees the mushroom digging through a bag with those tiny little hands. The mushroom starts pulling out all sorts of items and gold coins. Talk about a weird treasure haul. Seeing the loot, the falcon speaks up, only to be met with the mushroom's cheeky, mischievous grin. Oh, Look who's finally awake, the mushroom quips, before marching over with some serious boss energy. The bird immediately goes into high alert. He doesn't trust this little guy one bit, not even a little. The mushroom ignores his glares and just forces the contents of a vial right down his beak. Talk about rude. He's so weak he can't even fight back against a low-level monster. How embarrassing. But then something clicks. Suddenly, he feels a strange, warm sensation spreading through his entire body. That potion is the real deal. His stamina starts ticking back up, and man, it feels good. Lucky for him, he hadn't devoured that entire body earlier, because that's where the antidote was hidden. It's going to take time to fully work, though. He needs rest, even if he hates admitting it right now. Why save me? He asks. The mushroom just sighs. If you died, who'd protect these tiny puffball chicks? Exactly. No daddy bird means no protection. Thankfully, the little ones are safe and sound for now. The falcon looks at his kids, actually feeling a bit emotional. Even predators have a heart, I guess. Even with the meds, standing up is still a massive struggle. His body is basically screaming in protest. The mushroom explains she's just a traveler. She only wants to reach the mushroom kingdom in one piece. But the falcon gives her the "Are you crazy?" Look, he knows exactly what's waiting for them. That road is a total death trap, he warns. A mushroom might slip through, but what about the others? She might blend in, sure. But that piglet? Yeah, he's basically a walking ham sandwich in that territory. Speaking of the pig, she's currently dreaming about a feast, completely oblivious to the danger. Pure vibes. The mushroom isn't getting the hint, so the falcon spells it out. The Mushroom King? He's a legend. And not the good kind. He hates everyone, humans, monsters, doesn't matter. He attacks literally anything on sight. It's a no-entry zone with a death penalty. The falcon thinks this mushroom is absolutely insane. You want me to fly you to your doom, he thinks? But then, he leans in a bit closer. Suddenly, the giant bird looms over the tiny mushroom, sending the poor thing into a total panic. What do you want now? She squeaks, terrified she's about to become the next item on the menu. The falcon steps back, tilting its head. This mushroom? Totally bizarre. See, it usually thinks of these guys as mindless snacks, bottom of the food chain stuff. A mushroom is supposed to be a brainless existence. But our boy here? Different story. Finding a smart, low-level monster is rare. Usually, it'd be the perfect snack for its chicks. That thought has the little mushroom shaking in its boots, but then, the falcon just laughs. Just kidding, it says. Real funny, bird. The mushroom almost lost its spores right then and there. It's not like those humans, right? The ones who wreck everything just to satisfy their own greed. Our mushroom remembers a time when everyone lived in peace. Why can't we go back to that? Humans, they don't just want the eggs. They're monsters in their own right. They smash the shells before they even hatch. That's how the falcon lost every previous brood. Even in other worlds, humans are just as despicable. Thinking about it makes the bird's blood boil. A massive scream rips through the air as a flaming aura explodes from the falcon's entire body. Pure, unadulterated rage. Yet, its current brood sleeps peacefully. It looks at them worried. This time, they only survive because of this weird little mushroom. And for that, it actually says thanks. Stunned by the gratitude, the mushroom stammers out that it's no problem at all. It's a deal then. Tomorrow, the falcon is taking our boy straight to the Mushroom Kingdom. Finally, the mushroom was ready to crash, but then the realization hits like a truck. It's totally hyped now. Wait, you're really taking us to the Mushroom Kingdom? I am, the bird replies, but you better shut up before I change my mind. Excitement level? Off the charts. Our boy tells the bird to sleep, he's got things to do. The bird is suspicious. What is this tiny, weird creature plotting in the middle of the night? Well, there are plenty of ingredients lying around. Time for some experimental cooking. He grabs some gel from the slimes he captured earlier. Into the pot it goes. He's brewing a potion right next to the main dish, using a stone as a makeshift lab bench. Slowly, he climbs up on his tiny legs to get to work. Time for the secret ingredient. He starts swinging his large cap around, touching his rear directly into the liquid. Decomposition skill. Activate. He begins to absorb everything in the pot. It takes a lot of effort for a simple shroom. But then, he vomits a glowing liquid into a vial. It is absolutely foul. The bird literally can't watch without gagging. A bit of vomit drips from his mouth, and his backside is soaked in potion. Gross, but effective. He waddles over to the bird, all casual. We're gonna need a lot of this. It's a stamina potion. Just imagining drinking that special brew makes the bird burn with pure disgust. But hey, the inventory is looking good. 1 teleport scroll, 500 coins, and several potions. Crack of dawn. Next day, the falcon is already airborne, gliding smoothly through the clouds. In its claws, 1 mushroom and 1 very confused piglet. Our boy tells the pig, "Don't freak out, buddy. Just listen to everything I say." The piglet just grunts back. Friendly enough. The falcon calls out, "They're getting close. Time to prepare for landing." The bird begins its steep descent toward the ground. The mushroom is screaming internally, absolutely terrified. But the piglet, he's loving the ride. As the ground rushes up to meet them, the mushroom can barely handle the adrenaline. His pig friend, on the other hand, is just fascinated by the view from above. Shaking off the fear, he finally sees it. The Mushroom Kingdom. And holy hell, it's massive. Surrounded by huge protective walls, the kingdom stretches across a vast circular valley. But as they get closer, the falcon realizes something is wrong. They're being attacked. Hang on tight, he yells. They pull each other close as they dive straight into the chaos. Heads up, the falcon is diving like a maniac, dodging what looks like a literal fighter jet made of mud. It's gross, but deadly. The bird isn't backing down, though he's charging up a mouthful of heat to defend his passengers. He lets loose a massive blast of magical fire. Boom! The explosion is just enough to keep them from getting pancaked. Our little mushroom friend is freaking out, asking what's even attacking them. I mean, can you blame the guy? The falcon's answer? Short and terrifying. Apparently, those mud jets are his own people. Talk about a family reunion from hell. As the smoke clears, the view below is absolutely insane. You can finally see what they're up against. The walls are crawling with them. Hundreds of mushrooms are mounted there like organic artillery batteries, just waiting for a target. A mage mushroom is calling the shots, and the little guys are scurrying to their battle stations. This is coordinated chaos. This mage is level 44, totally chill, totally focused, using his magic to force evolve the others into living weapons. Wand in hand, he starts chanting some high-level incantation. He taps the mushroom next to him, and things get weird. The little guy starts vibrating like he's had 10 espressos. A second later, those shakes turn into full-blown tectonic jumps. Transformation complete. He's now a spike-covered nightmare. Meet the explosive mushroom, basically a ticking time bomb with legs. These guys are no joke. They're built to self-destruct and can take down enemies twice their level. Talk about a glass cannon. This particular bomb is level 24. He hops over and lodges himself right into the tip of a cannon. Now, the cannon mushroom is level 36. Usually, he's just firing out mucus, which is nasty enough on its own, but when he's out of snot, he'll fire anything, even his own teammates. And right now, his nose is starting to itch. He's trying to hold it in, but the sneeze is winning. He takes a massive, lung-busting breath as the tension builds. His cannon snout retracts, loading the shot. It's the ultimate build-up and then total relief. Aku. He sneezes with the force of a thunderclap, launching that explosive mushroom straight into the stratosphere. He's not the only one. A literal barrage is filling the sky. If the falcon takes a direct hit, game over, man. He knows the stakes. He's waiting, calculating, and then whoosh. He starts pulling some top-tier pilot maneuvers to dodge the incoming fire. He's weaving through them like a pro, but the ones that miss, they don't just fly away, they stop midair. Instant detonation. They explode into a massive cloud of spores, turning the sky into a toxic minefield for our falcon. It's a trap. The falcon has to pull some emergency evasive moves to stay ahead of the spreading spore cloud. To trigger the big bang, these mushrooms have to pull a literal lever on their bodies. Once they do, it's go time. They start glowing red hot, radiating pure heat. These are the guys he's got to avoid, and one is getting uncomfortably close. Like, dangerously close. The falcon realizes he's trapped, so he taps into his mana for one more trick. He drops a massive wall of fire. It's a brilliant move, incinerating every single spore before they can touch a feather. The flames hold steady. It's not just a shield, though it's the perfect smokescreen for their great escape. While the enemies are distracted by the fireworks, the falcon keeps pushing forward, leaving the chaos behind. They've officially breached the outer layer. Next stop, the inner layer. After that, they're on their own, but he's basically talking to himself. Our passengers? Yeah, they're completely brain dead from all those barrel rolls. They're slumped over, stunned into silence by the G-forces. Meanwhile, the falcon is closing in on the drop zone. Suddenly, he feels it. Something is very, very wrong. The vibe in the city ahead is pure nightmare fuel. The closer he gets, the more his survival instincts scream turn back. He skids to a dead halt in midair. The little mushroom wakes up, stuttering like crazy. Are we there yet? Please tell me we're there. Bad news, buddy. The falcon tells them this is the end of the line. If he goes any further, he's fried chicken for sure. He's not risking his life for a fare. The mushroom is panicking, trying to figure out where they even are. No answer. The falcon just opens his claws and yeet, he drops them right there in the middle of the sky. Talk about a bad Yelp review. For a second, they're just hovering in shock before gravity finally remembers they exist. Now it's a full-on free fall. Our mushroom friend is screaming for his life, but the piglet? Oh, she is. As they plummet toward the ground, they see something weird shimmering below. Is that a rainbow? Thud. The little mushroom hits it head first, but instead of going splat, they start sliding down it like a playground ride. They're picking up some serious speed now. The further they go, the more they realize this rainbow is anything but normal. It's a wild ride to the bottom, and you can bet things are about to get even crazier from here on out. That classic stomach drop feeling hits them hard as they plummet toward the ground. After a few very undignified bounces on the grass, they're finally grounded on that wand. They just sit there, frozen, trying to wrap their brains around the absolute madness they just survived. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. The piglet loved the rush, but her friend? Yeah, he was literally praying for death. Looking back, he's just glad he's still breathing. It doesn't take long before they feel it, a low, ominous tremor vibrating through the dirt. The shaking gets violent. They look at a nearby boulder, then another one starts rattling too. Suddenly, this peaceful field doesn't look so innocent. They're surrounded by giant, living stone mushrooms. It's a total nightmare. Our guy is petrified, staring at a scene straight out of a horror flick. The monsters hesitate, totally confused, while the piglet just stares back with those big, innocent eyes. It took a minute for the rocks to process it, but one finally realized she's no mushroom. As soon as it clicks, the boulder starts roaring. That's the alarm, and now everyone's awake. Busted. Now every monster in the field knows there's an intruder in their midst. The little mushroom realizes they're in trouble because the piglet is being way too brave right now. She stands her ground, totally unfazed, until bonk. The mushroom smacks her for being so reckless. No time for pride. The only move now is to run like their lives depend on it. Immediately, those massive boulders launch into the air, starting a high-speed, rocky pursuit. They aren't exactly track stars, but there are way too many of them to count. More boulders keep popping up ahead. The entire path is turning into a literal wall of stone. They pull a hard U-turn to change direction, but nope, dead end there too. They switch course again, only to find even more hostile mushrooms blocking the way. Completely cornered, no exits. It's time for a Hail Mary play before they get crushed. The little mushroom triggers a spore explosion. Boom, a massive thick cloud covers everything in sight. The boulders are completely lost in the fog. One of them just squints, totally confused. They're all just standing there, scratching their rocky heads, wondering where the intruders disappeared to. Inside the mist, our hero grabs some slime jelly and starts slathering it on the piglet. He slaps a mushroom cap on her back and starts grabbing random forest junk nearby. While the smoke screen holds, he works double time to give her a natural camouflage. Outside, the boulders are still hovering, just waiting for the fog to lift so they can smash. Smiley steps out with a confident grin. Hey guys, big misunderstanding. Just us mushrooms. As they start to see him, the boulders get all revved up and angry again. The little mushroom tells them to chill out. Look, we're all just one big, happy family. That actually works. The hostile rocks pause, looking genuinely intrigued by his little speech. He introduces their new relative, the piglet mushroom. She looks absolutely miserable under all that slime. This is way too much logic for a bunch of rocks. Their stone brains are short-circuiting. Suddenly, a piece of the disguise falls off and shatters. Total heart-stop moment right there. But luck is on their side. These rocks are idiots and still don't suspect a thing. She's just shedding, he claims. Totally normal. And with that, they start walking away calmly. The boulders just watch them go, either totally confused or actually admiring her new look. The second they're clear, they book it, running as fast as their little legs can carry them. They only survive that because those boulders are as dumb as, well, actual rocks. Smiley is feeling pretty proud. A normal mushroom would have been toast, but his genius saved them. Suddenly, a voice echoes, "You're an interesting guy." Wait, who the hell said that? They freeze. The little mushroom spins around, shouting, "Who's there? Show yourself right now." A samurai appears. He's convinced our mushroom hero is just a monster puppeted by a human. He watched from above, totally curious about the beast below. From his evaluation, he just knew this was either a high-level shinobi or a samurai, but the details, totally blank. He couldn't even see its level. Forget cheap tricks. This thing was on a whole other planet. He realized only humans had assessment abilities, which meant he wasn't wrong about this guy. Trying to dodge a fight, he played it cool. Hey, look, we're just harmless mushrooms here. No need for violence, right? Wrong. The samurai suddenly flicked his hat toward them. That thing was flying like a literal projectile, closing the distance in a heartbeat. Frozen by that overwhelming pressure, he could only close his eyes and pray. But wait, the samurai had already zoomed past them before they could even blink. Click! The sword returned to its sheath. In one smooth motion, he caught his hat. Nothing left to say. With this monster guarding the territory, intruders do not stand a chance. This was his cage, one of the legendary 4 great generals. Talk about bad luck. Our little mushroom tried to explain the misunderstanding, but then he noticed something terrifying. His health? Gone. A single, invisible strike had literally sliced him into 2 clean halves. The piglet watched in horror as her friend fell apart, totally lifeless. Her heart just shattered. She could not hold back anymore. The emotions? Exploding. Her disguise hit the ground instantly. All that is left in this little piglet now is pure, unadulterated rage. She is seeing red. Furious, she starts grunting like a beast. That fury is driving her straight into a suicide charge. She launches herself at the samurai, completely fearless, ready to end it all right here. Cold, calm, focused. The samurai just mutters that all intruders deserve a quick death. He moves so fast with that sword hilt, she did not even realize she had been hit. Devastating. She cannot even move. The piglet hits the dirt, completely out of it and unaware of anything. Meanwhile, the samurai's blade is already up. It is over. He is ready to take her life. He grips the sword with both hands, focusing every bit of energy for the final execution. One clean strike to end the creature's misery. But then a sudden twist of fate. A trumpet blast echoes through the air. Loud, piercing. It catches his attention instantly. This is not just some random noise. It is a priority call. The samurai has to move, now. He completely drops the execution and sprints back toward the city center, without a second thought. The ground starts shaking like crazy. Even the boulders seem to react to that trumpet's call. They are all scrambling toward the city. Back on the field, it is just the unconscious piglet. Our little guy is still lying there in two pieces, completely motionless. Is this really the end? Nope. Suddenly, the space between his halves starts to glow and pull back together. Just like that. He is back. He is alive, though he has absolutely no clue how. He was certain he was a goner. He was out of resurrection coins. Completely broke. Waking up, he sees the piglet sprawled out. Panic mode on. He rushes over to her. He is shaking, terrified his companion will not wake up. Fear is totally gripping our little mushroom. He tries everything to wake her, but nothing. Zero reaction. She is just still. Heartbroken, he starts thinking he lost her for good. He begins crying his little eyes out. But get this, his crying releases spores everywhere. The mist spreads out fast. He is blaming himself, sobbing about how he should never have brought her to this place. But then, the piglet's nose twitches. She starts inhaling those magic spores. Bam! She jumps up and accidentally headbutts the mushroom right in his face. She is wide awake, totally revitalized, like she just had the best nap ever. Our mushroom is just standing there confused. His friend is fine. She looks at him, and the second she realizes he is okay, she sprints over and tackles our little mushroom, overjoyed that he made it back too. She's alive. Our little piglet friend is licking her like crazy, but he doesn't even care. He's just so relieved she's still breathing. She wipes away his tears, proving she's okay. He really thought he'd lost her for good this time, but then there it is. That sound. Trumpets. The sound blares through the air, echoing off the walls, and you can see it immediately. Our guy is reacting weirdly. Something's wrong. Even the piglet realizes her friend isn't quite himself anymore. The vibe just shifted, big time. Trust me, he looks totally out of it, like he's in a deep hypnotic trance. The little piglet grunts, trying her best to snap him back to reality. No luck. He's walking like a straight-up zombie. So, she does what any good friend would. She grabs him and tries to drag him away. She's pulling with everything she's got, clamping down harder. And hey, turns out a little tough love bite was exactly what he needed. Asterisk, snap, asterisk, he's back. He has no clue what just went down, except for the fact that his head is absolutely Ouch. Piggy watches him closely, praying he's finally back to normal. But of course, the universe has other plans for our heroes. Those damn trumpets again. The sound echoes through the valley once more, and just like that, our little mushroom friend, he's gone, back into the trance. But this time, he's not just wandering, he's on a mission, and he's moving fast. He's sprinting toward the noise. Piggy's stunned since when could he move that fast? She chases after him, desperate to stop his crazy dash. She's got to keep him away from the city at all costs. They pass a massive waterfall, the water crashing down as the chase. It's a beautiful sight, rushing water carving through the terrain, but there's no time for sightseeing today. Not even a single second. Look at that. An entire army of mushrooms is on the move, marching forward like they're ready for total earth-shattering war. On the flip side, the humans are ready. A massive crowd of explorers has gathered, weapons drawn and ready for the incoming clash. Boom! The front line explodes into pure chaos. This one guy with a seriously shiny bald head steps up to hold the line. He's a level 33 D-class warrior. One small mushroom tries to jump him, and honestly, that was a terrible life choice. One swing. That's all it took. Dead. Meanwhile, a level 29 swordsman is holding down the fort right behind him. He trusts the big guy to watch his back while he stays sharp, scanning the madness for the very next threat. Talk about skill. He's carving through mushrooms like a pro, but there are just so many of them coming out of the woodwork. A tiny mushroom tries to sneak in with a spear. It's almost cute until you realize it's actually trying to kill him. Asterisk, thwip. Asterisk. An arrow nails it mid-charge. The little guy hits the dirt, completely lifeless. Now that is what I call Our savior is a level 21 archer. He warns his buddy to stay focused because the danger is literally everywhere right now. I've got your flanks, he yells. Now is definitely not the time to zone out. This is just the warm-up, people. The real fight? It hasn't even started. A whole new wave of level 19 mushrooms just joined the party, looking for blood. These guys aren't messing around. They're using a swarm technique, so the humans better brace themselves immediately or it's game over. Suddenly, magic fills the air. A mage starts chanting, hands glowing as they prepare to unleash something seriously frosty on the crowd. Asterisk snap. Asterisk. Just like that, the swarm is turned into mushroom-flavored popsicles, frozen solid and totally helpless. I love a good AoE spell. Target practice time, arrows pierce through them, swords shatter the ice, and the front line is making quick work of the statues. Even the shield guys are getting in on the action, crushing frozen fungi into dust. And here's the guy behind the magic. Meet Taha. He's a level 38 ice mage and a total beast. He's here on direct orders from the vice leader himself. But wait, the ground starts shaking. Massive metal machines are rolling in. Say hello to the mecha mushrooms, level 41. Too fast, Taha can't dodge, so he throws up an ice barrier. It looks solid, but those drills, they're built different. Asterisk, crunch, asterisk. The drill shreds through the ice like wet paper. Taha looks up. It's a nightmare. The team is screaming in panic, but there's nothing they can do. They're just forced to watch it happen. Boom! A massive explosion rips through the line, sending dirt and metal debris flying everywhere. The aftermath is abs. Taha is down, and it's bad. Like, missing a huge chunk of his torso bad. He's writhing in pain, and it's hard to watch. More of those deadly mechas are closing in on the crowd. But through the panic, a voice cuts through the chaos, calling for Taha. Enter the heavy hitter. This guy is carrying a massive staff with a glowing red gem. You know what that means. Fire is coming. The staff lights up like a miniature sun. He's not just angry, he's ready to turn these mushrooms into charcoal right now. He hurls a flaming spear. It streaks through the air, locked onto the first mecha like a heat-seeking missile of pure total destruction. One hit, and the machine is toast. Meet Waga, the level 49 fire mage and the big boss of this squad. Hang in there, Taha, he roars. He's a level 49 powerhouse, and he's not letting his man die on this battlefield today. He's getting him back to the city, no matter what. Even the archer knows the real war has finally begun. If he bails now, the guild will definitely make him pay. Meanwhile, Taha is writhing in pain, crying about being way too young to die. But Waga? He couldn't care less about the punishment. He's done. His morals aren't for sale, even if the guild treats them like disposable trash. Honestly, they haven't even done anything useful yet. Suddenly, they hear a weird noise. High up in the air, another one. A mushroom is diving in. This time, the warrior actually parries it. Clang! No time for a debate, guys. We're in a war zone. Every single second here is dangerous. With a massive grunt, he slams the creature back. The mushroom hits the dirt, totally unharmed. No damage? Fine. But it's an opening. Our swordsman stomps hard. He launches himself like a rocket and lands a brutal, precise stab right into the mushroom. His sword starts vibrating then. Lights out. No more life in that thing. Waga says, let's move. Right now. He knows they're just being used as high-ranker meat shields, but the swordsman disagrees. He thinks this is how the guild finds elites. Quitting is for losers, and he's no fool. Look around. People are bleeding, and mushroom bits are everywhere. It's go time. Time to show their real strength by crushing this mushroom kingdom once and for all. The old warrior nods. He's definitely seen better days, being way up in years and stuck at rank T, but he'll help. The team charges. Our boy here is dreaming of becoming the sword saint. Waga hears the dream but stays quiet. Even as the team leader, the old man knows this kid's crazy ambition keeps them all together. Talk about a glue guy. Even the archer is feeling hyped now. I believe in you, she shouts. Then BWAAAP. That weird trumpet sounds again. Everyone freezes. That sound? Bad news. The wounds on the monsters start twitching and healing. The archer screams out a frantic warning. They're regenerating. And yeah, the little shrooms are standing back up. Everything they killed? Round 2, baby. One was literally under the swordsman. It grabs him. He panics, stabbing the thing over and over again. Calm down, the old man yells. Regroup, now. But then, something fast, right in front of him. He can't even react. Boom! A hit so powerful his shield just disintegrates. The others gasp. The others can't even process what happened. The old man's face completely turned inside out. Our brave swordsman is horrified. Waga feels that same cold chill. Meet the muscle shroom. It loves juice and hates needles. Level 47. Our fire mage is livid, promising to burn them all. A massive aura of flames erupts as he rises from the dirt. Target locked. He launches a giant fireball straight at the buff fungus. It's moving fast. The muscle shroom realizes it's about to be roasted. But wait, there's another mushroom nearby holding a freaking wand. A mushroom mage. It casts a spell on a tiny shroom nearby. It starts glowing and evolves instantly. Its cap grows into a massive shield. The fireball hits and nothing. The mage's ultimate move? Totally blocked. Blocked, like it was nothing. But then, another mushroom lets out a massive sneeze. And boom, a projectile blasts straight out of its barrel, slamming right into the fire mage. It's a total disaster. His companions watch in horror as he hits the dirt, completely unresponsive. The sneezing mushroom isn't done. It scurries into a new position on its many legs. Now it's loading up an explosive mushroom, and it's not alone. Several others are doing the exact same thing. We're talking a massive artillery barrage. A wall of death is about to rain down on the humans. Faced with imminent doom, the order is barked out. Everyone, spread out now. They've got to move fast and find cover to protect themselves from the incoming spores. Then, the sky opens up. Destruction and pure carnage rip through the prairie in an instant. But way up high, total safety. A massive flying ship watches the slaughter from the clouds. The vessel cruises securely above the mess. Inside, the real heavy hitters of this guild. First up, Yubel, a level 69 sword general. He asks Lilith if the target is finally locked. Lilith is staring into her crystal ball, tracking the Mushroom King himself with focused intensity. She's a level 62 beast tamer, and controlling a creature from this far away, a total nightmare. Nah, a level 64 ninja tells her to move it. People are literally dying down there. He's getting restless. Sure, the guys on the ground are weak, but they're still his comrades. Standing up here doing nothing while they get slaughtered? Yeah, that's eating him alive. Then we have Moran, a level 68 high priestess, watching the whole thing in cold silence. A young man scoffs, saying her holy powers shouldn't be wasted on low-level trash. Meet Borka, a level 67 gunslinger. He thinks the priestess is way too good for cannon fodder. The ninja suggests they jump in now, since that mushroom army is only getting stronger by the second, but the shooter isn't having it. In this guild, it's all about results, nothing else matters. Feelings, no place for them here. Until the boss gives the word, they don't move a muscle. And there he is, sitting on a literal throne, the guild's ultimate power, Gilliam. A level 129 fire mage. The absolute peak of the food chain. Back on the ground, the mushrooms are still holding the line. One starts ripping hair out of its head. This is a needle mushroom. And yeah, it's exactly as painful as it looks. Regular mushrooms swarm around it, and it hands over a single strand of hair to each small one. The moment they touch it, evolution. Their bodies start reacting with insane speed. Suddenly, they've got little hands and feet. They're mobile. They're dangerous. Just like that, level 19 soldiers. And he's doing this for every single little guy nearby. But there are so many of them. He has to pull out dozens and dozens of strands. Finally, he rubs his head and realizes the ultimate tragedy has occurred. He's bald. A bald mushroom. And boy, he is absolutely fuming about it. That pure, unadulterated rage actually does the trick. His hair starts growing back on the spot. Transformation complete. He's got his hair back. No minoxidil required. Nature is amazing, right? Luckily, there are no more mushrooms left to take his hair. He's done being the local barber. Now we've got mushrooms of every variety, all locked and loaded to defend their kingdom. From the center of it all, the Mushroom King is watching his enemies like a hawk. But wait, a different mushroom is creeping up. It's got that I'm about to ruin your day look. It's a level 27 assassin. It gets close to the king and bam, launches a charge attack. The king is caught off guard. He turns just as the assassin lands a devastating blow. This whole play was being watched through the crystal ball. Lilith actually pulled it off. The Mushroom King's secret treasure, destroyed. Knowing this, the boss finally makes his move. The leader stands up. It's time to descend and show them what a real guild can do. Following orders to the letter, the mysterious artifact is now just a pile of junk on the floor. This absolutely triggers the Mushroom King. But the assassin? He's just standing there with a smug, punchable grin. He goes on a total rampage, tearing through the area like a whirlwind until the guards finally pin him down. They drag him right in front of the king, and yeah, the vibes are definitely you're in big trouble, buddy. But before anyone can even blink, a sudden hail of gunfire shreds through the air. The assassin's body hits the dirt, completely lifeless. And looking at that now perforated corpse, it's pretty obvious who pulled the trigger. Meet B, one of the legendary mushroom generals. This guy has zero chill and absolutely zero patience for rebels or anyone trying to start a riot. The Mushroom King just stays silent, but there's a snake in the grass, or rather, a chameleon in the shadows. This stealthy little freak has a literal blade on its tongue and goes straight for the king's back. But clink, the attack is shut down instantly by a dizzying flurry of sword slashes. Before it can even react, the chameleon and its tongue are chopped into several very separate pieces. The sword clicks back into its sheath. The samurai just saved his king and looked cool as hell doing it. Still, he's a bit annoyed, asking why it took so long. She honestly thought he'd kicked the bucket. He explains he ran into a mushroom being puppeteered by humans, which is honestly pretty terrifying. It's a huge shock that the invaders have managed to push this deep into their home turf. The king reaches down and picks up the body of the traitor. Seeing his own kind used like this, it sends him into a total white-hot rage. Suddenly, the body starts to melt and turn into liquid. The king straight up absorbs the remains until there's absolutely nothing left of the traitor. His cape starts fluttering as he literally trembles with fury. This was the final straw. He roars out the order, advance with everything. It's time for a full-scale war against the enemies. Meanwhile, the little piglet is biting her friend's leg, trying to stop him, but he's walking like a zombie. Ever since that trumpet shattered, something snapped. He's completely lost control of his own legs. That tiny mushroom is the one driving the bus now, and the poor guy is just a passenger in his own body. He's totally confused, especially since he hasn't been in the driver's seat for a while now. Right in front of him, the war between humans and fungi is reaching a breaking point. He inches closer, watching as a swarm of small creatures erupts from a massive mushroom. It's a never-ending wave of reinforcements, and the human army is starting to look seriously overwhelmed. Looking at the scale of this, he realizes this isn't just a skirmish, it's an all-out botanical nightmare. From his hiding spot, he's low-key hoping the mushroom squad manages to mop the floor with the humans. As the fight drags on, more humans hit the dirt. These mushrooms might be small, but they are brutal. One juice-spewing monster is just venting its absolute trauma-fueled rage on every human in sight. There are so many monsters now that just staying alive feels like a massive achievement. One swordsman is just frozen in place, shaking. He doesn't want to die, but his mind is totally fried. Just like his shattered blade, his courage is gone. He's done being a hero. He just wants to breathe. But then the big guns finally arrive. The elite guild members descend like literal gods of war. They finally join the chat. Our guy can only stare in disbelief as the atmosphere completely changes. After so much chaos and suffering, the true experts have finally stepped onto the battlefield. The blonde leader tells the high priestess to clear the regular troops out. We don't want any falcon fire today. The tamer is locking in for the hunt, while the shooter is just casually whistling. Talk about a flex. The ninja basically tells everyone they've done enough, and now it's time for the pros to handle business. Looking absolutely majestic, the high priestess prepares her ultimate move and raises her staff high. The staff starts glowing with a blinding light that begins to wash over the entire blood-stained field. It's a mass teleportation spell. The terrified swordsman who had given up is suddenly swept up by the magic. A glowing bubble forms around him, lifting him into the air as he's whisked away from the carnage. Talk about a plot twist. The mushrooms watch in total shock as the humans are suddenly encased in floating bubbles, wounded or not. It's a full-scale evacuation. These bubbles start drifting upward, rising higher and higher into the clouds above. Higher and higher they go, leaving those puzzled mushroom monsters below with absolutely no idea what's happening. The high priestess's eyes start glowing with insane power as she conjures a massive magic circle in the sky. In a blink, the rescued people just vanish. It clearly takes a lot out of her, but the job is done. Not a single ally is left on the battlefield now. That magical glow starts to fade, and things get very quiet. The light dims slowly, leaving the confused monsters staring at the only ones left, our small, elite squad of humans. Our blonde leader isn't here to play games. He tells the team to stop stalling and finish the job already. He takes one massive swing with that giant slab of iron, and let me tell you, the air literally shakes. To brace for the impact, he smashes his foot into the ground, shattering it. His grip? Absolutely rock solid. With a roar that echoes through the valley, he announces his ultimate attack. You know it's about to get real. Boom! The devastating blow lands, and a massive wave of pure energy erupts from his blade, slicing through everything. This cutting wave is relentless, carving a literal line of total devastation right through the middle of the battlefield. No hesitation, our ninja hero leaps into the air, positioning himself perfectly above the chaos like a total pro. Once he's airborne, he starts weaving hand signs faster than you can blink. Time for some high-level ninja magic. He pulls out a classic move, the one that kid in the orange jacket made famous. Suddenly, he's everywhere. Clones for days. The number of ninjas in the air just keeps multiplying until there is an entire army of them. He pulls out a whirlpool shuriken that adds 25 attack points and hurls it at the creatures. Not good for them. It's a literal storm of spinning steel. But as if that weren't enough, the shurikens start doing something even crazier. They start multiplying. Countless blades begin raining down from the sky, absolutely shredding the remaining monsters. The monsters are reeling, but one mushroom mage refuses to give up. He steps forward to try and save his friends. A massive mushroom pops up, using its enormous cap like a giant umbrella to shield its allies from the rain. Talk about a tank. This thing is so tough the blades just bounce off, no piercing this fungal fortress today. With the attack blocked, the mages huddle up to cast a counterspell. But then, well, watch their faces. Suddenly, bam, one of their heads just explodes, and then the next one, and the next. It is a total mess. That definitely got their attention. The rest of the mushrooms go into panic mode as a smoking gun barrel appears. Our marksman was the one picking them off. Right in front of him is a sneezing mushroom, totally frozen in fear. That poor guy saw everything but could not do a thing. It is absolutely livid now and calling for backup. The whole fungal squad launches an all-out artillery barrage. Those explosive mushrooms are charging in at high speed. They're sprinting at him like ticking time bombs, but our guy? Not worried. Too slow, he says, cool as ice. Calmly, he slides a fresh shell into his shotgun. He tosses a cartridge into the air like a coin. It lands perfectly in the chamber. Click-clack. Now that is how you reload with some serious style, people. He levels the gun at the charging horde. He pulls the trigger once, and the spread on that shot, absolutely insane. A storm of burning pellets flies out, hitting those explosive mushrooms like a wall of fire. Talk about stopping power. But wait, the bullets do not stop there. They tear right through the first wave and keep going for the sneezers. There is absolutely nothing those mushrooms can do. Their bodies get shredded to pieces in less than a second. To make matters worse, they catch fire and start burning away. Now that is what I call a spicy mushroom. They are losing health fast, but the rest of the horde is still charging. They are desperate to take our heroes down. Enter the tamer. She is actually applying makeup mid-battle. Talk about keeping your cool while under fire. She snaps her compact shut and grabs a small bag. Everyone is fighting for their lives, and she's rummaging through the bag, looking for something specific. Time for a little snack, she says with a smirk. A snack? For her? Nope. A terrifying growl erupts from inside that tiny bag. something big is coming out. A massive clawed hand bursts out of the bag, reaching for the creatures like they are literal finger food. It snatches up a whole handful of them in one go. The few mushrooms that were not crushed, totally trapped. They're caught in that iron grip. Swiftly, the tamer turns back to her bag as the battle rages on. Asterisk erp, asterisk. A loud, echoing burp nearly gives away our tiny mushroom hero and his piglet pal as they try to stay hidden in the brush. The little piglet actually fell fast asleep, but the mushroom witnessed the whole thing and yeah, he's absolutely freaking out right now. It's a total bloodbath out there. High-level players are just deleting weak, low-tier mobs like they're absolutely nothing. Our blonde leader knows the real fight is starting. He rallies the squad, shouting that it's finally time to target the Mushroom King. With one massive swing, he unleashes a devastating sword slash. Right on cue, the ninja jumps in to follow his lead with a strike of his own. The ninja mirrors the move perfectly, while the shooter levels his rifle, taking careful aim to rain down some serious fire on the king. All three lock onto their target. They launch three massive, high-powered attacks at the exact same time, pure destruction. Talk about teamwork. Their strikes merge into one colossal, blinding beam of energy, forming a single, unstoppable blast of power. The blast tears across the battlefield toward the Mushroom King. But check this out, even with impact seconds away, he doesn't even flinch. Time seems to slow down as the attack nears his face. But just as it's about to hit, the ground starts to explode in front of him. The earth shatters. A massive, solid chunk of terrain erupts from the soil to intercept the player's combo at the very last second. This isn't just a hill, it's a literal fortress wall. It absorbs the entire impact, stopping their combined ultimate attack completely cold. The humans just stare, totally unimpressed. They knew it wouldn't be that easy. Then, out of the dust, two glowing blue eyes appear. See that smug, confident grin? The legendary Diamond Mushroom has officially joined the chat, and he looks incredibly tough. All that power for what? One measly point of damage. This beast is level 92 with a ridiculous 10,000 defense stat. The Mushroom King is absolutely fuming. He's ready to throw down. Garrett, a powerful mage general, is also stepping up for battle. Garrett isn't just any mage, he's one of the elite 4 generals. Beside him, General B is also geared up to protect the kingdom. The big guns have finally arrived. We're talking about the strongest, most legendary warriors in the entire Mushroom Kingdom. They've finally stepped onto the battlefield. This definitely wasn't in the player's guide, a total unexpected surprise for the humans. The humans push forward anyway, undeterred. For the ninja, this is actually his first time seeing a diamond mushroom in the shooter has seen one before, sure, but never anything this massive. This thing is a literal skyscraper made of gems. Those eyes must be worth a fortune, he thinks, counting the gold already. Meanwhile, the tamer just scoffs, calling it a useless monster. He wants the guild's vice leader to just incinerate it and move on. But our blonde warrior leader isn't having any of that. We aren't some rookies who need the vice leader to hold our hands every 5 seconds, he says. They've got this, or so they think. The mushroom just stares back with this wicked, mischievous grin on its face. He knows exactly what he's about to do to them. Despite being a giant rock, he tilts his head back slowly, then down, coolly sliding his glasses down the bridge of his nose. He adjusts the shades just enough to reveal his eyes, he snaps them open, and holy hell, they are glowing like miniature suns. Boom! A massive searing laser blast erupts from his eyes, screaming across the battlefield toward the terrified human squad. The light is so intense, it's literally blinding them. But the warrior? He's not moving. He just jams his sword into the dirt. He's completely unfazed by the giant laser. He digs his blade deeper into the terrain, preparing to tank the hit. His sword starts glowing with a holy light, brighter and brighter, until a massive defensive barrier shimmers into existence around the team. While the shield holds, the High Priestess starts her move. A mystic scale and a feather suddenly materialize out of thin air. She's calling on the big guns, favor of the goddess, a divine technique that's about to save all their lives. The diamond mushroom's beams slam into them like a freight train. They hit the blonde warrior's barrier with full earth-shattering force. But thanks to the priestess's buff, that barrier is rock solid. The beams just bounce off, deflecting wildly into the surroundings. Those deflected beams are dangerous. One hits a random stone, and bam, the whole thing instantly transforms into solid diamond. It's like a Midas touch, but with gems. Everything those beams touch is getting transformed into pure, hard diamond instantly. Before long, the entire ground around them is sparkling. The terrain is turning into a literal diamond mine wherever the light hits. The shooter's greed is reaching peak levels. His eyes are basically turning into dollar signs. If they survive this, they're filthy. Focus up! The mushroom hasn't stopped its attack for a second. The priestess is sweating, trying to keep her spell active. It's a total battle of wills. The priestess is straining to hold the spell, and the blonde warrior is reaching his limit. The warrior is gassed. Cracks are appearing in the shield, and oh boy, his hands and sword are starting to turn into diamond. The light barrage just keeps coming, relentless and blinding. It feels like this diamond nightmare is never going to end. Finally, the light fades into nothing. The diamond mushroom stops its assault and just stares at the survivors for a quiet moment. He checks the damage, then suddenly whips his head back with lightning speed. And now things are about to get even crazier. Our guy's rocking the coolest shades in the realm just to soak up some rays and recharge. He's basking in the sun like a vacation, while the humans are barely clinging to life nearby. Things aren't looking great. The warrior's hands are mangled, his sword is trashed, and he's gasping. One thought is looping in his head: without the priestess, they'd all be buried 6 feet under. The tamer rushes over, looking at his mangled hands with pure worry in her eyes. He knows it's bad. He tried chugging potions like water, but absolutely nothing is working. Enter the priestess. She drops to her knees and gently covers his broken hands with her own. Suddenly, boom! Massive wings sprout from her back, growing huge and sending feathers flying everywhere. She's locked in, laser focused. Then, she leans in, her lips approaching that crystallized wound. She gives the crystal a soft kiss. Yeah, it's a bit much, but the warrior's feeling hopeful. Slowly but surely, the magic works. His hands and that busted sword morph back to normal. Even the ninja is floored. An S-tier priestess really is built different. Insane power. Warrior's back on his feet and feeling better than ever, like a permanent stat boost. The ninja chimes in: when you're raiding bosses, raw damage isn't the only thing that matters. But wait, the shooter's yelling to lock in. Why? Because this party is far from over. Right on cue, a bullet whistles through the air. It's coming in hot and dangerously close. The warrior swats it away like a fly. They're here, he growls. The enemies have arrived. The squad squares up, but there's nothing. Empty air. But our shooter? His ears are sharp. He catches a sound. No hesitation, he starts blasting toward the noise. Talk about pinpoint accuracy. Clang! His shots intercept the bullets perfectly, popping them like mini fireworks. Seeing this, the ninja starts throwing some seriously familiar-looking hand signs. You know the signs: the orange jacket special for the blue sweater rival. Believe it. Ritual complete. His eyes glow with power as he activates magic detection mode. Scanning and bingo. 3 signatures found. He shouts the warning before they get closer. These guys are using high-level stealth, creeping in from the front. They aren't hiding anymore. And then wham! The mushroom samurai lets out slashes that would make a blender jealous. The force sends everyone diving. Our blonde lead yells the plan: split and conquer. Everyone picks a target, one-on-one. Simple, effective, and totally dangerous. The team moves out. The samurai commands his squad to fall back. Hold the line, no one touches the king. They pull back, and then the counterattack begins. Things are getting messy. Ninja mode. Activated. He drops into a low crouch, tracking every movement of his opponent. He's scanning everything, but the samurai scoffs. Stop looking. I'm right here, kid. Talk about a jump scare. The ninja spins around, coming face to face with that monster. Steel meets steel. The samurai swings. The ninja throws a high-speed dance of death. Clash! The samurai asks. Why do you humans love invading places you don't belong? Our team isn't the first. This guy's already crushed 5 other groups of warriors. 5 groups, all dead. The ninja leaps back, barely keeping his head on his shoulders. The weight of that samurai's blow is insane. It sends our boy skidding across the dirt. He grips his blades, teeth grit. The samurai just stares him down, looking totally unimpressed. Then he drops the stat. Survival rate for invaders? 0%. Cold-blooded. Ouch. The ninja notices tiny cuts all over. He shifts stances, checking the damage. There's that green glow. The priestess is healing him from the backline. Thank God for healers. Healing received. He tosses a quick thanks. These guys are tough, but he's feeling cocky. They're strong, he thinks. But with my squad, these monsters are already on a timer. Total confidence. But he missed it. The samurai's already gone and moving fast. He's about to turn the priestess into mincemeat, but wait. Out of nowhere, the ninja intervenes. Several daggers come whistling toward the samurai, giving him a split-second decision to make. Does he finish the girl and die, or save his own skin? He picks the smart route and blocks. His eyes are burning with pure focus as another blade comes flying straight at his head. The ninja appears right next to him like a ghost, telling him there's no escape this time. And just like that, they're back at it, trading blows in a blur of cold steel and speed. While the samurai is busy, a sniper is lining up the perfect shot to keep him distracted. He's got his finger on the trigger, but Bo is already standing right behind him. The guy tries to play the I surrender card, but Bo isn't buying it. She fires immediately. Her shot leaves a massive crater in the stone, but surprise, there's no body to be found. It was just a decoy that's already fading away, and Bo realizes she's been baited. Projectiles are already closing in from behind her, but her reflexes are absolutely insane. She's midair, dual-wielding her pistols and shooting the incoming bullets right out of the sky. Talk about a pro gamer move. The shooter really thought he could catch her off guard. But Bo is on another level. She aims one of her guns straight at the floor. Boom! The recoil acts like a jetpack, launching her forward so she can keep the pressure on. The shooter barely avoids getting his head turned into a canoe by dodging at the last second. This tiny opening is all he needs to level his rifle and finally take a real shot. This time, his aim is true, but he doesn't get the kill he was looking for. All he did was take the tip off Bo's cigar. Talk about a cold-blooded miss. She uses the momentum of her shots to glide through the air before landing like a boss. She points her weapons at him, but the guy has already sent more projectiles her way. Using some questionable anime physics, she shoots the ground to catapult herself back up. The sheer force sends her into a wild spin, and yeah, she looks like a deadly hurricane. She's firing in every direction while spinning, which honestly shouldn't work, but it totally does. The marksman is tracking every single bullet, but then something completely unexpected happens. One bullet overtakes another in midair, and his heart nearly stops from the shock. He has to move like his life depends on it to keep his brains from hitting the pavement. That was way too close. He realizes she's playing with the physics of her ammo now. Bo just smirks, telling him his puny firepower can't even hold a candle to hers. Still hanging in the air, she unleashes a literal wall of lead toward the guy. These armor-piercing rounds are screaming toward him, and he knows he's in deep trouble. He starts thinking about true firepower, and suddenly, his rifle begins glowing with magic. His gun literally morphs into a massive rotary cannon. We're talking full-on machine gun mode. He's more than ready to show her what real destruction looks like, aiming right at her. Meanwhile, the samurai decides he's not done bothering the priestess just yet. He starts charging up his power right in front of her, looking like a total menace. But the priestess isn't helpless. Her staff starts glowing with a blinding, holy light. She's handing out buffs like candy while a mushroom mage tries to sneak up on her. He's got a deadly spell ready to go, but then a massive, hairy hand reaches out. The mage's soul almost leaves his body as he barely dodges the surprise grab. He thought he was invisible, but the beast tamer is already sniffing the air. She's got a lock on his scent, and honestly, there's nowhere left for him to hide. She points him out like a bloodhound, and the mage realizes he's completely busted. He finally shows himself, noting that her real trump card is the monster in her bag. He takes a heavy step forward, slamming his staff into the earth. Suddenly, a bright red tip starts to poke out of the dirt. It shoots up instantly, revealing the massive, ugly form of the war mushroom. This guy is basically testing to see if the girl's little pet can actually handle this thing. The tip of the mushroom twitches, then bam. It spits out a nasty, glowing glob of venomous sludge. Those disgusting organic bullets are inches away when the girl just pats her bag and gives the signal. Dinner time! A terrifying snarling mouth snaps out of the bag, and this wolf-like creature just gulps down the goo like it's a snack. Then, it just hides back inside. The mage starts lecturing her, saying she shouldn't let her pet eat just anything. That was literal venom, kid. She looks a little confused, but inside that bag, something is definitely moving. Then, from the opening, comes a massive, wet burp. Classic. The mage mocks her, asking what she'll do without her little pet's help. But while he's busy yapping, a giant wolf hand lunges out of the bag like a rocket. He barely survives. In a panic, he throws up a magic shield just to keep that thing away from his face. The impact is brutal, though. The beast just keeps swinging, and the shield is already starting to splinter. The mage is literally shaking from the raw power of those heavy blows. To avoid getting crushed, he ditches his own shield and jumps back as fast as he can. Not even his high-level magic could stand up to that creature's insane, raw physical strength. He watches in horror as his defense is completely shredded. And then crack! The wolf's claws punch right through the magic, finally landing a solid hit on the mage's smug face. The girl just smirks. Her beast eats the guild leader's experimental poisons for breakfast. This was nothing. Meanwhile, the warrior is hitting a whole new level. His energy is surging so hard that his armor literally can't contain it anymore. He's struggling to hold back, but his muscles are swelling up from all that magical juice. He's getting so buff that his plate mail just explodes. Talk about a wardrobe malfunction. Now, his sword is glowing with a massive, blinding golden aura. Right in his sights is the battered mage, and standing right behind him, the diamond mushroom. Our guy is feeling himself. He sees a golden chance to slice through both of them in one epic swing. He levels his blade, takes a breath, and then whoosh, he starts spinning like a tornado. After a few rotations, he hurls his massive sword forward like a giant golden spear. The blade screams through the air, totally unstoppable. It's moving so fast the ground beneath it literally shatters and splits in half. It's only a matter of seconds before the mage and that mushroom find out what the afterlife looks like. Death was coming for them, fast, but then something crazy happens. Right before impact, the sword gets smacked out of the air and buried deep into the dirt. The mage is just standing there, feeling like a total loser. But wait, look who finally showed up, the big boss himself. The Mushroom King actually left his throne just to save his subordinate's skin. He's on the field now, and man, he looks absolutely furious. But our warrior, not impressed at all. He just smirks and holds out his hand, commanding his sword to return to its rightful owner. The blade starts vibrating violently until boom, it rips itself out of the earth with insane force. It flies right back into his grip. He figures the king must be pretty decent if he deflected that heavy throw so effortlessly. But hey, you know our boy, he's got to talk some trash. He looks the king in the eye and calls him a big, fat, useless mushroom. Oh, it's on now. Elsewhere on the field, steel is clashing. The deadly dance between the samurai and the ninja is still going strong. But after a while, the ninja starts doing some quick math and realizes they fought 93 rounds and he's lost every single one. Talk about a bad track record. Every time he gets slashed, the priestess just patches him up. It's the ultimate cheat code, honestly. He figures he can just keep going until the samurai dies of exhaustion. But then a mushroom appears. It's charging him with pure ferocity. The ninja panics, thinking the beast is aiming for his healer. He made it clear he was the opponent. Then, the samurai struck like lightning. Wielding those twin blades, the samurai just shrugged. Yeah, he knew the score. His eyes never left the ninja. That strike? So insanely fast, you couldn't even see it. No time to react. But wait, the blade didn't go through. He'd been saved just in time. The priestess came through, turning his skin into literal stone. Talk about a solid assist. With his team's help, he refused to go down. But that chest wound, it was getting nasty. The cut ripped wide open, blood spraying everywhere. Even the priestess was feeling the backlash. The strain was too much. She had to back off, her pristine white robes now soaked in red, blood everywhere. On the ground, the ninja was finally down for the count, done and dusted. Adjusting his hat, the samurai dropped a cold line. Remember what I said about your chances? Survival rate for invaders? Exactly 0%. Meanwhile, in the other fight, things were getting loud. The machine gun was just screaming. Grinning like a total psycho, he yelled, "Is that enough? Too much firepower? Maybe." Spent shells were literally piling up around his feet. Bea realized she needed a new plan, and fast. She holstered her gun and grabbed her cape. She ripped off a scrap of fabric, squeezing it tight until it was just a tiny ball. She loaded that little scrap into her weapon, took aim, and let a single shot fly. That tiny ball exploded into a massive net, strong enough to catch every single bullet. What a catch. The shooter just laughed. "Useless," he shouted. "Just die already and make this easy on me." He was getting impatient, telling her to just quit, but then he saw a shadow, a silhouette behind the net. He figured it was her and didn't hesitate for a second. "Bye-bye," he sneered, unloading into the target. But when the smoke cleared, no body. Empty. He had been played. It was a total distraction, and he fell for it completely. Wait, his ears caught a rustle. The grass moved. Something was cutting through the air. Panic mode. He needed to move. He ditched the heavy gun and whipped out his rifle. Rifle on his shoulder, he fired off precision shots, somehow blocking the incoming fire. "Bea," just sighed. "Was hoping you would be dead. Quick reflexes for a human, I will give you that." He snapped back. "I am not getting hit by that trash." But he was genuinely confused. How did she get into his blind spot so fast? It did not make any sense. Bea just lit a match, looking way too cool. "Listen, kid, fire rate isn't everything for a shooter. That is shooter 101, she added. "You are focusing on all the wrong things here." Her fumble spores were slowing everything down, and now she was ready for round 2. "We are in a fight, lady. Shut up and shoot," he yelled, totally losing his cool. Bea's face went dead serious. "Maybe you should spend less time talking and more time looking." Then it hit him. Something was weird. The grass was filled with objects, mushrooms, weirdly shaped, tiny little mushrooms everywhere. He thought it was a joke. He was about to laugh until one of the mushrooms literally pressed a button on its own head. Then they all did it, a synchronized click. Suddenly, the world turned into pure white light. Too late. He was completely blinded. Just white-hot light everywhere. He had to move, and fast. He stumbled back, desperately trying to get his vision back. Just a few seconds, he prayed. Bea just explained it calmly. Certain mushrooms emit intense light the second they are born. His sight was gone. Now, he only had his hearing left to keep him alive. He strained his ears. As long as she kept talking, he could track her. He was counting on it. But he missed the new batch sprouting. And these were not flashbangs. They looked like literal speakers. He heard them growing, but he had no clue what was coming. He heard the pop, but then bam! A deafening sound blast hit him like a freight train. Boom! The raw power of that sonic wave, enough to turn his eardrums into absolute jelly. Senses? Completely fried. He's blind, deaf, and has zero clue that these mushrooms are literally screaming at him. Talk about a bad day. He's clutching his head, desperate to block out the noise, but it's no use. He tries to make a run for it, stumbling back, just trying to escape the literal wall of sound. But he's totally lost. And that's when his luck officially runs out. Asterisk crunch, asterisk. He just stepped on a growth-type mushroom. It erupts instantly, launching him into the sky like a human rocket. This was the plan all along. He's being bounced from one fungal pad to another, nature's most painful pinball machine. Some of these things are shooting up like skyscrapers in seconds. Talk about a growth spurt. Finally, he hits the dirt. Hard. He's dizzy, confused, and guess what? A whole new variety of friends is waiting for him. He blinks, trying to clear the cobwebs from his eyes. But the view? Yeah, not great. That's not just grass he's looking at. It's a mushroom army. And now that he can see again, he realizes he's in deep. Still, he tries to stay calm. He's thinking, I just need one clean shot and I'm out of here. Pure rage takes over. He slams his fist into the ground. Bad move, buddy. The mushrooms do not like that. He's fuming. Being bullied by a bunch of vegetables, that's the ultimate insult. But the mushrooms, they can feel his hate. The ones right in front of him start pulsing. They're swelling up dangerously, like they're about to pop. Then PFFFT. They release this thick, nasty orange cloud. And it's not just one of them doing, the whole patch is erupting. These aren't just spores, they're literal biological bombs. The shockwave, it's devastating. The blast sends him flying right through another cluster. See, these mushrooms, they're basically empaths. Here's the deal. If you're friendly, they release healing spores. If you're a jerk, they go nuclear. And since our guy here is 100% hostile, he's triggering a chain reaction of explosions. Boom, boom, boom. He's rolling through the grass like a rag doll until he stops right at Boo's feet. Not his best moment. Boo just looks down, totally unimpressed. Seriously, why do these pathetic humans think they can just invade her kingdom? He sees her approaching and thinks, this is it, my chance. He scrambles up, reaching for his rifle. He starts talking trash, saying monsters are only a threat because they're dumb. Typical human arrogance. But here's the kicker, he can't pull the trigger. His finger is stuck. Boo just stands there, taking a casual drag from her cigarette. He's losing it. It feels like no matter where he goes, the mushrooms already know his next move. He tries to lift his feet to run, but he's glued to the spot. The grass is releasing this thick purple goo. It's everywhere. His entire body is getting coated in the stuff. As Boo walks closer, she steps right into the mess. She pulls her foot out, and the goo stretches like melted cheese, but it doesn't trap her. She's the boss here. Listen, she says, there are 40,000 types of mushrooms here. Underestimating even one? That's a death sentence. Finally, she levels her weapon right at the intruder's face. At this range, there is absolutely nothing he can do. He's frozen, paralyzed by pure, unadulterated terror. He's just waiting for the end. Boo doesn't hold back. There's only one type of human, the bad kind. Cold, savage. I love it. Then she asks, who was trash again? And with a single shot, bang. His head is basically turned inside out. And watching the whole thing without even blinking, our little mushroom buddy. He's impressed. Mushrooms are legit. He's wondering if he'll be that strong once he finally evolves. But then his eyes shift to the king. These others, they're just the subordinates. The opening act. The real power? It's with the king. And that power is on a completely different level. Wait, look. In the distance, a small shadow is moving toward the king. The mushroom asks the piglet if he's seeing things. Nope, it's real. An eerie, mysterious shadow is looming over the entire battlefield. A new warrior is stepping up, advancing straight toward the mushroom king himself. The king is beyond pissed. Everything that's happened today, it's a direct insult to his crown. Being belittled by a monster, he's not having it. He cracks his neck, getting ready for war. His muscles start bulging. No, they're straight up inflating. Whatever juice he's on is finally kicking in. His heart is pounding, pumping pure venom through his veins. His arms are literally shaking with raw, explosive power. He starts soaking up all that juice, and his muscle mass just explodes. Honestly, it's enough to give the anti-doping agency a collective heart attack. The raw power is so intense that his own teeth are starting to crack under the pressure. This is it, the legendary battle, spirit of the war general. And massive, suffocating aura erupts from him, but the Mushroom King just stands there, completely unfazed. After that insane display, the only thing left is the steam rising off his body. His muscles are literally cooking, and his face? He's wearing that terrifying, sinister grin typical of a man lost in rage. He looks like a mountain now, and he clearly loves it. The two monsters just lock eyes, radiating pure, unadulterated aggression. Our hero is actually confused. Why didn't the king jump him during the transformation? Maybe he learned some human chivalry, but who cares? He's not planning on holding back for a second. All that's visible on the king's face is pure, cold hatred. In a blink, they're gone. They clash midair, trading blows just like that famous show where everyone just screams and changes their hair color for 10 episodes straight. The king lunges with a sword thrust, but get this, the blade curves mid-attack like a heat-seeking missile. It slams into the warrior's blade, but our boy just swats it away like he's brushing off a fly. That simple parry, it carried enough force to send a shockwave straight toward the diamond mushroom. It didn't shatter, but the impact sent the thing sliding back. Even so, the combat log only shows a measly 1 point of damage. Talk about a tank. Seeing that, the warrior is actually impressed by the insane defense. He swings again, aiming to cleave the king in two, but the creature catches the strike with his saber. The force of the impact makes the weapon bend like a giant rubber band. With a flick of his wrist, the king releases all that built-up elastic energy, parrying the human sword away. He uses that momentum to whip his own blade back around for a massive counter-shock. The ground beneath them is literally being shredded by the dissipated energy. Consumed by the thrill of the fight, he demands the king show him everything he's actually capable of. The sound of steel clashing fills the air like thunder. Some of these slashes are flying off the battlefield like stray buzzsaws. One of them heads straight for the little mushroom and the piglet. For a split second, he felt the cold sting of the blade, but he reacted instantly, shoving the piglet aside and diving for cover. They went rolling across the dirt. Just being a spectator in this fight is a death sentence. Suddenly, an intense, stabbing pain surges through his head, but it vanishes as quickly as it came, leaving him totally puzzled. Then ping, the system screen pops up. It's an urgent warning. An emergency mission has just been triggered. If this was all the Mushroom King had to offer, the human was definitely not impressed. And judging by the king's expression, neither was he. Their attacks just keep colliding in a non-stop blur of steel. Elsewhere, the mage is doing his absolute best against that gross creature. He has no clue what this beast is, but he's determined to keep it away. From the king, his magical shields are holding up bravely against the constant pounding. But then, two more arms sprout right out of the girl's bag. She mentioned she liked collecting cute mushrooms, but old things? Yeah, she has zero interest in anything that's aged. Those claws are inching dangerously close. The mage is going all out, stacking multiple shields to survive the onslaught. At the tip of his staff, he starts charging up a heavy spell. He launches a concentrated ball of poison, but it just hits the creature and vanishes. Its skin is completely immune to magic. The girl just giggles, reminding him once again that all those fancy magic tricks are completely useless against her little pet. Feudal was fuming. He hated being the underdog. Meanwhile, the tamer girl was getting impatient. Where were the shooter and ninja? Even with the priestess helping, they were taking way too long. She was done waiting. It was time to bring out the big guns. Come out already. But the creature had demands a dragon bone. Talk about a high-maintenance summon, right? She was annoyed. While she argued with her greedy pet, our warrior friend was busy gasping for air. He went all out, but the Mushroom King, not even a scratch. Not a single scratch. With all those buffs, his power was up 7 times. The mission intel said this boss was only supposed to be level 60. But the king, he just gestured for more. He literally beckoned him forward. Talk about a slap in the face. Our guy was absolutely livid. He wasn't about to be mocked by some mushroom. So, he tapped into 100% power. His battle spirit exploded. When he finally launched himself, the ground beneath him just shattered. Pure destruction. Now airborne, he was ready to drop the ultimate hammer of justice. This mountain of muscle had zero fear. He dived in, looking like a total unit. Both hands gripped the hilt tight, blade high. This was going to be the big one. He looked like a man possessed. Pure, unadulterated rage. He had completely lost control. The strongest strike yet. But the king, he just started spinning his saber like a pro. Faster and faster it went. Then clash. The two forces collided with a deafening boom. The saber tip met the sword edge. Just a touch and the entire attack was deflected. The warrior roared, claiming no tricks could stop him. He was putting everything into this, but then he felt it. Something was very, very wrong. The energy was shifting. Boom! All that pent-up energy in the saber exploded, sending our hero flying like a ragdoll. He slammed hard into a diamond mushroom. The impact, brutal. He was left writhing in pure agony. The muscle-bound warrior slumped against the wall. His head was spinning. How did this happen? No way was that a level 60 mob. Impossible. And now, the king was coming for him. The tables had turned. The Mushroom King was on the offensive now, moving in fast. No time to rest. The warrior threw up his sword to defend. It was life or death. Then blood everywhere. A massive spray. Everyone watching just froze in absolute shock. Even the little mushroom and the piglet were stunned. This was not part of the plan. The tamer's jaw dropped. Even the diamond mushroom adjusted his glasses to see the carnage. The warrior was completely spent. Done. But the king? He looked like he hadn't even started. The saber pierced right through the sword. And just like that, our guy lost an arm. He screamed in pain as blood hit the dirt. It was a gruesome, devastating blow. Weakened and broken, he leaned on his sword. And then, the side effects kicked in. The buff wore off. His massive body started shrinking back to its original, tiny size. The king stared at his blood-stained saber. He had won. Completely, utterly, and without a scratch. Flawless victory. The warrior, crushed by defeat, looked up with hollow eyes. Just finish it, he begged. But the king? He didn't move an inch. Total silence. Why wasn't he attacking? The warrior couldn't wrap his head around it. Was he being spared? Then it hit him. The king was just playing with his food the whole time. Terrifying. With nothing left, he collapsed. And this defeat? It changed everything for the team. The tamer had seen enough. She finally agreed to pay up. 1 dragon bone deal. Even the creature was shocked. It couldn't believe its luck. Master, you're the best. A snout started poking out of the bag. But the mage, he wasn't having it. He had to stop this now. He channeled everything into the tip of his staff. A massive ball of poison started growing. Huge. Terrifying. And he knew this was it. It's a total wash. The attack is useless against that tanky monster, but he's still doubling down and making it grow even bigger. Why? Because now the target has shifted to the girl. She watches as the energy blast closes in. Then boom, a massive explosion rocks the entire area. When the smoke clears, it looks like the ball actually hit the mark right on the creature's massive arm. Our mage friend is sweating bullets, trying to figure out his next move. Meanwhile, the tamer gives the beast a little extra motivation. He tells the creature it better finish this quick if it wants that dragon bone. And get this, it's not even fully out of the bag yet. The beast tells its master to just chill out. It's got this. Surprisingly gently, it places the girl safely on the ground. Meanwhile, the mage is just standing there, analyzing the situation. He looks pretty pensive, probably because magic isn't doing squat here. This beast is basically a magic-proof wall. Terrifying. The mage taps his staff and conjures up a glowing protective shield for herself. Then, he starts charging up the standard mushroom attack. He's putting everything he's got into this one shot. The massive creature slowly turns its head, eye contact. Then wham! A heavy blow connects, and it's a direct hit on the... His face takes the full force of the impact. He slams into the dirt so hard it leaves a massive crater. That's going to leave a mark. The beast actually bows before its master, promising that from here on out, it'll handle the trash. It means business. In the blink of an eye, gone. It vanishes into thin air, moving with speed that shouldn't be possible for something that huge. Before anyone can react, that massive figure is already behind the king. It raises a giant paw, ready to strike. Sensing the danger, the king spins around just in time. He swings his saber up, desperate to defend himself. But the raw strength of this beast is on another level. The king is pinned, being pushed back against the hard ground. The pressure is insane. The beast actually demands that the king apologize while it keeps crushing him down. Suddenly, the attack gets even more intense, driving the king straight into the earth below. No mercy here. Where the king was standing? Yeah, now it's just one giant crater. Cracks are spider webbing everywhere from the pure force. The creature keeps the pressure on, making sure he's stuck. Finally, it lifts its paw and lets out a thunderous howl. It's a victory roar, loud enough to shake the heavens. Far away, the little mushroom guy is watching, absolutely terrified. Meanwhile, the little piglet is just vibing and thinking about eating apples. Priorities, right? And the system screen? Total destruction. That's all that's left of the battlefield. But wait, this monstrosity isn't done with its tantrum yet. It starts unleashing a relentless barrage of punches, just straight up pummeling the ground where the king went down. Out of nowhere, Bo and the samurai show up to help the king. They try to catch the beast off guard from behind. Nice try, but this beast has eyes in the back of its head. It defends itself without even breaking a sweat. It stops the samurai's sword with just 2 fingers. Seriously, 2! And with the other hand, it snatches Bo's bow. It growls, wanting to know where these 2 pests came from. The samurai doesn't flinch, stating they're his new opponents. Bo is fuming. She knows this monster is the one who killed the 4th great mushroom general. It's personal now. Behind the girl, the priestess suddenly appears out of nowhere. Teleportation magic clutch move in a fight like this. She didn't come alone either. She brought the bodies of the 2 heroes who fell earlier in this chaotic battle. She offers to assist the tamer, but he just waves her off. He's convinced his beast can solo the entire squad. The creature chimes in, bragging about all the weaklings it's slaughtered. It doesn't even bother remembering their names. Cold. The samurai rips his sword back from the wolf's grip, while Bo fires off a few more shots. They aren't backing down. But this beast is a speed demon. It vanishes again, and those attacks just end up hitting the dirt instead. This leaves the samurai totally on edge. You can't hit what you can't see. And Bo is feeling the exact same pressure. Before she can even blink, bam, she's struck. The creature moves so fast she didn't even see the hit coming. This sends the samurai into a total panic. He's extremely worried, and for good reason they're outmatched. Suddenly, the wolf is right behind him. "Where are you looking?" it whispers. It's ready to end the mushroom right here. But the samurai is a pro. His swords are already in position before the beast can land the killing blow. He lets it rip. He executes a lightning-fast attack, the slash cutting through the air toward the wolf with insane precision. A massive impact follows. It's actually strong enough to push the creature back for the first time in the fight. And look at that, a small cut on its hand. The beast looks genuinely surprised. First blood goes to the samurai. The 3 mushroom generals finally regroup for the real battle. Behind them, the mage isn't just watching from the sidelines. He casts a magic detection spell that ripples through the entire area. Nowhere to hide now, you big bad wolf. The analysis field ripples out, tagging the beast instantly. Boom. Connection established. He's sharing his senses with the team now. Magic-infused data floods their minds in real time. Knowledge is power, and right now, they're seeing exactly what he sees. Bo gets the signal, and so does the samurai. But seeing their little tactical sync, that monster actually has the nerve to smile. Within a 50-meter zone, he's tracking every twitch. One wrong move, and he's relaying the beast's location to the others. The wolf just smirks. Then whoosh, it starts moving so fast, its silhouette literally begins to blur and vanish into thin air. 1 second, it's there. The next, empty ground. Even with the magic active, it's like the damn thing just stopped existing. Poof. Gone. Our little mushroom friend is losing his mind. This shouldn't be possible. How can it just disappear like that? It's moving way too fast, weaving right outside the ranger's magical detection zone. Talk about a literal speed demon. By looping outside the field, it's building up insane momentum. Then, out of nowhere, bam, it launches a brutal strike. It lands a clean hit, forcing Bo and the samurai into a desperate back-to-back stance. They're in serious trouble now. Look at her face, pure anxiety. They're trapped in a high-speed nightmare, surrounded by a beast that's basically a teleporting blur. Those razor-sharp claws are closing in fast. Bo doesn't hesitate, pulling her dual pistols to mount one last-ditch defense. Reflexes on point, she lets out a hail of bullets, trying to pin down the wolf's insane movement with pure firepower. On the other side, the samurai is a whirlwind of steel, swinging his blades to keep the monster at bay. Our mushroom buddy realizes they're totally outclassed. I mean, just how ridiculously strong is this wolf anyway? Ding! Right on cue, the system pops up with another emergency mission. Seriously? Not the best timing? Game. He's trying to catch the action, but this annoying screen is literally blocking the best parts. Move it, I'm watching. It's an epic level mission. Apparently, this beast is a servant of Gollum, and he's got to make it go bye-bye. The loot? A resurrection coin, a lottery ticket, and 200,000 XP. Okay, now we're talking big money. Those rewards are absolutely insane, maybe a bit too good. It's like the system is bribing him to jump into hell. Plus, there's no way he's finishing this right now. He literally swiped the system screen away like a bad Tinder match. I must be hallucinating, he thinks. A mission like that? Yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen for a second. All he wants is a clear view. Forget the rewards, he's got a front row seat to the most epic fight ever. The samurai finally clocks it. The wolf isn't just fast, it's using high-level skills to weave in and out of their detection. Bo can feel it too. The terrifying truth? This monster hasn't even started trying yet. That's when the real panic sets in. She's literally shaking. Once this thing goes all out, forget it. There's no way they'll be able to track its movements. The wolf actually stops to taunt them. Do you see the gap between us yet? Talk about a total flex. If they think they can actually stop him, they're dreaming. They aren't even in the same league as this beast. Then flash. Before they can even blink, the samurai gets clocked. And almost at the exact same time, so does Bo. The impact is massive. They're sent flying like ragdolls, completely smashed by the sheer weight of that attack. Pawns will always be pawns, but this guy, he was a king. Meet Lend, the legendary ruler of the polar wastelands. A level 92 werewolf king. No wonder they're getting wrecked. The duo lands hard, far from the main scrap. They crash right next to that mysterious figure. They're bruised and bloodied, and Bo tells the samurai to just run. But he's a ride-or-die teammate, he won't leave her. Meanwhile, that creepy shadow is just standing there, watching them. Our little mushroom and his piglet buddy are watching from the sidelines, completely paralyzed by the weird energy in the air. It's weird, it's like they can't even fully see the shadow. Is it human? Is it a monster? Nobody knows. Wait, could this be the... Imagine this. A quiet city night, stars out, and nothing but the sound of crickets. Except for one thing. The frantic, non-stop clicking of a mouse echoing through a dark room. Our boy is locked in. Next to him, a high-spec female action figure, and yeah, her attributes are pretty generous. He's sweating, screaming at his healer to do their damn job because the raid is going south fast. It's a total mess. He needs a heal right now or it's game over. The intensity is off the charts. He's clicking like his life depends on it. Honestly, that mouse is fighting for its life, and the keyboard isn't doing much better. Total tunnel vision. He's so into the fight, he doesn't even notice a weird blue glow coming from his keys. But then boom, victory. The final boss finally bites the dust after what felt like an eternity. Time to celebrate. The screen flashes with that sweet victory message, and our guy is absolutely losing it. His guildmates are hyped too. They're convinced they're officially the top dogs of the entire server. Good game, leader, one of them shouts. They were the first ones to ever clear this nightmare of a boss. A world-first clear, baby. The chat is blowing up with everyone already looking forward to tomorrow's mission. Even the low-level mage, the newbie, is chiming in, sounding super grateful for the massive carry. She knows she was basically dead weight, but hey, a win's a win. And our boy? He's soaking up the praise. It feels good to be the hero online, but deep down, he knows the truth. This is all just pixels. In the real world, he's a total nobody. And then bam, reality hits him like a freight train to the face. The screen dims, and he's just a kid alone in a dark, messy room. That pro gamer high disappears instantly. No epic loot here, just failed grades, zero social life, and a future that's looking pretty bleak. He's short, shy, smells like old ramen, and has skin issues. He's basically a walking disaster zone. One leg's longer than the other, his vision's shot, he's a mess. But he still dreams of being the guy, the main character. The center of the universe. Problem is, he has no idea how to level up in real life. So, he daydreams. All day long. He just wants to be that legendary hero with a body sculpted by the god, a physique built for battle and respect from his peers, the usual power fantasy stuff. But let's be real, what he actually wants is to be a total babe magnet, a true harem king. He imagines women fighting over him, and he wouldn't say no to any of them. Yeah, he's that desperate. A world where every nerd gets the girl. Now that would definitely be a life worth living, right? But while he's lost in his own little world, a notification pings. Someone's actually sliding into his DMs. It's her, the new mage. They literally just finished the dungeon, so why is she hitting him up now? He's confused. Was it his pro-level leadership, or was it something else? Wait for it, she wants to meet up. In person. Our boy's heart just did a literal backflip. His face lights up like a Christmas tree. This is it. The dream is finally coming true. But then the gamer brain kicks in. Panic. What if this is all just a giant trap? What if Mage Girl 99 is actually some creepy old dude? Talk about a nightmare scenario. Absolute cringe. He shakes it off. Don't be a pessimist, he tells himself. Life's too short to assume everything's a scam. Besides, he's broke and, well, not exactly a model. Why would anyone even target him? If he doesn't take this leap, he's gonna be alone forever. It's now or never. Gamers. He pulls the trigger. They set a date. Saturday. The city park. It's officially happening. The anxiety is through the roof. He lets out a scream that probably shattered windows 3 blocks away. Pure hype. But yeah, his neighbors weren't exactly fans of his midnight victory screech. Shut the hell up, someone yells. Anyway, fast forward, Saturday has finally arrived. The alarm clock is screaming beep, beep, beep. It's game day, but for real this time. He smacks the alarm, gets dressed in his best clothes, and finally takes that first step outside. It's spring, the trees are blooming, and everything looks way too cinematic for a guy like him. He reaches the park, the moment of truth. Just one street stands between him and his destiny. He licks his fingers gross, but whatever, and fixes his bangs. Time to meet the mystery mage. He's doing the absolute most, even giving that bouquet of flowers one final, nervous touch-up. His bow tie, perfectly straight. But inside, he's basically a vibrating mess of anxiety. This was it. The moment he'd finally leave his old self behind and become a brand new man. Then, the pedestrian lights started beeping. He couldn't tell if it was excitement or straight-up terror, probably both. Every step closer made his heart hammer against his ribs like a drum. Talk about high stakes. It took him back to those rough school days when he was the easy target. He wanted to be the hero today, but part of him just wanted to bolt. The sun was out, trees were in full bloom, the perfect setting for a legendary date. Or so he thought. He's praying this goes exactly like his dreams. You know, the ones where he actually gets the girl? Honestly, he was just happy to even have a shot at this. But while his head was in the clouds, he completely missed the signal turning red. Classic mistake. And he just kept walking. He's strutting across the street with all the passion of a rom-com lead, totally oblivious to the world around him. People are literally screaming, waving their arms, trying to warn him. But he's in his own little world. Then comes the main event, a truck. The driver slams the brakes, rubber screaming against the asphalt. Tires smoking, driver leaning on the horn like his life depends on it. It's a total nightmare scenario. The massive truck just keeps sliding forward dangerously close, and way too fast. Zero time to react. The impact? Absolutely unavoidable. And then everything went sideways. The sickening sound of metal hitting bone echoed through the air. Not a sound you ever want to hear, trust me. He's thrown several meters away, lying there completely still. Someone rushes over, frozen in shock. They tried to help, but it was already over. The damage was just way too much. A crowd starts forming, someone's calling for an ambulance, and for a second, that whole part of the city just stops. Complete silence. For our guy, there was nothing left to feel, just nothingness. Everything went calm, like time itself had hit the pause button, but he knew his dreams were officially cooked. Aside from being a pro at video games, he hadn't really done anything worth mentioning. No legacy, nothing. All he felt now was this massive, heavy fatigue washing over him. Then, the darkness was ripped apart by a blinding light. Enter. The system. A weird interface popped up right in front of his soul. He's like, wait, who's talking? But the voice just shuts him down immediately. I'm your system, obviously it says, acting like he should have known this already. Rude, right? He's still processing the fact that he just got isekai'd by a literal truck. You know, the classic move. The system confirms it, he's reincarnating. He tries to tell himself he's just dreaming, but nope. The system's like, let me finish. But our boy starts panicking and shouting like a lunatic. He's trying to wake himself up, screaming at the top of his lungs, until the system finally loses its cool. Enough already, it snaps. You're in a new world now. Deal with it. He asks if there's an opt-out button, but the system's got a deal for him. Finish all the missions and he gets a one-way ticket back to his old life. Simple, right? Not really. He's all in. Let's go. Right now. But the system tells him to slow his roll. This isn't a weekend trip. It's going to take time. Plus, he needs to get used to his new body. Suddenly, he realizes where are his hands. There's a puddle in front of him, and the system tells him to take a look. A picture is worth 1,000 words, the system says. And man, is it ever. He tries to move, but he's just hopping. The water is clear as a mirror, reflecting everything. There are snails everywhere, just hanging out on the ground. And then the big reveal. He looks into the water and gets the shock of a lifetime. His brain just completely short circuits. He's a mushroom. A literal, hopping mushroom. He immediately bounces away in pure denial. Why a mushroom of all things? The local snails are giving him some seriously suspicious looks. He's staring at them in pure terror, praying this is just a really, really weird fever dream. But those snails, they're way too big, way too strange, and they're just munching on grass. Welcome to your new life, buddy. Just like a slow, rhythmic nightmare, the only sound was chewing. That constant crunching became a cruel, disturbing mantra as they munched on grass nonstop. It was honestly a haunting way to start a brand new life. Our little mushroom protagonist was absolutely terrified by the whole scene. Then, the system pops up with a welcome to Brave Mainland, but it was way too much for him. He was in total shock. The system tried to be a bit comforting, telling him it's definitely hard to wrap your head around all this, but there was zero time to waste. The game was officially live. It began downloading a massive data dump directly into his brain. At first, he couldn't make sense of anything, but then a whirlwind of information started flooding his mind. This land was packed with magic and wonders across various regions, known to everyone as Brave Mainland. Back in the ancient days, monsters and humans actually worked together. Humans handled the manual labor, while those gifted with magic helped the monsters thrive and prosper. It was a time of mutual learning until everything went sideways. The demon lord Golem shattered the peace and started hunting humans, even convincing several monster tribes to join his cause because they felt superior. This betrayal forced the humans to unite under their king's banners to fight back. They started a war to subjugate the monsters, and legends say the 6 most powerful heroes teamed up to seal Golem away. But the guy was so insane that his body had to be ripped into 6 pieces and hidden in different corners of the world. These pieces were scattered randomly across the map. You've got the Castle of Time, the Pentachrome Desert, the Sunken World, the Stormy Pastures, the Source of the Volcano, and finally, the Land of the Dead. After the war, the bond between monsters and humans was broken forever. Even with Gollum sealed, his fanatical followers are still roaming free, causing chaos wherever they go. They're constantly trying to resurrect Gollum, and that's exactly why our boy was reincarnated to stop the demon lord from returning and wiping out the land. Gollum's cult has already started prepping to break those seals, so time is running out fast. After the explanation, the system asked if the player had any questions. He just wanted to know one thing. If he stops Golem, can he finally go back to his old world? The system said yes, which honestly just made him more upset. He wasn't some legendary hero, he was just a tiny mushroom. Hopping around in a fit of rage, he ended up slipping and losing his balance. Faceplant. His mushroom body hit the dirt hard. The system told him to chill out and get used to the body, but it hoped he'd learn fast because his first mission was about to kick off. The boy put every bit of effort into standing up, but that alone left him totally wiped out. He started complaining to the system, asking why he couldn't at least be a creature with legs instead of a helpless mushroom. Using every ounce of strength, he tried to stand again, but he just flopped over. He was already starting to feel hopeless. Like, how do you save the world if you can't even stand? The system didn't care if he was ready or not, the game waits for no one. Mission number 1. Survive the rare mind, either body toughness or actual limbs. The countdown hit 3 seconds, and suddenly the snails nearby started hauling shell. One dove into a bush, another climbed a vine, while our boy was just stuck lying on the ground. The mission started 59 minutes to survive. Then the system dropped a chilling warning, they are coming. A portal began to glow, and the terrified boy watched as a massive vortex formed inside the gateway. The countdown finally hits 0. And then, a heavy boot steps into the light. The nightmare begins. A horde of kids floods in, looking for one thing: total destruction. They've got a bloodlust for experience points. It's all about those class change requirements. They want to be heroes. Our little mushroom, he's shaking like a leaf. Pure terror takes over. He doesn't just walk, he scrambles, desperate to get the hell out of there before they spot him. He hops behind a thick tree, heart hammering against his ribs. If they're here for a monster hunt, he's basically a walking snack. Total danger zone. One kid steps forward, swinging a basic stick like he's some legendary warrior in the making. That +1 attack stat, it's actually effective. With one swift walk, he sends a tiny snail flying through the air. Snatching that clawless line stick was a genius move. Turns out, it's enough to one-shot a red snail. Brutal. Down in one hit. Meanwhile, another kid is literally ripping a snail right out of its home. And yeah, it's pretty gross. The shell is still twitching on the ground when crunch, he smashes it with a rock. Way better than a stick, he laughs. A green snail tries its best to escape the carnage. It's a literal bloodbath in the starter zone. It's going full speed, well, snail speed, but a hand scoops it up mid-crawl. There's absolutely nowhere to run. It looks back, terrified. This sweet little girl asks if it wants to be her companion. Sounds nice, right? The snail actually gets its hopes up. It smiles. But wait, she needs quest ingredients to level up first. Class change requirements are no joke. She guts the poor thing alive right then and there. Total savage. 1 shell down, 9 to go. She tosses the remains into a storage pot like it's yesterday's trash. 10 slots, 10 victims. Watching this, our mushroom realizes a dark truth. Humans are the real monsters here. From a monster's perspective, these kids are demons. But then plot twist. Something moves in the garden. Boom! A kid gets launched straight into a rock. Instant game over. That's a lot of digital blood for a starter area. He's immediately teleported back to the beginner village. He lost his favorite stick and a chunk of experience. Major F. 100 X points? Gone. The other kids freeze, staring at the spot where their friend just got deleted. Enter the level 3 Papa Snail. He's on a skateboard, and he is officially out of patience with these punks. This guy is different. He's a beast. Our mushroom is stunned. Why can he suddenly see this guy's levels? Names? It's all visible. The system chimes in. That's your evaluation ability, buddy. Better learn how to use it. To really understand his power, he needs to check his own status window. But first, the drama in front of him. That shell? It's one of the rarest drops for this quest. Every kid there starts drooling over the potential loot. They form a temporary party. Let's jump it together and decide who gets the shell later. Classic gamer logic. But Papa Snail isn't having it. He starts wrecking them. One by one, these kids are getting sent back to spawn. They're vanishing left and right. Finally, the last of the weaklings hits the dirt. It's a total wipe. But wait, one guy was lurking in the shadows. He thanks the noobs for weakening the boss for him. What a jerk. Kill stealing 101. But Papa Snail? Oh, he's absolutely livid. You don't want to see a snail this man. This level 4 student has a serious grudge. He's been seeking revenge ever since his last embarrassing defeat. Revenge match. Papa Snail charges in with everything he's got. It's about to get incredibly violent. They clash. The snail sees an opening and goes for the feet. Chomp. A fierce bite right on the ankle. It's a solid hit, but the guy doesn't even flinch. Those wild boar leather boots? +5 defense, baby. This guy spent 2 months prepping for this fight. And now, Papa Snail has lost his skateboard. No board means no speed. His main weapon is gone. Against a real sword, the odds are looking grim. The snail is exhausted, spitting and gasping, but it won't back down. Our mushroom finally sees the truth. It's protecting its family. Total respect. Our mushroom starts cheering. Go, Papa Snail, show him what you've got. But cheering doesn't help. It's over. Papa Snail is gone. Just like that, the battle is decided. It was a tough fight, but expected. That rarest ingredient? It's finally in the boy's hands. 20 experience points and a legendary shell. With this, he's finally ready to become a knight. Seeing that, our mushroom is shaking like a leaf. There's no way he survives this world without some serious help. He's desperate for a savior. And then movement. Someone is creeping cautiously through the forest nearby. A boy advances, eyes peeled and sword ready. He hears a rustle in the bushes and stops dead in his tracks. Maybe he'd find a nice family of snails? He gently parts the bushes, expecting a snack. But wait, what? It is definitely not a snail. It's a mushroom. A literal mushroom. The kids start screaming their lungs out. Pure terror. But get this, the mushroom was just as terrified as they were. Talk about an awkward first meeting. He thought it was game over. Surely they'd cook him, right? Wrong. The boys immediately book it. They are shouting about a monster mushroom, which honestly, kind of offensive. Was he really that scary? Turns out, yeah. The system chimes in, confirming he is a beast and tells him to check his stats. Time to see what we are working with. He pulls up his attribute panel, and honestly, not bad. He's a level 5 mushroom rocking a resurrection coin. Basically, he has got an extra life in his pocket. 36 health, 22 mana, and full-blown monster status. At level 5, he was actually a big deal here. The king of the hill. The strongest human nearby was only level 4. Advantage, mushroom. Feeling a bit more confident, he checks his skills. He has got 2 main tools in his kit, appraisal and mushroom charge. Appraisal lets him spy on everyone's stats classic RPG move. Since charge does not cost any mana, it has got to be his go-to attack. Simple, but effective. Basic? Sure, but in this noob zone, it is enough to let him absolutely dominate the competition. He thought he was playing on impossible mode, but the tables were turning in the beginner's village. Difficulty level? Easy. The roles are officially reversed, and our boy is ready to start hunting. Time to find some victims. He spots a group of kids bullying snails nearby. Oh, how the turns table. It is time they witnessed his true power. He locks on, determined, ready to unleash his first real attack. Boom! He slams into 2 of them. They did not stand a chance, collapsing right there on the spot. Total knockout. The boy and girl vanished from the area, probably sent back to their respawn point. That was way too easy. Plus, he just bagged 5 experience points for each of those little rascals. But wait, another kid shows up, looking totally confused. Our mushroom friend just gives him a malicious look. He turns toward him with pure evil intent. The boy's face says it all. This was not in the tutorial. Terrified, the kid scrambles up a vine like his life depends on it because it actually does. He climbs as high as possible. A level 5 monster in this area? That is just unfair game design. The mushroom looks up, thinking, "You really think a little height is going to save you, kid?" He gathers his strength and jumps. His head clips the vine, but he does not quite make it. He tries again. Still nothing. Then he tries to bite the vine because, well, he does not have hands. No hands? Yeah, that is a major complication. Looks like he will just have to wait for the boy to descend. He gives up for now and hops away, moving toward a nearby platform and into the thick bushes. He keeps hopping through the forest, hunting for fresh targets when suddenly, twack, a rock hits him. It hits him square in the head. Ouch, that did not just hurt his feelings, it actually did some damage. 2 health points gone, just like that. Now he is pissed. Who dared to attack the king of the forest? Who is the reckless brat responsible for this? The boy had gathered a whole squad of his friends. The strongest kid in the group was only level 3, but hey, there is strength in numbers, right? More kids means more experience points, but it also makes things a whole lot more dangerous for our hero. He leaps onto the ground with authority. This is not your average grocery store mushroom, it is a monster. Right in front of the boys, he prepares his signature move. Here it comes, mushroom charge. He is midair. A chubby boy steps up with a shield that gives him 8 defense points. He actually tanks the hit, but his shield shatters into pieces. Panic mode. He calls for a formation. The glasses boy and the girl flank one side, while the kid in the helmet takes the other. They start splitting up and running. Classic distraction play. Meanwhile, the helmet kid is not backing down. He hurls another rock at our mushroom friend, and get this, it is a direct hit. A critical hit. That is 4 health points down. The pain is real, and now? He's officially done playing nice. No more mercy. But on the other side, even more rocks are flying his way. This is war. 4 eyes and the girl start chucking rocks, a total stone-cold barrage. Helmet Kid joins the raid, and suddenly, it's raining rocks right on our mushroom friend's head. Every pebble? -2 HP. And our mushroom friend's attack is still on cooldown. Rough. The moment that cooldown hit 0, he swung back, but these kids weren't playing around. The chubby kid pulls out another shield. Man, this mushroom was so close to a hit. But nope. Tank Boy blocks it at the very last second. Talk about a clutch save. Sword in hand, the boy with glasses charges in. It's go time for the hero. His friends are cheering him on, screaming for the kill, but the mushroom? He dodges. Well, mostly. He gets clipped on the top of his head. Ouch. Talk about a massive headache. The weak together can beat the strong. Cheesy, right? But he'd seen this strategy before. It's the classic RPG setup. Tanks soak up the damage while the damage dealers go wild. If he doesn't take them all out in one shot, he's basically mushroom soup. Surrounded, battered. These kids were straight up bullying him now. Finally, he collapses. After that brutal beatdown, he was 1 second away from lights out. He hits the dirt, barely conscious. Honestly, it's hard to watch. The Brat Squad gathers round, poking at him to see if he's finally kicked the bucket. Victory dance time! They're all cheering because they defeated a starter-level monster. But wait, the girl stops. Guys, why didn't we get any experience points? Plot twist. The mushroom was playing dead, a total pro-gamer move to lure them in close. Enraged, he launches a brutal counterattack. And just like that, level up, baby. Kids, flattened. His body starts to glow as he hits 47 health and 30 mana. The level up high is real. Every scratch, every bruise just completely vanished into thin air. He felt like a god. Invincible. But hey, being this overpowered, it's a little lonely at the top. He figured if he just stayed here, he could max out his level and finish every mission easily. But while he was busy daydreaming about his future empire, boom, a lightning bolt slams down right next to him. Clear blue sky, but he almost got fried. That's when it clicked. He wasn't the only one hunting in these woods. The adventurer mocked the mage for missing, even though he'd just gotten a fancy new class. This guy was level 18. He complained that the chaos-causing monster was just a tiny mushroom. The level 17 archer didn't give a damn. She just wanted the loot and the paycheck. Let's just wrap this up, she sighed. She had better things to do than bully a fungus. The level 12 warrior felt all nostalgic, being back in the starter zone with his high-level seniors. For our mushroom friend, that level gap meant exactly one thing. He was dead meat. The mage charges up a ball of lightning pure, crackling energy, and hurls it straight at him. Terrified? You bet. He barely lunges out of the way, but the heat is insane. The top of his head gets scorched as the blast vaporizes the bushes behind him. One hit took away 14 health points. 14. Why are high levels smurfing in the beginner area? He looks back and sees the trees literally turn to splinters. No way he wins this. Against a party like this? Yeah, 0 chance. His only hope was to run. He concentrates every bit of strength he has. It's time for the ultimate escape. He uses his charge skill to leap as far away as possible from those human monsters. The players actually look surprised. A monster that knows when it's outclassed? That's rare. The warrior tells his team to relax. I got this, he says, stepping forward. He just learned a new skill and was itching for a little target practice. With a massive swing of his axe, he sends a shockwave tearing through the ground. Then, boom! A massive slab of earth erupted from the ground, acting as a shield to stop those mushrooms cold. But the impact was brutal. He slammed into it head first, losing 10 health points instantly as the system started screaming at him. Caution, the system warned. His HP had dipped below 50%, meaning one more mistake, and it was game over. The sheer force sent him spinning through the air like a top. Meanwhile, in the distance, the archer was already locking on. She narrowed her eyes, focusing her sights on our little monster to end its life with one single, lethal shot. Thwack! The arrow hit the mushroom with terrifying precision. That piercing damage was no joke, carving out another 23 HP. And just like that, his health bar hit rock bottom. 0 points left. The arrow was so powerful it tore right through him, shattering the earth wall behind him like it was made of glass. He hit the dirt, completely unresponsive. The system message popped up with the cold truth. This was the end of the game. His body just kept bouncing along the ground from the impact, limp and pathetic, until the momentum finally fizzled out. The warrior was impressed, praising the archer's insane precision and saying she'd be recruited by the top guilds in no time. She played it cool, acting all flattered by the compliment. Well, she teased, if the invitation is sincere, I might just have to say yes. But the mage wasn't having it. Quit the chatter. We need to bag that mushroom body and go collect our reward. But wait, the system had a question. Use your resurrection coin to keep the dream alive. I mean, what else was he gonna do? He didn't have a choice. He mashed that yes button immediately. Suddenly, his body started glowing with new life, and boom, new skill unlocked. Spore explosion. Talk about a glow up. Health, fully restored. As soon as the hunters closed in for the loot, our hero unleashed a massive cloud of spores. It was huge. A literal wall of spores blanketed the entire area, covering everything in sight. The mage was stunned. A mushroom with an area of effectability? He'd never seen anything like it in all his years. Under the cover of the fog, our boy tried to charge out, but the archer's instincts were on another level. He's trying to bolt, she screamed, alerting the team before he could make his grand escape. They scrambled instantly, moving with lightning speed to cut off every possible exit route. Our hero kept hopping for his life, but the gap between him and those hunters was closing fast. Panic time. He needed a plan, so he desperately asked the system, how much longer do I have to survive this? The timer appeared. A little over 3 minutes left. Just 3 minutes of pure survival. If he could just stay in one piece until the clock hit 0, the mission rewards would be his. Suddenly, crack. A bolt of lightning tore down from the sky, nearly turning him into a grilled snack. The impact was way too close for comfort. Have they already caught up to me? He wondered, heart racing. He dived to the side, sliding across the dirt in a desperate attempt to stay out of their reach. How? He thought. Even with the spore cloud blocking their vision, they were right on his tail. Then he noticed it. A glowing mark floating right above his head. It was a hunter's tracking mark. That was the archer's secret weapon, a skill embedded right in her arrow. And here's the kicker. The more skilled the archer, the more impossible the tracking becomes. The archer was genuinely surprised he was still breathing, but she knew, after being marked, there was no escaping her. The warrior lunged forward, swinging his blade to finish off this annoying little mushroom once and for all. Our boy barely avoided getting sliced in half, but the dodge was clumsy, and he lost his footing. This was it. He'd already used his resurrection coin. He literally could not afford to die again. While he was pinned against a tree, more attacks approached, sharp blades of wind cutting through the air. They sliced through the wood like it was butter, catching him and shaving off another 18 health points. He wasn't going out like this. He popped his spore cloud again, trying to vanish into the mist. The fog rolled in, but the archer just laughed. Give it up. That strategy is useless against me. She could still see that glowing mark through the thickest smoke. She didn't even need her eyes anymore. She pulled back her string, locking onto the target with lethal intent. Her fingers relaxed, and the arrow was released, tearing through the air with violent force. Trees were getting shredded left and right until that final impact found our mushroom hero. Again, this hit, absolutely brutal. 28 health points left straight into critical condition. His speed, gutted by 80%. Stamina was flatlined. And recovery? Yeah, that wasn't happening. The players closed in on the fallen mushroom like vultures. A countdown started ticking. Tick, tock. This wasn't just any mob. It was a special monster that actually used skills to hide. But even that wasn't enough. The mage charged up a final, fatal blow as the timer hit 1 second. Mission complete? Not quite. Time had officially run out for everyone. Suddenly, the forest went dead silent before birds erupted into the sky, screaming in terror. The archers realized the clock hit 0. The mage looked pale, whispering he'd been gone too long. He'd forgotten something terrifying. The warrior, being well, a warrior, demanded to know what was up. Then, a massive, glowing teleportation circle ripped open the sky right above their heads. The mage didn't hesitate. He screamed at his team to run for their lives. Then, it started. One tiny mushroom popped out of the circle, then another, and another. A literal rain of fungi. The sky was practically blotted out as these creatures began their chaotic descent from the clouds. Countless mushrooms were falling like a storm. But the warrior? He wasn't running. He was grinning. He called the mages warning total nonsense. He gripped his axe, ready to go to work. He started hacking them down, thinking, no way am I missing out on all this juicy experience. To him, they weren't monsters, they were gifts from the heavens. He unleashed a wide-range skill, slaughtering mushrooms by the dozen. Their bodies were starting to pile up across the entire forest floor. It was a literal all-you-can-eat experience buffet, and our warrior friend was feeling like a king. The mage called him an absolute moron. He didn't understand how the waves worked in this place. They had to move now, but the warrior just laughed, calling the mage a total coward. I'm getting rich here, he shouted. If you're scared, go hide under your bed. The archer chimed in, mentioning a village enchantment that prevented permanent death. They could actually relax. Or so they thought. The party decided to ditch the greedy warrior right then and there. They told him point blank, if things go sideways, don't come crying to us. It's on you. He watched them flee, laughing at the idiots passing up the grind of a lifetime. He figured he'd never lose to such weak mobs. But then something massive stepped through the portal. The warrior expected more fodder. More useless little guys. He was very, very wrong. A shadow stretched over him, dark, heavy, and absolutely enormous. He looked up and his heart stopped. This thing was a mountain compared to him. And wait, did that mushroom have a mustache? It did. And a royal cape. Meet the Mushroom King, a level 60 nightmare of a boss. He shows up every 7 days, hunting for some ancient, long-lost secret of the mushroom race. The warrior's arrogance vanished into a scream of pure despair. There was zero he could do. The Mushroom King didn't even fight, he just fell. Total weight, crushing the warrior into the dirt. While the king greeted his tiny subjects, the warrior was he was a pancake. His soul was forcibly teleported back to the village. The cost? Days of hard-earned experience? Gone. His teammates didn't even look back. They knew they stood zero chance against a level 60 king. The king looked down at his tiny, battered people. He saw them exhausted and injured. It seemed like all this chaos, all this monster activity was actually happening because of him. The king drew his sword, pointing it toward the sky in a grand royal gesture. He gave a silent, rallying cry, and every tiny mushroom began jumping in sync. It was a full-blown mushroom celebration. Even the king started hopping along with his loyal subjects. Meanwhile, our main mushroom's vision was fading fast. Everything was becoming a blurry mess. He didn't want to be left behind. He was one of them. He needed help before the darkness took him. Out of nowhere, a pig. And honestly, all our hero wanted right now was a little help. Nearby, a campfire flickered with a quiet, steady glow. Its soft light revealed a rocky ceiling looked like they were tucked away in a hidden cave somewhere. Finally, his eyes flickered open. He was actually alive after that absolute nightmare of a battle. Somehow, he'd cheated death. But he had zero clue where the hell he was. Then, he spotted something weird. Mushroom chunks. Everywhere. Just scattered across the floor like a crime scene. And just a few feet away, something was chewing. Loudly. He instantly panicked, thinking this pig had slaughtered every mushroom in sight. The beast just kept feasting on the remains, then snap. It whipped its head around right toward him. Pure horror. He scrambled to look away, praying he wouldn't draw the creature's gaze. Please don't see me. Please don't see me. Luckily, the pig went back to its buffet, but then a dark thought hit him. Maybe he was just the dessert. He'd been dragged here to be saved for later. He had to get out of there while the beast was busy eating his friends. He tried to make a break for it while the pig was distracted, but as he moved, he felt light. Too light. His legs, they were gone. Clean cut. That pig must have already started snacking on his lower half. It actually ate him, and now, the pig was waddling over, its little tail wagging with pure, terrifying excitement. It was hyped. Seeing the beast closing in, he realized he had only one play left. Play dead. Maybe if he looked like a corpse, he'd get a second chance to bolt, and then it arrived. He squeezed his eyes shut, waiting for the crunch. The pig was right there, looming over him like a furry executioner. It stared. Intently. Its snout moved closer and closer, and our poor mushroom main character, he was shaking like a leaf. He was trembling uncontrollably, but then, the weirdest thing happened. The pig didn't bite. It threw up. Yeah, it spat out a chewed-up mush right onto his open wounds. Gross, I know, but wait for it. His health bar started shooting up instantly. Were those mushroom bits from earlier actually medicine? This pig wasn't eating his friends, it was prepping a healing buffet. Even as the beast backed off, he stayed perfectly still, eyes clamped shut. Suddenly, a soft nudge. The pig was gently booping his head with its snout, almost like it was worried. Talk about a plot twist. This pig was actually being affectionate. It was literally nursing him back to health. The little guy even flopped down right next to him for a nap. But our hero, still too terrified to peek. Eventually, the pig's breathing slowed as it drifted off. High above, a tiny crack in the ceiling let the moonlight spill in. The silver light hit the floor, and the pig snapped awake. It was on high alert, sensing something was wrong. It looked around, but its mushroom buddy was gone. nowhere to be seen. It started frantically sniffing the air. The cave felt empty, and the poor thing looked heartbroken until it caught a scent. Its instincts kicked in. It locked onto the trail and started tracking our runaway fungus through the dark tunnels. But wait, mid-hunt, it remembered something critical. It pulled a U-turn and sprinted back the way it came. Those little legs were moving. All that effort just to stomp out the campfire? Safety first, I guess. Fires out. Meanwhile, our hero was struggling, pushing himself to the absolute limit to put some distance between them. He was thinking, if I'm gonna die, let it be by a legendary boss, not as a pig's breakfast. Suddenly, boom, the ground started shaking. Earthquake? Nope, something much more persistent. He looked back, and oh boy, it was way worse. That pig was charging after him like a fluffy freight train. It was relentless. Absolute panic mode activated. He had no weapons, no plan, and definitely no legs. Closer and closer. It didn't matter how hard he scrambled. He wasn't outrunning a determined pig. Desperate times call for desperate measures. His last resort? Spore explosion. He detonated a massive cloud to block its view. Visibility? Zero. The pig came to a screeching halt in the middle of the cloud, but it didn't look mad. Actually, it looked happier. It stood there patiently, flared its nostrils, and took a massive breath. It started vacuuming up those spores like they were gourmet snacks. Within seconds, the air was crystal clear again, and there he was exposed. Our mushroom friend was still trying to waddle away, but the pig had found its prize. He was terrified. It's going to eat me for sure this time. He pushed his little body to the absolute max. He was running for his life from this love-struck beast. With no other choice, he screamed for help from the one thing he could trust, the system, and thankfully, it answered immediately. Now, he just needed to know one thing. Mission complete. The system chime rang out, asking if he was ready for his reward. No hesitation here. Give it to me now, he said, desperate for any kind of edge. The choices? Toughness or limbs. Talk about a weird crossroads for a mushroom to be at. He sat there totally stumped, wondering which one would actually keep him alive long. Limbs, though that sounded interesting. Maybe he could finally punch that pig? Plus, let's be real, running away would be a whole lot easier with actual legs. Having a wider range of movement seemed like the ultimate survival upgrade right now. Decision made. He told the system, I want limbs. Time to stop being a vegetable. Suddenly, his body started glowing. Tiny protrusions began sprouting from his sides like little buds. 2 small arms appeared. Then, the same weird glowing started happening at the bottom. Transformation complete. He officially had feet to stand on and, well, tiny, adorable arm nubs. This was it, his big hero moment to run. Except there was a slight problem. With those stubby little legs, he was basically crawling. His speed was absolutely pathetic. Calling those tiny bumps limbs was a massive overstatement. Still, he kept speed waddling away. Why was this pig so obsessed with him? She closed the gap in seconds. She took a joyful leap, her little hooves snatching the mushroom right out of the air. The two of them went tumbling across the dirt until the pig finally stuck the landing. Our mushroom hero just lay there, completely defeated. The chase was officially over. Then, the beast licked him. Terrified, he just prayed for a quick, merciful end. But no, the piglet just kept licking him affectionately. Talk about a weird way to go. He opened his eyes and triggered his appraisal skill. Time to see what he was facing. Level 10, 50 attack power. And get this, she goes into a frenzy when she's hungry. Seeing those scary stats, he quickly checked his own attributes just to compare. Level 6. He was way weaker than her, basically a sad snack. His appraisal was better, sure, but the power gap? It was basically a mountain. Suddenly, the piglet's ears perked up. She definitely heard something coming from the exit. She stared intently at the cave's mouth, her body tensing like something bad was happening. Her snout twitched. She'd picked up a scent, and whatever it wasn't friendly. She started circling the mushroom frantically, trying to communicate that they had to move. He was totally lost. If she wasn't eating him, maybe this was his chance to bail. But before he could move, the cave started groaning. Huge chunks of rock began falling. The whole world started shaking violently. Was it an earthquake? Or something way worse? Outside, massive creatures were stomping around in a crater, moving with terrifying speed. They were so fast, they were practically a blur. Their agility was honestly on another level. Every step they took made the entire structure tremble, like it was made of cards. Above them, a massive stalactite started vibrating until the tip snapped off, plummeting down. Rocks were raining from the ceiling. This cave was turning into a literal death trap. The piglet bolted for the exit. Panicked, the mushroom scrambled to follow. He didn't want to be alone. Wait for me, he pleaded, terrified of being crushed by a falling boulder. It actually worked. The piglet turned back, showing a surprisingly soft heart for a monster. She darted back toward him, nimbly dodging a falling cactus that nearly smashed her. That impact was brutal. If that had hit her, it would have been game over instantly. Her agility was incredible to watch. She reached the mushroom just in the nick of time. Without missing a beat, she nudged him with her snout, sending him flying into the air, and just like that, he landed right on her back. Our boy just got a mount. With his tiny new limbs, he was clinging on for dear life. Her speed, absolutely insane. Staying on was a struggle, but this piglet, she was dodging every obstacle like a pro. Pure parkour. Meanwhile, our poor mushroom friend was doing his best not to throw up. The exit was right there. Almost. She braced herself for one final, massive push. Boom! That powerful jump sent them flying out just before the entrance was buried by falling boulders. Seriously, another second and they would have been mushroom pancakes. Talk about timing. Touchdown. They made it. Safe and sound, though our mushroom buddy was definitely gasping for air. Where the cave mouth used to be, nothing but a massive pile of rubble and debris, just dust and silence. But then, looking down from above, some strange figures started to gather. More pigs, just like her. Our little fungi friend wondered, are these her long-lost buddies? System check. Mount Wild Boars, level 18. Powerful, aggressive, and clearly not here to play nice. Usually, they'd run from a fight, but this time, one of them aggressively stomped the ground. They lined up, forming a path with a massive bonfire blazing right in the middle. Get this, the fire was actually burning on the leader's head. Now that's a hot look. It was an epic stare-down. Intense. Our mushroom could sense this beast was on another level. Level 35, but his analysis skill? Still way too low to get any more juicy details. After a tense standoff, the piglet did the unthinkable. She just turned her back and walked away. Total disrespect. One boar was fuming, but the leader? He just let out a low, intimidating grunt. That grunt said it all. Sit down. The angry boar got the message and backed off. They just watched as she walked off, choosing a lonely path far away from the rest of the herd. Our duo was officially on their own. No idea what kind of craziness was waiting for them next. First, she patches his wounds, then she saves him from a collapsing cave. This piglet is a legend. Honestly, she seemed totally chill. No hostility, just vibes and a very busy nose. She was back to her usual business, sniffing the ground like she was hunting for some hidden treasure. They strolled through the meadows until our boy finally asked the system, "Where the heck are we?" "Welcome to Crescent Bay, east of the Tempest Grasslands and a whopping 200 kilometers away." 200 kilometers from the starting village? That's quite the trip for a little mushroom. He had no clue how they got here. Did the piglet use some secret teleportation skill? It's possible. But suddenly, the piglet's ears perked up. Something was definitely wrong. High alert. Out of nowhere, a gross, sticky mass launched itself straight into the air. It lunged, but she dodged it like a boss. Once again, her reflexes were absolutely on point. Our mushroom held on tight. She was way too fast for these basic attacks to land. No threat here yet, but she couldn't just keep playing defense forever. The attacker vanished. It slunk back into the shadows, leaving the prairie looking deceptively peaceful once again. Danger everywhere. Honestly, our boy is lucky this piglet is constantly on her toes. She was scanning everything eyes sharp, nose twitching for any scent hidden in the tall grass. And then, the attacker finally decided to show its ugly face. It was a massive, hideous toad, and it looked very hungry. Our mushroom friend, totally terrified. He hit it with appraisal, level 11, and apparently, this thing is voracious. Basically, it needs to eat its own body weight every single day, and it prefers its prey in one single, slimy gulp. Great. Now it was staring right at them. A quick stare down, tension so thick you could cut it. Then, round 2 began. That sticky tongue shot out again like a whip. The piglet dodged it easily, but the mushroom? Not so lucky. He got snatched right off her back. Captured, our boy started screaming for help as the piglet realized her buddy was in serious trouble. Pure rage. Seeing that ugly toad mess with her friend? Not happening. She charged. Toad's ready for a snack, but our piglet is coming in hot like a wrecking ball. As its tongue snapped back, the toad was too tunnel-visioned to see the danger. Seconds from being swallowed whole, but our piglet was already making her desperate move. Mushroom almost went self-destruct with a spore blast, but his partner was already there. Those tiny hooves were ready. With a powerful, desperate charge, she launched her attack. Impact! A massive headbutt sent the toad reeling in pain. Talk about a reality check. The mushroom landed safely on her back, feeling genuinely lucky to be alive right now. He was truly grateful this time. Seems this piglet is basically his guardian angel. But wait, the danger wasn't over. A lethal slicing shockwave was suddenly heading their way. She sensed it and jumped. If that hit, it would have been game over, guaranteed. They looked back and gasped. The toad was literally sliced into pieces. Absolute overkill. Then came the footsteps. Clink. Clink, echoing like some giant insect from your nightmares. This wasn't a toad. This was something way higher on the food chain. Near the toad's remains stood a monster that looked like a nightmare praying mantis. It plunged a blade into the flesh, tearing off a chunk like it was nothing. Meet the blade mantis. Level 19. And it's the deadliest predator in this area. This thing is the strongest of its kind, capable of slicing through solid steel effortlessly. Its defense is weak, but its attack power? A terrifying 280 points. It wasn't fully distracted by the meal. It already sensed more prey nearby. They barely survived a toad. Against a level 19 boss, This was looking real bad. One wrong move meant certain death. The mantis slowly sheathed its razor-sharp blade. It moved with the cold patience of a professional killer, readying its next strike. It widened its stance, pure offensive mode. Its eyes were locked onto our duo. One swing and they'd be sliced ham. The tension was thick enough to cut. Piglet needed to be incredibly cautious. One slip-up and it's curtains for both of them. Suddenly, whoosh! A massive rock was launched high into the sky out of nowhere. It flew high, distracting the mantis. But what goes up must eventually come down. Smash! The rock flattened the mantis instantly. Talk about a literal rock in a hard place. Jaws dropped. Did that boulder just act on purpose? This isn't just scenery, guys. The mantis was gone, slowly absorbed into the rock like it never even existed. A slit opened on the boulder, revealing one sinister, glowing eye. Creepy as hell, it stood there motionless. A level 26 boulder mushroom. The ultimate ambush predator. They mimic rocks until prey gets close. Insane defense, but slow as a literal stone. Back away slowly, Mushroom whispered. No sudden movements. Just keep drifting, little pig. She followed his advice, stepping back inch by inch until they were out of sight. The boulder didn't move. It just sat there, in the grass, waiting for the next victim. It transformed back into a lone rock, perfectly blending into the landscape once again. They kept moving, but man, the mushroom was reaching his absolute limit here. Piglet pushed him up the hill, but she was completely gassed too. Total exhaustion. They stumbled a bit further until they finally hit some shade. Finally, a break. Both of them collapsed on the grass, totally worn out from all the chaos. Piglet started watching some dandelions drift by. Cute, but maybe not the time, girl. She got totally distracted by their beauty for a second. Typical. The world's trying to eat them. Mushroom just wanted to know one thing. Is it actually safe to stop here? Suddenly, something catches his eye. The scale of this place? Massive. A vast plain stretching all the way to the sea. Look up! Giant, majestic beasts are soaring through the clouds. This world can be extremely dangerous if you aren't careful. But man, it's beautiful in equal measure. While our guy was busy daydreaming about the scenery, things got real. Ding! The system screen pops up right in his face. It informs him that this world actually resembles his own. It's got natural laws and a fully functioning ecosystem. He realized he's basically at the bottom of the food chain. No joke, if it wasn't for that little piglet companion, he'd be monster snacks by now. But he's not giving up. He plans to grind hard, get overpowered, and find a way back to his original world someday. With that fire in his soul, he calls for the system. It answers him immediately, ready for action. He asks for another mission to stack up some rewards. There are 3 difficulty levels available for him. Easy, medium, or hard. The choice is his. Now, they say fortune favors the bold, right? So he decides to check the hard mission first. The objective? Defeat one of the divine generals. One of the Stormgrass King's generals. Yeah, that is way out of his league right now. Knowing his limits, he pivots to the easiest mission instead. He needs to collect 10 red berries. Those berries earn him 50 experience points. Plus, when eaten, they'll actually help him out quite a bit. They restore health and stop his hunger. He thinks this is a total walk in the park. He grabs the piglet and heads out. Our little mushroom protagonist starts dashing through the tall grass. He starts his search for those tiny red fruits. Before long, he spots a small cluster of them. And look at that, the whole area is practically crawling with them. This is way too easy. Seriously, it's a freebie. Before he even breaks a sweat, he's already got 6 of the 10 berries. The piglet is being surprisingly quick, snagging a few extra ones too. But then, he stops. Our mushroom guy notices something weird. He's totally confused. His mission progress just dropped. He's down to 4 berries. Why? Because she's hungry, and she's eating his quest items. She just inhaled the whole stash. He's absolutely livid, screaming at her for sabotaging the mission. Those were his quest items. Enraged, he's determined to show her who the real boss is. Time for a lesson in authority. He swings his hand with all his might toward the piglet, but his tiny punch is just absorbed. She doesn't even realize she's being attacked right now. She just keeps munching away, totally unfazed. She casually shifts her weight to get comfortable. Then wham! She accidentally bumps into the mushroom, sending our poor hero flying like a rag doll. She feels a little nudge and looks back. Then she starts wagging her tail, all happy. She's just glad to be with him. Meanwhile, he's terrified, thinking she's about to finish him off. He expects a counterattack, but she just playfully tosses him into the sky. It's just a game. Once he lands, he gets a new quest. Collect 30 fruits for 70 experience points, plus an inventory box. Next up, catching 15 fish for 80 experience points. He uses his spores to make fishing a breeze. Then he gathers 20 mineral stones. That's another 100 experience. Time flies as he grinds through all these different missions. The day goes by and he finally hits level 9. 75 health points achieved. He's got 39 attack points too. But the piglet ate almost everything he gathered. Despite all that effort, he only gained 3 measly levels. He's wiped out and needs a nap. The pig is already snoring, dreaming about her snacks. He decides to take advantage of this. While the glutton is sleeping, he sneaks in one more easy mission before the day ends. He needs to absorb his collected items to earn 200 experience points. Easy money. Plus, he gets an exclusive skill. Another mission with a special reward? Yes, please. Absorbing his stash is definitely the easiest task he's had all day. No sweat. He opens his inventory to pull out the remaining items. Suddenly, a pile of food appears. That delicious aroma drifts right over to the piglet's nose. And man, she's definitely waking up. She wakes up and immediately starts wagging her tail. Pure happiness. The mushroom tells her that she's already had plenty for breakfast, and this fruit, this one was his. She looks totally heartbroken hearing that. But just as he's about to eat it, he stops. He glances at her, feels a bit of pity, and tosses the fruit over anyway. 1 second she was depressed, and the next, that small gesture completely flipped her mood. She's literally dancing with joy. Since he had some extra items, he hands over the rest, but he warns her to take it slow because he isn't giving her a single bite more. Once that's gone, she's on her own. So, they both sit under the tree shade and start eating. He takes a big bite of a stone and crack. There goes a tooth. Turns out, he had zero clue how to eat a rock. He asks the system for help. Checking his mission, he realizes he hasn't actually progressed at all. Nothing absorbed. This makes him wonder if the system is glitching. He's already eaten 5 berries. The system just gives him a hint. Think carefully about what the mission actually says. The goal was to absorb, not just eat the fruits. Big difference there. Finally, it clicks. The absorption process isn't about his mouth at all. He remembers that giant mushroom from before. It absorbed a mantis just by sitting on it. He looks at his own underside and thinks, wait, do I really have to do that? Night falls, and the sky is full of stars. He scatters the items on the ground. It's time. He takes a deep breath and sits right on top of a fish. Immediately, his backside begins the absorption process. Mission finally complete. Honestly, eating with your butt is a pretty mysterious feeling, to say the least. But hey, it worked. He got enough experience to hit level 10. Level 10 unlocked a new skill, decomposition. Since mushrooms are nature's recyclers, it makes sense. But what's it actually for? Well, the decomposed matter is used to nourish him. He can use this on level 20 monsters and even inorganic stuff. Pretty handy. He gets the point, but after all that sitting and absorbing, he's wiped out. That easy mission felt way more like a medium one in practice. Meanwhile, the little pig is sleeping like a baby with her apple. Watching her, he figures they've done enough for one day. Time to rest before the real adventure starts at dawn. The sun comes up, and the little pig is already on a mission to find every apple in sight. His next task? Kill 10 monsters in this region. The missions are getting tougher, but both he and the pig are level 10 now, powerhouses in their own right. As long as the monsters are weaklings, they won't have any trouble. He calls her over. She looks satisfied and ready. It's go time. But look, this world isn't a game. Monsters don't just spawn out of thin air. You have to actually find them. While they're walking, the pig's ears perk up. She noticed something. Both of them go on high alert. There it is, their first target of the day. It's a level 8 slime. The only way to kill it is to wreck its heart. When it dies, it drops gel, which is a key ingredient for making medicine. No time to waste. They move in on the slime. The fight is officially on. The mushroom leads with a charge, slamming right into the slime's squishy body. Boom! The impact sends the slime flying across the grass, totally disoriented. One more solid hit should finish this thing off for good. Now, it's the little pig's turn to show what she can do. Let's go. She strikes with such insane force that the creature just boom, straight up detonates into a mess. Then, she sticks the landing like a total pro, turning back to her mushroom pal with pure main character energy. Our guy is just standing there, jaw on the floor. They're the same level, but her power, completely different league. And honestly, he's a little salty. Okay, maybe a lot salty about how easy she made that look. He finally found a weakling to bully for the mission, and she just swoops in and steals his thunder. But hey, the system doesn't care about hurt feelings. The kill counted, and the counter officially started ticking. Plus, he bagged 9 experience points for basically doing nothing. We love a free carry, right? Suddenly, the pig hacks up a stone, yeah, gross, and tosses it at him. He catches it, looking totally suspicious. Like, what even is this? He starts inspecting the damp, slobbery object in his hands with a disgusted face. Turns out, it's a team stone, packed with moon energy. It's the secret sauce for making things official. Once you're linked, you share everything: the missions, the experience, the glory. It's ride or die time now. These two are officially a squad. He looks at his partner, feeling, well, a bit complicated about the whole thing. The little pig looks kind of bummed out, though. Maybe she's feeling the awkward vibes from her teammate. He realizes he needs to fix this fast, so he promises to find her a legendary feast very soon. Boom! Instant mood swing. With those simple words, she's back in action and starts sprinting through the woods. She's sniffing around everywhere, eyes locked on the prize. But what exactly is she hunting this time? Our mushroom just hopes she hasn't realized that teaming up basically means he's now her personal chef. Whatever, he shakes it off. She might be a glutton, but she's proven to be the most reliable fighter he's got. So far, they've taken down 4 monsters. Sounds impressive, right? Well, they were all just tiny slimes. Anything tougher than a puddle of goo, they've had to run for their lives. This mission is no walk in the park. As they walk, he's like, "Hey, where are we even going? Are we lost, or do you actually have a plan?" Then she stops. Suddenly, a plant root whips out of nowhere, but the pig dodges it like she's in the Matrix. Contact avoided. Our mushroom hero goes into full combat mode. Who's hiding in the shadows? Then he sees them. A pair of creepy, glowing eyes staring out from inside a rotted, dry tree. It's a level 18 possessed stump. Fire-resistant, evil-infused, and definitely not in the mood for visitors. Now that it's busted, the tree goes full aggro, lashing out with way more speed than a stump should have. Thankfully, our duo is fast. They manage to dance around the monster's initial strike just in time. He looks at the massive crater that attack left in the dirt and gulps. Talk about raw, terrifying power. The level gap is real. This higher-level monster is hitting like a freight train, and he knows they're in trouble. Time to get serious. They lock eyes, nodding. It's time to see if this synergy thing actually works. They weave through its branches with quick maneuvers, closing the gap for a perfectly timed dual strike combo. They lunge forward with everything they've got, aimed right at that cursed piece of haunted firewood. Target confirmed. They slam into the monster, but there's zero defensive reaction from the stump. It just takes it. Instead of breaking, the stump just bounces them back. The impact sends them both flying through the air. Calculations? Totally wrong. He didn't expect the recoil to hit them 10 times harder than it hit the monster. He's hurting, and the pig doesn't look so good either. This is turning into a total disaster. He shakes off the cobwebs and looks over to the side. "Hey, you still with me, little partner?" It's bad. Her stun ability has a nasty side effect. If the enemy's defense is too high, the stun backfires. And yep, she's out cold. The pig basically stunned herself by hitting that high defense bark too hard. Meanwhile, the stump is just standing there, looking bored. It didn't take a single scratch from their best shot. Fighting something 8 levels higher is a nightmare. But this isn't just any ordinary mushroom. He's got brains. He's got an idea, a desperate one. But before he can act, the stump makes its move. It's going for the kill. It targets the little pig while she's still defenseless and seeing stars. Not today. He triggers a spore explosion, filling the air with a thick, blinding cloud of toxic dust. Under the cover of the smoke, he dives in, grabbing his stunned friend and hauling her to safety. As the mist finally starts to thin out, that wood-headed stump begins hunting for them. It's scanning the area, totally clueless about what just went down, but finds absolutely nothing. Since it's basically got the attention span of a rock, it just gives up and keeps moving. It stomps through the woods, completely ignoring our heroes, until it finds a cozy little clearing. And just like that, poof, back to pretending it's just a harmless, innocent wooden stump. Oscar-worthy performance. Our mushroom boy is just glad they're faster than that thing, but the relief doesn't last long. The little pig is finally awake, but bad news. Those spores? Yeah, she's catching the scent. It's like catnip for pigs. She goes absolutely wild and charges right out of their hiding spot. Poor Mushroom is in total despair, desperately trying to hold her back before they both get flattened. Talk about a terrible teammate. She's completely ignoring the fact that they're in a literal death zone. But instead of fighting, she's happily licking the mushroom's cap. Yeah, things are getting weird. Our hero is totally powerless here. He's just like, "Hey, please, whatever you do, just don't eat me." The pig kind of gets the message and suggests they find a weaker target since this stump is tough. But our mushroom isn't backing down. He's got that infallible plan energy going on. He knows that monster is still lurking nearby, probably trying to blend in with the scenery. Suddenly, tiny mushrooms start sprouting all over the stump's wooden body. It's go time. They grow at record speed, becoming fully functional little infection bombs in seconds. The stump starts looking pretty sick, losing health points 5 at a time. The poison is working. Now, the mushroom screams. He orders the pig to charge, and she's more than ready. They both lunge at the stump, which is now basically agonizing from the massive infection. They hit it with everything they've got. One final, massive strike to end this. No recoil damage this time. They land perfectly. Clean, smooth, total victory. Monster defeated. The mushroom nets 100 experience points, while the little pig grabs 70. Double level up. They've both hit level 11, and our boy is feeling himself now. His strategy actually worked. He's officially the stump slayer of this forest. As the pig starts walking away, the mushroom stops. He's got that pensive look again. "Wait a sec," he calls out. The pig looks back, wondering what the holdup is. He climbs onto the dead monster's body and presses his cap against the wood. He's going for it. He's going to absorb all that delicious, monstery power. The decomposition process kicks in. He's putting every ounce of effort into breaking down that body. It cost him 50 mana, but man, it was worth it. Goal achieved. Skill proficiency up. Plus another 200 experience points and 2 brand new skills in the bag. Only catch? Decomposition is on a long 24-hour cooldown now. Even with all that sweet experience, he's got to wait a full day to use it again. He checks the system. What exactly are these one-time use skills he just unlocked? Basically, they're high-power moves he can only pull off once before they're gone. If they have a duration, he's only got 10 minutes to make them count. First up, camouflage. He can basically turn into any object in the environment. Stealth 100. Next, bark skin for the pig. Turns her into wood, jacking up her defense to insane levels. Suddenly, the Demon King doesn't seem so scary anymore. He's feeling seriously confident. Night falls, and the moonlight is looking beautiful over their little shelter. Inside, the campfire is crackling, and the smell of hot soup is filling the air. Beside it, the little pig is snoring away. Peaceful. Finally, our mushroom is now level 15. His attack and health are looking way beefier now. The pig's not far behind at level 14. Steady progress, but the real journey is just beginning. Dealing with Golem's squad? Yeah, forget it, that's officially impossible. Our boy turns to the system, desperate for a better plan. He asks point blank, how long will it actually take to switch classes if he keeps up this insane grind? But the system drops a bombshell. Monsters don't do classes, they grow through something way cooler, evolution. Now this changes everything. He's completely in the dark about what evolving even looks like in this world. See, every monster has its own unique path, but things like the environment can trigger some wild mutations. Naturally, he's hooked. He needs to know exactly when he can finally ditch this basic form and level up. The first evolution mission hits at level 20, the second at level 40, you get the drill. He's only 5 levels away from the big 2 to 0, so it's officially time to pick a path. And he wants the absolute strongest mushroom form possible. No way is he ending up as some basic rock. The system offers to show him the options, but there's a major catch. It costs 200 gold coins. Our protagonist freezes. 200 gold just for a peek? This system is officially a straight-up scammer. It tries to act generous, though, offering to show him one single evolutionary path for free. Option 1, a rock. All he needs is 100 iron ores and some bronze. Thrilling, right? But for 1,000 diamonds, a pair of glasses, and 1,000,000 coins, he could become a diamond mushroom. Now that shiny mushroom actually caught his eye. Talk about a total legendary glow-up. The system then suggests he start farming materials early, but that tip costs another 200 gold. The greed is unreal. He's just standing there, wondering why he's dealing with a digital highwayman. I mean, seriously? Who expects a wild monster to be carrying around a fat stack of cash? The system just shrugs it off, saying where there's a will, there's a way. Real helpful, thanks for nothing. Then it gets creative and asks what he thinks about trading raw materials instead of gold. But our boy just stands up, totally unfazed, and tells the system to save its breath. He's already got a destination in mind. The system is dying to know what could a mushroom possibly want to be. His answer? Cold, confident. I'm going to become the Mushroom King. Day 2 of the hunt kicks off as the sun finally breaks. Time to put that ambition to work. He slides past a lethal slash with pure style. Even his little pig partner is locked in and focused as hell. Their target? A praying mantis, ready to turn them both into mincemeat with those razor-sharp blades. It's a medium difficulty mission worth 500 experience points. High risk, high reward, exactly how we like it. They are locked in a 3-way staring contest. One wrong move, game over. Instant death for the first to slip up. Our mushroom pops his stump ability, and suddenly his skin is hardening into solid, reinforced wood. Tank mode activated. He charges right in. But that mantis isn't just going to stand there and take it. A blur of motion, the mantis executes a perfect, surgical strike the second he gets into range. The monster lands behind him, crouching low in the grass. It's a classic samurai showdown moment. Our boy turns around with all the confidence in the world. He actually thinks he's invincible now. He literally tells the mantis that its little toothpicks can't even scratch him anymore. Big mistake. The mantis just calmly sheathes its blade like a total boss, and then our mushroom feels it. A huge chunk of his cap was sliced clean off. That single hit ripped away 75 health points. Panic mode, engaged. He's down to a sliver of life and starts seeing his mushroom life flash before his eyes. He frantically signals the little pig to come over for a quick, desperate emergency huddle. They whisper a plan, figuring out exactly how to survive the next 10 seconds of this nightmare. He pats her on the back, giving her the signal. It's her turn to shine, and he's praying she's got this. But the mantis isn't done yet. It's standing there, cold and vigilant, waiting for the perfect moment to finish him. With a subtle flick of his fingers, he beckons the little piglet closer. They start whispering, plotting their next move. They're hashing out the details of the next strike, pure tactical brilliance. Once they're done, a quick pat on the head for good luck. It's her time to shine now. Our mushroom friend looks on, totally confident that his partner won't let him down. Meanwhile, the praying mantis is still locked in combat, eyes darting everywhere. This thing is on high alert. The monster scans the area, eyes locked onto the target, the little pig standing right there. Feeling bold, she starts circling her prey and then, boom, she charges straight in. Now the beast is ready. It grips its blade, preparing to end this with one lethal strike. In a flash, it draws its weapon and unleashes a triple slash. Fast? You have no idea. The air itself screams under the pressure, but our little pig, she dodges the first swing like a pro. The second slash, missed again. She's dancing around this thing, completely untouchable. Closing the gap now. She's right in the monster's face, looking for that opening. She lands a solid hit, but the mantis is quick blocking the strike with the back of its blade. Just behind them, there's a wooden stump. Or is it? Someone's waiting in the shadows. It's our mushroom friend. He's been using camouflage this whole time. Sneaky, right? Talk about a lack of awareness. This monster is strong, sure, but its perception? Absolutely zero. And that's why the mushroom rock is about to finish this. No mercy. Feeling a bit too confident, he lets go of his branch. It drops to the ground clatter. Now, the little mushroom drops into a combat stance. Time for a deadly thrust. He lunges forward while the mantis is wide open. This is going to hurt. The monster senses the danger way too late. It tries to turn, but the window's closed. Crash! A brutal impact. Suddenly, that head doesn't have a body to call home anymore. Lethal? Yes. Dangerous? Definitely. But against these two, it never stood a chance. Loot time! The pig grabs 300 experience points, and the mushroom takes 340. Mission complete. And just like that, they both level up again. Talk about a power trip. His charge ability hits level 4. Our guy starts bragging about being a pro strategist. Typical. Since he thinks he's unstoppable, he asks the system for another medium difficulty quest. Destination? The Mushroom Kingdom. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, not exactly. The system drops a warning. It's a long haul, and if his stamina hits 0, he's toast. Exhaustion means becoming lunch for even the weakest monsters. Not a great way to go. Naturally, he asks how far this kingdom actually is. Can't be that bad, surely. The system's response? Oh, not far. Just 400 kilometers. Yeah, only 400. He just stares at the road. Deep in thought, is the system trolling him right now? No need to walk, the system chirps. I'll show you a shortcut for a mere 200 coins. Ignoring the system's greed, he tells the pig how glad he is to have her company. That little comment makes her beam with pride. She's really feeling herself now. Being ignored makes the system go silent. Salty much? Anyway, the journey continues. They push forward toward the Mushroom Kingdom as the day slowly fades away. After a ton of effort, they've managed to cover 20 kilometers. Still a long way to go. His genius plan? Dangling an apple in front of the pig. No, now, she's completely wiped. Walking is exhausting work. He's down to his last 33 stamina points. Not looking good. The system chimes in. 18 kilometers left before you collapse. Time is running out. They need a break, badly. Even with the pig's help, they barely made a dent. The pig is even worse off, down to just 12 stamina. She's running on fumes. He should have seen this coming. Medium difficulty doesn't mean a walk in the park. And here's the kicker. Once you accept a mission, there's no backing out. You're locked in. He needs a new strategy, a faster way. But there's one major problem. He's broke. He asks the system for a freebie, but the system isn't a charity. No coins, no tips, it says. Brutal. It won't help until it gets its payday. Knowing he's penniless, he just wants to find the genius who designed this pay-to-win system. To keep the system running, our boy needs cash, so the system drops a hint: explore those skills. Maybe there's a hidden trick or two waiting to be found. Seriously, that's actually some solid advice. So, our little mushroom friend starts brainstorming, but before he can even think, something moves. Fast. Boom. A massive impact hits the ground, sending dirt and debris flying everywhere into the air. Our hero and the little pig are shaking in their boots. They have zero clue what just happened. Suddenly, a staff pokes through the dust. Two figures emerge, and yep, they look like powerful mages. Humans. Definitely humans. He pulls up their stats, and oh boy, the news isn't exactly great. That hooded guy? Level 28. It's that same mage from before, only now he's way more jacked. Meanwhile, our mushroom's been grinding his heart out, and he's still stuck at level 16. Talk about unfair. The other mage is level 36 and sounds pretty smug. Finally, he says, found exactly what I needed. They start walking right toward our hero's spot. The hooded one is literally levitating, just showing off now. That's when the little pig decides she's seen enough. She jumps out from her hiding place, ready for war. She boldly steps right between the mage and the mushroom, stomping her tiny foot in pure defiance. She's furious, but they just keep coming. Our mushroom? He's frozen solid, absolutely paralyzed with fear. He's screaming internally for his partner to get back, terrified she's going to get herself killed right here. Without a second thought, the mage just kicks her. Hard. Like she was nothing more than a pebble. She goes flying. The poor thing hits the ground far away, completely devastated and unable to even stand. Our mushroom is speechless. Such casual, unprovoked cruelty, it's enough to make anyone's blood boil. But the mages don't even blink. They walk past him like he's trash. The hooded one just scoffs at the weaklings. He finds it weird that such low-level demons are even hanging out in a high-level zone like this. While our hero is still in shock, the bald mage turns his attention to the prize, the Stormhawk eggs. He risked his life to find these things. Apparently, they're the key to his next big class change. He picks one up, treating it like gold. He finally has it. And the mushroom, still just standing there, frozen. The pressure coming off these two is insane. Suddenly, oops, his body reacts on its own. Spore explosion. A thick mist fills the air and the mages start coughing their lungs out. The bald one is stunned. He didn't think a random mushroom could actually pull off a move like that. This wasn't in the manual. His buddy mentions seeing one do that before, but shouts, they need to move, this place is getting dangerous. Suddenly, the little pig finds her second wind. She's back on her feet and charging in with pure rage. She's not playing around anymore. She's aiming to take one of them down and leaps through the air furiously. She's inches away from slamming into the bald mage. It looks like a direct hit, but then wait. The tip of his staff glows mysteriously. In the blink of an eye, poof, he vanishes into thin air. The little pig is totally confused, but she's got too much momentum to stop. She's a pink blur of panic. Smack! She hits the giant stone head first, leaving her completely dazed as she tumbles backward. She lands right in the hawk's nest, falling on top of the remaining eggs without even realizing it. She's just lying there, seeing stars, while the world around her starts going absolutely sideways. That impact was no joke. The stone starts to crack, and those cracks are spreading fast, really fast. The mushroom is panicking. If she hadn't attacked, maybe they could have just snuck away quietly. Now, the mage is looking closer. Is that thing a variant? He asks. A mushroom with arms and legs? Before he can finish that thought, the tree's roots start moving, lifting one of the massive stones high up. The mages immediately tense up. This isn't good. The plant's defense mechanism is officially triggered. It releases all that built-up tension in the roots, sending the rocks spinning like deadly, high-speed projectiles. The humans see the danger and scramble back. Those stones are moving fast enough to crush anything. Our mushroom hero is doing his absolute best to stay out of the meat grinder. One hit and he's toast. He realizes that if he doesn't move now, he's going to end up as a mushroom pancake. Time to go. He triggers his charge skill, aiming straight for the top of the plant where the dizzy little pig is trapped. He skillfully managed to reach her side, but then he looks down and realizes he's in deep trouble. Total chaos. That root is spinning like a crazy turbine, swinging a massive stone along with it. It's like a deadly game of billiards. The stone slams into another plant, and yep, you guessed it. Now that one's reacting too. Great. Now we've got two boulder-swinging death traps spinning uncontrollably. The situation? Getting worse by the second. It's completely and utterly out of control. It's a literal chain reaction. Now half the forest plants are swinging their roots like wrecking balls. Stuck in the middle of this mess, our bald mage friend quickly bubbles up to survive the impact. His partner does the same, sweating bullets about the possibility of getting flattened by a stray boulder. Some poor, random little critter was just passing by when bam! Hit square by a flying rock. Yeah, that little guy definitely isn't making it home for dinner tonight. Rest in peace. Slowly, one of those spinning plants finally starts to wind down and untwist itself. The stones settle back where they belong, and those roots? They've caught a snack, the poor creature. Nature is brutal here. The roots immediately start draining the life right out of that body. Once the danger passes, everything looks normal again. But that little guy? He's already a dried-out husk. Seeing that our mushroom protagonist realizes he just dodged a serious, life-ending bullet. Meanwhile, the little pig is still stumbling around, completely lost. Right next to him, the bald mage. And let me tell you, Baldy is not happy about how things just went down. Sensing the vibe, the mushroom looks over. The hooded mage is already charging up his lightning. Even though he shielded himself, the bald mage took a hit. He's absolutely fuming right now. Same goes for the hooded guy, who's currently missing a few teeth. Talk about a bad day. Somebody's gonna pay the price for this. And the mushroom? He knows he's the target. The humans charge in, ready to cause some serious harm. But then a screech from the sky. A massive flying beast announces its arrival. And these guys realize they're in over their heads. Staying here is a death sentence. It's time to move, and they both know it. They paid 1,000 coins to mercenaries to distract this bird, but clearly, those guys were useless. The bird dives. It's fierce, it's fast, and those flaming feathers are already glowing bright. Boom! A massive explosion on impact sends everything, even the plants, flying back. Dust everywhere. The mages are completely buried in the chaos of the strike. They manage to pop an ice shield just in time, but that bird, it's still circling, hungry for blood. Hiding in the brush, the mushroom checks it out with his evaluation skill. His skill level is still pretty trash, but it's enough to see the truth. This thing is level 47. The hooded guy is tapped out on mana. He screams at Baldy to cover him while he chugs a potion. Problem is, Baldy is empty too. He won't be able to hold out much longer. Only one move left. Use their high-quality potion as a final, desperate prayer for defense. But before he can even blink, the bird executes a perfect, brutal strike. Just like that, the bald mage only has half of his friend left to help him. Brutal. This was definitely not the situation he expected. Now, he's pretty much on his own. Meanwhile, the bird just gulps down the other half of his buddy. A quick snack. The falcon finishes its appetizer and looks at the bald mage. It's wondering how he tastes. Thinking fast, Baldy opens a portal circle, grabs his largest potion, and chugs it instantly. He downs it like his life depends on it because it does. The falcon is already closing in. He's accepted that he might lose, but he's not going to make it easy for this bird. The bird's lethal claws are inches away. Desperate, he pulls out his ace, the hawk's egg. He shoves the egg right in the path of the attack. The bird freezes instantly. It knows its own baby is on the line. The proximity was so close, Baldy's clothes are literally smoking. He's blown back, entire body shaking just from the sheer pressure of an attack that didn't even land properly. Man's already spitting blood. This is not looking good. They say high-level monsters are smart. Turns out, they're geniuses. But our bald mage, he's a total coward. He threatens to smash the creature's egg if it even flinches. Talk about a low blow. The falcon is trapped, and the mage readies his staff. A massive lightning spell. A bolt of pure energy tears through the sky instantly. Since it can't fight back, the falcon takes the full hit. It's a brutal impact. The electricity is insane. Now the bird is paralyzed and can't move an inch. All this just for a second-class change? Seriously. Talk about being a tryhard. This ingredient is rare, but today he's using this fight to vent his own anger. Killing a high-tier monster and getting the loot? He's feeling himself way too much. The falcon struggles, but it's too weak. Then, this guy actually steps on its head. He starts ranting about revenge on everyone who called him trash. Classic villain ego. He's literally trampling the poor thing just to feel like a big man. It's pathetic. Look at you, he mocks. A high-level beast crushed under my boot. Someone stop him. Time to end the show. He pulls out a poison vial, deadly, concentrated stuff. He smashes the container, his eyes glowing with pure, unfiltered malice. This guy is sick. He summons ice lances, coating every single sharp tip in that nasty, lethal toxin. He's ready for the kill. Those ice stakes fly forward with terrifying speed. The falcon is still paralyzed. It's a sitting duck or, well, a sitting bird. Thwack. One hit, then another. The stakes pierce deep, and the falcon screams in agony. It's wounded and stuck. But the mage isn't done yet. He wants more suffering. If he keeps this up, the falcon is toast. The bird looks over, completely exhausted. Its last gaze is on that egg in the bald man's hand. Then, the staff glows. The man laughs. He promises that once the bird dies, the eggs are next. I told you he was a jerk. Paralyzed or not, the falcon lets out a roar. Lightning starts crackling again. But wait, look closely. Nearby, something is moving in the grass. The mushroom's camouflage just wore off. The bald guy is too busy dreaming of glory. Sudden impact. A charge attack hits him right in the neck. Out of nowhere. It's our little mushroom hero. He just slammed into the mage with everything he had. The staff's glow dies out. The spell is cancelled. And that egg? It's airborne. The falcon watches its baby fly through the air, completely helpless to catch it. But look at that. The tiny mushroom manages to catch the egg before it hits. Talk about a relief. The egg is safe, and the falcon knows the game has changed. Adrenaline kicks in. The bird manages to force one of its wings to move. Wham! A massive wing slap sends the defenseless mage flying like a ragdoll. He smashes into a rock, gasping for air. His health bar must be in the red. He's confused and terrified. He knows he has to bail right now to survive. He fumbles for a teleportation scroll, thinking he can just vanish. Yeah, right. The falcon is not letting him walk away after that. A magic circle appears. Suddenly, the man is engulfed in flames. He's literally being roasted alive right there. No skin left, just horrific screams. Even the mushroom is terrified of this power. The fire burns bright. And guess what? This battle just triggered a massive level up. The falcon's feathers turn majestic as its health fully restores. It looks absolutely incredible. Now at level 48, time for a scan. He triggers his evaluation skill to see what he's dealing with, but things get weird fast. Denied. The system usually just says his level is too low when things go south, but this time, it's different. Instead of a level warning, the system just spits back a straight-up error. That is never a good sign in a manhwa. The creature actually senses him. It turns its head, staring right toward our hidden mushroom friend. He's terrified. And then, the shadow just disappears, like completely vanishes from where it was standing a second ago. Pure despair hits. Suddenly, that creepy shadow is standing right in his face. Talk about a total nightmare. It's just staring at him, intently. He can't even move. He's completely paralyzed by the sheer pressure of its presence. Cold sweat starts pouring down. In a literal blink, the danger is right there, looming over him. What now? Out of the corner of his eye, he realized the piglet was completely oblivious, acting like she didn't even see the threat. Suddenly, the shadow's cloak shifted, morphing into a massive, pitch-black blade. Talk about a terrifying upgrade. Our little mushroom friend knew he was seconds from becoming compost. That blade was right in his face. Move? Dead. Stay still? Also dead. Talk about an impossible choice. He was totally paralyzed with fear. In a desperate, last-ditch effort, he let out the most stereotypical mushroom squeak you've ever heard. He kept squeaking, flailing his tiny little arms around like a maniac. And surprisingly, it actually worked. The shadow looked genuinely confused. Seizing the moment, the mushroom started rolling around on the ground like a total klutz. The piglet, who had been watching the fight, got totally distracted. She stared at her friend, wondering what he was doing. He was playing the I am just a normal mushroom card perfectly to avoid suspicion. And the piglet, she loved it. She let out a playful grunt and charged right over to join the game. Here we go. She bounded over with pure chaotic energy, blocking his path. Honestly, her joining in made his act look way more convincing. I mean, a mushroom rolling solo is weird, but two buddies playing? That is just nature being cute and way less suspicious. She heard him muttering under his breath. He was frantically pleading with her to push him toward the trees. Get me to the forest. Just stay away from the cliff. He looked at her, praying she actually understood him. She grunted back like, yeah, I got you. But then, she started shoving him in the exact opposite direction. Classic. She started pushing harder and faster, completely ignoring his plan. Our poor mushroom was officially in pure despair. He could not even scream. Meanwhile, the shadow was still just looming there, watching this weird little performance. The mushroom was basically vibrating with terror, cold sweat dripping down his cap. He was absolutely petrified. He kept up the squeaky act, and the piglet just started licking him. Cute, yes. Terrifying for him, absolutely. They kept up this bizarre interaction while the shadow just stood there, judging them from a distance. After staring at them for a beat, the shadow figured they were not worth the trouble and decided to move on. It just floated away, heading back toward the main battlefield. But wait, look at what it is holding. It held a strange, ancient-looking bell. As soon as it started ringing, the vibe completely shifted. Deep inside that massive crater the wolf left behind, something started stirring. Something very, very bad. Dark smoke began to swirl, and then, two glowing eyes cut through the gloom. Chills. Absolute chills. Even the sky started turning pitch black, like a storm was coming. Meanwhile, the wolf was still on a rampage. It was a total massacre. The generals were reaching their limits, they just could not keep up with this monster anymore. They were getting absolutely hammered. No counterattacks, no breathing room, just a relentless barrage of heavy hits. Battered and exhausted, the samurai realized the worst was yet to come. His nightmare was only just beginning. A fresh wave of strikes came flying at him. He gripped his swords, bracing himself for the impact. He took a leap of faith, diving straight into the chaos, but the sheer pressure was just overwhelming. It looked like the wolf was barely moving, just casually strolling forward, but that was a total lie. The samurai's gut was screaming at him to run. Even if it looked slow, the reality was much more terrifying. The wolf was throwing strikes so fast his eyes could not even track them. The speed and power? Simply off the charts. It was way beyond anything the samurai could handle. And the wolf? It just smirked at how pathetic they were. Seeing the slaughter, Bee tore a piece from her cloak and launched it like a projectile toward the beast. The trap was set to close in, but the wolf did not even flinch. It just took one long, deep breath. One single exhale was all it took. That blast of air completely shredded the attack like it was nothing. Suddenly, glowing mushrooms sprouted from the dirt. One of them actually pressed a button on its own head. Blinding flashes of light erupted, aimed straight at the wolf's face. But the wolf? It did not even blink. It kept walking, completely unfazed. That is when the realization hit. Did Bee not notice that the thing is literally blind? Flashbangs do not work on the blind. So far, every single one of their brilliant plans has been a total fail. The wolf went back on the offensive immediately. The samurai stepped in to block, but he was running on empty. He managed to catch the strike with his blades, but his strength was fading fast. He could not hold on. His defense crumbled. Another brutal hit landed, and he was sent flying, coughing up blood. This is looking... Spitting blood, he somehow manages to scramble back and land on his feet once again. They realize they're still in deep trouble. That massive barrage of attacks is heading straight for them. This time, they're empty. No mana, no strength, nothing. They just close their eyes and wait for the end. Boom! A massive sound shakes the entire area. They open their eyes, heart racing, thinking they're dead. But they weren't hit. Why? Because the king is standing right there, like an absolute legend. He threw himself into the line of fire to save his people. He's taking the hit for everyone. His body is covered in massive, brutal wounds. Even the wolf is shocked this guy is still breathing. The wolf's surprised, sure, but he's not stopping. He's going to make sure the king stays down this time. The generals behind him are like, we can still fight. But the king isn't moving an inch. He's protecting them, period. But the samurai says they've watched him grow. They can't just run away. They are his subordinates, his family. Leaving him behind? Yeah, that's not happening. The king doubles down. His order is final. You can feel the sheer conviction in his voice. The samurai is like, sorry, Majesty, but I'm ignoring that one. He calls out for Bo to help him charge. But then, bam, Bo shoots her own friend in the head. Talk about a crazy turn of events. He hits the dirt, completely knocked out. The samurai is officially out of the game. It looks brutal, but she had to do it. Then the wizard shows up, looking all mysterious. He says it finally happened. Bo's confused like, what are you even talking about right now? He asks if she's heard the legends of Gollum, the demon king. She thinks he's joking. Legends? No way this is related to some old fairy tale. But the wizard isn't laughing. It's no legend. Accept Golem's power, and you turn into a mindless demon, a literal pawn. The king made a deal with the devil. No other choice. He's doing the unthinkable to save them. The wolf's nose twitches. He catches a scent, something dark and very familiar. It's that same creepy energy from back when his younger brother took over as the pack leader. He didn't want to dig up those old memories, but if he's right, he needs to end this now. The wizard tells Bo to take care of the king's legacy. The future depends on her and the samurai. The future of the Mushroom Kingdom is in her hands now. She's staring at him, totally stunned. "What are you going to do?" she asks. The wizard has one final trick up his sleeve. One last act of protection. He's going to warp them far away from this nightmare. Suddenly, these pillars erupt from the ground, surrounding the two mushrooms. It's starting. It's a fungus tunnel system. They're heading deep underground, away from the carnage. The wizard served 3 generations of kings. He's not leaving his master now. Not at the end. He's already beaten up and bleeding from the previous attacks, but he doesn't care. Across from them, the wolf is done playing. He's prepping a devastating attack, a real finisher, something he's never even used in a real fight. But even injured, the king stands his ground. The wolf strikes with the force of a true king. His hand moves to crush the mushroom. A massive shockwave ripples across the entire plane. The power here is just unreal. The wizard is panicking now, worrying about the king. It's been ages since the wolf went this hard. But then, the wolf smells something weird. Something that shouldn't be possible. That strange dark magic? It's not fading, it's getting stronger. Way stronger. The king's body is warping. He doesn't even look like a mushroom anymore. It's horrifying. Eyes are popping out all over his head. Mouth full of sharp teeth. Tentacles everywhere. This is it, the true form of the fallen Mushroom King. Complete demonization. He's gone. The transformation is finished. He sends a tentacle straight toward the wizard. For the wizard, this is the ultimate honor to become part of his king's power. The tentacles wrap around him completely. They're starting to absorb him, and he's ready. The old wizard was history. All that remained of him was his dusty old staff, just lying there on top of the king's head. But wait, the king's skull starts splitting open, revealing something absolutely nasty inside. This creature starts crawling toward the wolf, leaving a literal trail of rot and corruption with every single step. Our wolf boy starts growling, eyes locked in. Then bam, he delivers a massive kick straight to the creature's head. He's felt this before, but honestly, this monster is slow, painfully slow. He thinks he can just rip it to shreds. Strike! He claws right into the face of that disgusting, corrupted mushroom. He's not holding back this time. The wolf just keeps on swinging, fierce, relentless. In a fight like this, his speed is basically a cheat code. Moving like a blur, he's so fast, he's convinced this is already over. Victory. It's right there. He brings his hands together like a spear classic finisher. Then, he lunges straight for the mushroom's heart. Closer. Closer. He's about to end this thing once and for all, or so he thought. Unexpectedly, the mushroom turns. It opens this massive, horrifying mouth right in the wolf's face. It takes a deep breath, inhaling everything. Then, boom. A massive cloud of corrupted spores erupts everywhere. Wolf sees that nasty mist and realizes he's got to bail. Mission. Abort. He's got to get out of there fast. He slams his paws down, catching enough momentum to leap clear away from that toxic spore cloud. Luckily, his fur is magic resistant. As long as he keeps his nose and eyes shut, these spores shouldn't be a problem. But then he feels it. Something is very, very wrong. A cold, creeping sensation starts spreading through his body. Disgusting mushrooms start sprouting right across one of his paws. They're literally eating him alive. It was that old wound, the one the samurai left him. It gave the infection a wide-open door. Quick thinker, he bites his own paw off, just rips it clean away to stop the rot. Talk about hardcore. He watches his severed paw on the ground, still covered in those tiny growing mushrooms. But then, the shock hits. It didn't stop. The infection was still crawling up his leg. In a total panic, he rips off the rest of his arm, but it's useless. The corruption just keeps spreading, faster and faster, taking over his entire body. Desperate and dying, he calls out for his master. She's already sprinting toward him, heart in her throat. Seeing him like this, it breaks her. She's in total despair as they both scramble toward one another. But the mushrooms are winning. The wolf is losing strength fast, practically begging her to save him. She pulls out her bag. "Get in, fast," she screams, hoping her magic can somehow hold back the rot. He vanishes inside, retreating to the only safe place left. Inside that bag, she can finally use her mana to heal him. She promises him they will find the guild leader. They will find a cure. They have to. But looking at her bag, something feels off. Even inside, the wolf isn't calming down. He's thrashing hard. He's going wild in there, and she has no idea why. Then her mana starts draining fast, like scary fast. It's out of control. And then K-boom. The bag explodes, sending corrupted mushrooms flying in every direction. It is over. The wolf's body is completely gone, consumed by the infection. He's more monster than beast now. His master tries to reach him, tears streaming down her face, but she's completely spent. No strength left. Everything goes black. She collapses right there on the cold ground. She can no longer fight. The priestess acts fast. She traps her in a magical bubble, making sure she's safely pulled away from the front lines. The priestess is working overtime now, desperately trying to get everyone out of this nightmare alive. The Mushroom King notices the movement. It's not letting them go that easily. It lashes out with its tentacles. Those vines are screaming toward the survivors. The priestess does everything she can to hold the line. The bubble with the beast tamer is inches away from being snatched by the king. It looks like game over. But right before it hits whoosh, the monster suddenly bursts into flames. Talk about perfect timing. That fire saved the priestess at the literal last second. Finally, and I mean finally, the last one joins the fight. This guy waited until his entire team was basically on their deathbeds before deciding to show up. Real hero move, right? Apparently, he thought it'd be nice to finally help out. The fire mage takes center stage, looking way too cool. He orders everyone to the airship. I will handle the rest, he says. Talk about main character energy. He's confident, maybe too confident, but the priestess, she is just glad the cavalry finally arrived. She wants to stay, but the mage isn't having it. He insists she get everyone to safety right now, no arguments. She obeys, taking flight into the clouds. Meanwhile, our guy drops down, heading straight for that overgrown fungus. The beast stares him down and has never seen a human like this. But the mage, he is clearly not impressed. Seriously, zero chill. So, the corrupted mushroom goes for its signature move again, deep breath. Here it comes. It sucks in every bit of air it can, going all out this time. It is prepping a massive wave of toxic spores. A cloud of death flies at him. But wait, a shimmering fire barrier is already protecting him from every angle. It is not just a shield, it is a furnace. The second those spores make contact with the barrier, they do not just stop. Poof! Incinerated instantly. Not a single spore even gets close to his designer robes. Absolute defense, people. The mushroom is shook. Talk about a failed attack. So, it decides to play dirty with its own minions. It spots a diamond mushroom, a former servant, and shoots out tentacles like a crazed monster to grab it. You would think it is trying to absorb it, right? Wrong. The poor diamond mushroom has zero clue what is coming. Before it can even react, the king starts yanking it back with terrifying, raw strength. It literally rips the diamond mushroom right out of the ground. It is airborne now, flying straight at the boss. But get this, he is not eating it. He is using his own soldier as a massive, heavy-duty projectile. Yeet! He hurls the giant mushroom straight at the mage. A tiny mushroom nearby sees this and just loses it. It cannot believe the sheer power of this corrupted freak tossing a literal giant like it was a pebble. Insane. But the little guy accidentally talks out loud, big mistake. That creepy shadow nearby? Yeah, it heard that. The shadow turns its gaze, and the little mushroom is sweating bullets now. You do not want this thing's attention. It goes into full nothing-to-see-here mode, pretending to be a regular, boring mushroom again. Stealth level 1. Luckily, the shadow loses interest. Anyway, back to the chaos. That diamond mushroom is still barreling toward our mage. It is closing in fast, but the mage just sighs and opens his hand. Small sparks start dancing between his fingers. Summoning time! Out pops a fire spirit, yawning like it just woke up from a century-long nap. Why did you wake me up? It asks, looking completely dazed and confused. Man, talk about bad timing for a— No hello, no please, the mage just hurls the spirit straight at the incoming giant. Instant panic mode. The spirit starts screaming bloody murder. Seriously. This stupid human always does this to me, it yells. No warning, no plan, just go fight that giant thing. Suddenly, intense, powerful flames erupt everywhere. The diamond mushroom is toast. It is completely swallowed by the spirit's searing, magical fire. Our mage gives the final word, burn. And boy, does it ever. The heat goes from 0 to 1,000 real quick. The giant mushroom is being eaten alive by the blaze. It is a total wipeout. And hey, look at that. Our guy just scored 2 diamond mushroom eyes as loot. Score. Those are top-tier materials for crafting epic gear. But the fire spirit, she is not happy. You are an idiot, the spirit snaps, and actually starts kicking the mage right in his face. The audacity. He just sighs and unsummons her. Great fighter, but man, she is a handful. Then something moves behind him. A gross pile of corrupted mushrooms surges up. And right there, the Mushroom King is grinning like a psychopath. Creepy, right? He used his own minions as a ladder to climb all the way up to the mage's height. He is in range. He lunges through the air, but then his stomach literally splits open. Surprise, a massive second mouth reveals itself right in his gut. It is huge, nasty, and very hungry. It is aiming to swallow our hero in one single bite. And snap, the mouth shuts tight. He actually did it. He swallowed the mage whole. The Mushroom King slams back down to the earth. From the shadows, that mysterious figure just watches. It is quiet, way too quiet. The monster stands up, looking smug as hell. It starts strutting across the battlefield like it owns the place. Everything is covered in smoke. The king thinks he has won. He thinks the fight is over. Big mistake. Suddenly, his stomach starts bulging. Uh-oh. Looks like the mage is not finished yet, not by a long shot. He is definitely still alive. The king looks down, panicking, as his own body starts swelling like a balloon. His whole body is shaking now. He cannot even move. Something is about to go boom inside there. It tries to fight back, but no chance. The swelling, totally out of control, already way beyond its normal size. The pressure is just too much to handle. And then boom, it finally hits the limit and completely detonates. Chunks of mushroom everywhere. Gross. But right in the middle of that mess stands the mage, fresh off his phoenix rebirth. Talk about an overpowered move. Right beside him lies the ultimate prize, the Mushroom King's crown itself. Fight's over. He scoops it up like it's nothing. This whole chaotic mess, all for those diamond mushroom eyes and that crown. Even after that explosion, some leftover tentacles are still twitching. Talk about a stubborn monster, right? This level 60 beast was no joke. It actually forced him to burn his absolute biggest trump card. He's just glad there weren't any witnesses. Loot in hand, he takes off, heading straight for the clouds. He puts some serious distance between himself and the mushroom bits. Looking down, he's got one more gift to leave. Time to scrub the crime scene. Suddenly, the sky starts twisting like a massive storm is about to break loose. Then fire. Huge flaming stones start raining down. It's like a meteor shower from hell, honestly. Our little mushroom friend is watching all this, and yeah, he is officially freaking out right now. The ground is just getting erased. Everything's burning. That mysterious evil shadow, it just stands there, watching the fire. It actually sighs in disappointment. Guess the outcome wasn't what it wanted. Talk about being a tough critic. And just like that, it vanishes. Our mushroom's just praying that creepy thing is gone for good. He pokes the piglet hard. Hey, wake up. We gotta move before we're both extra crispy. She finally blinks her eyes open, totally clueless. She slept through the entire epic showdown. Can you believe it? She's got zero idea what's going on. But then they look up. Oh boy, here come the meteors. Those tiny feet are moving as fast as they can, but when those fireballs hit, pure destruction everywhere. Massive explosions everywhere. One shockwave just sends them flying through the air like ragdolls. It's total chaos. There's no logical way to escape this kind of firestorm. It's a literal death zone. No matter where he looks, the sky is just raining death. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. But wait, the piglet's not giving up. She bites his hat, eyes full of determination to save her friend. She's gonna save her buddy. She starts digging like a maniac, dirt flying everywhere as she tunnels down. Boom! They're safe underground just in time. Outside, it's basically the end of the world. Fire is literally eating the world. It's relentless. That corrupted mushroom never stood a single chance against that mage. No hope at all. The entire Mushroom Kingdom is being turned into a massive, glowing sea of fire. Everything is getting cooked. There's absolutely zero chance of anything surviving this heat. It's all turning to ash. Total annihilation. The fire just keeps spreading, hungrier than a piglet at a buffet. Even the giant mushrooms are catching fire now, crumbling into dust. Nothing is left standing. It's all gone. Or is it? Suddenly, two weird earth balls start rolling down the slope. They tumble all the way down. When they finally smack into the ground, crack, they start to split. Out pop our favorite mushroom and the piglet. They are basically steam-cooked at this point. Poor things. They're stumbling around, totally dizzy. But hey, the system pings. Apparently, they've officially reached the Mushroom Kingdom. Talk about a rough arrival. But hey ding, level up, their health is totally restored. Now that his head is clear, our boy takes a look around. And wow, it's bad. Like, really bad. This place used to be so vibrant and alive. Now, it's just a silent, charred wasteland. One spell. That's all it took for that mage to wipe an entire kingdom off the map. Terrifying power. But of course, the piglet's stomach just growls. Priorities, right? Humans are just on another level of scary. It's not that the monsters were weak, it's just that humans are absolute monsters themselves. The piglet nudges him for food, but he's deep in thought. It really hits him right now. Even if he became the king, would it even matter? One powerful human could just end it all. Then, the system pings again. New mission. Find an evolutionary path in this burnt-out kingdom. Looking at this graveyard, he's honestly over it. Missions? Now? Are you serious? He's ready to quit, but the system doesn't care. It reminds him that finishing this is his only way up. Missions are the absolute fastest way to get jacked. Seeing that system notification, our boy hops right up ready for action. He stares at the screen, deep in thought. Evolving? Nah, he's over that. He's found a new, ironclad determination. The system pings him. What do you actually desire? Our tiny mushroom hero clenches his little fists. Oh, he's got an answer. He's making a choice. He wants to be a brave mushroom, one who stands far away from all this senseless destruction. Suddenly, boom, something drops from the sky near a massive tree. It's the transport mushroom carrying the samurai and the gunslinger. The hatch hisses open. Inside, our two warriors are looking absolutely trashed. The fight took everything they had left. The samurai struggles to his feet, coughing his lungs out. He'd sworn his life to serve the king until his final breath. But the king is gone. There's no throne left to defend. He's ready to storm back home, but Bo, she shuts him down with a slap. Cage is a total wreck, lost in his own head. They're only alive because of the king's sacrifice, but the weight of it is crushing. Without a leader, he's got zero purpose. He slams his fist into the dirt, pure, raw frustration. Then, a heavy silence falls. They're running on empty. Bo slumps against a tree and gives it to him straight. If you want to die, fine. But finish. She puffs a cloud of smoke from her cigar and reaches into her pocket. Out comes a mysterious object glowing with golden energy. This is it, the king's legacy. Whoever the legacy chooses gets the right to wear the crown. That is their new North Star. Cage sees the glow and finally finds the strength to stand. Bo is right. This mission? It's only just beginning. They look out at the horizon, praying the future brings something better than today. Meanwhile, our mushroom friend has a massive headache. The system is glitching out big time. Why? Because monsters aren't supposed to change classes. It's a total logic error. He's cruising through the woods on his piglet while the error message keeps spamming his vision. Finally, he's had enough. Enough. Just show me the map. He needs to know how close they are to Beginner's Village. The system pulls up their GPS. They've been trekking for a full day. If the map is right, they've got one more day of travel ahead. But yep, the error pops up again. He tells the system to chill out. He's just visiting the village, not hacking the class system. The screen finally blinks out. The piglet is starving and slowing down, but our hero isn't stopping. Hungry? I've got plenty of stamina potions. Drink up and move. He orders her to floor it. They're closing in on the source volcano. It's a literal hellscape, lava and explosions everywhere. Molten rocks are raining down like meteors, hitting the ground with earth-shattering force. The local wildlife is noping out of there fast. The impact cracks the outer shells of these fallen stones, revealing a weird, liquid core. Then, the ground starts to tremble. These aren't just rocks, they're monsters. One opens a massive jaw and gulps down a lava boulder like a light snack. Meet the Lavanda level 52. These beasts eat fire for breakfast to grow. They're basically walking treasure chests. The lava snakes look up as more rocks erupt from the peaks. But high above the smoke, a massive guild airship. The system pings, showing them the village on the map. They've been trekking for an entire day, already talk about a long walk. According to the map, there's still one more day of travel away from the destination. Just 24 more hours of this. Suddenly, that annoying error message pops up again. He's had enough. He tells the system he's just going to the village to check things out. He's not changing classes, period. He basically tells the system to quit spamming him with that same old notification. And just like that, poof. The screen vanishes. Even the system knows when to take a hint and back off. The little piglet keeps trudging along, stomach growling like crazy. But she's determined to keep tracking, hunger or no hunger. Forget the class change if the piglet is hungry. Our guy has a literal mountain of stamina potions ready to go. He tells her to kick it into high gear. They're almost there, approaching the legendary source volcano at full speed. It's a literal hellscape. Lava is flowing everywhere, and massive explosions are rocking the ground every few seconds. Tons of volcanic debris are flying into the air, raining down like deadly fireballs. Absolute chaos for anything caught in the splat. The local creatures are already making a run for it. Smart move. Those rocks are hitting the ground with earth-shattering force. Upon impact, the outer shells of the rocks start to crack open. These things aren't just stones, they look almost liquid on the inside. Wait, they're starting to move. These aren't just rocks, they're actually monsters with bodies made of pure, living lava. One of them opens its massive jaws and chomps down on a lava boulder. Seriously, it's eating rocks like they're midday snacks. It swallows the whole thing in one go, absorbing the material to grow. These things are literally built different. Meet the level 52 Lavanda. They feed on molten rock to bulk up, which makes them the ultimate source for fire-resistant loot. These lava snakes look up at the sky as the volcano spits out even more debris, but they aren't the only ones watching. High above the smoke and fire, the guild's massive airship is hovering. The plot? It just got a lot more complicated. The crew is finally approaching the guild's main headquarters, tucked right in the center of Datter. A literal hellscape. Those glowing fire rocks don't even touch the buildings, though. There's a massive energy shield protecting the entire base, keeping anything hostile out. But our airship? It passes through, without a hitch. As they cross the barrier, a loud signal echoes across the court. Base, the ship is home. Medics rush to collect the wounded, while our fire mage, Gillum, heads straight for the main hall. He's got a report to make. He walks into the massive hall, looking ready to face the boss. Suddenly, footsteps ring out. A kid comes running up, super excited that his big brother Gillum is back. He's dying to know, did the mage actually get the goods? This is Balin, a level 119 poison master. Gillum gives a formal salute and presents the prize, the Mushroom King's crown. The kid snatches it up, absolutely beaming. He's so happy, like he's finally won the lottery. The crown is finally his, and he's losing it. Gillum isn't here for the celebration, though he wants the payment he was promised. But Balin is way too distracted. He literally just tosses the crown on the floor and starts digging through his pockets. Hold on, it's in here somewhere, he says. Finally, he finds it, the medicine he brewed for the priestess, a tiny blue vial. But the kid is a total klutz and lets it slip. He fumbles around, trying to grab it before it hits the tiles, but the vial just goes flying. Luckily, Gillem's got fast reflexes. He snatches it out of the air, crisis averted. Balin mentions that all the bodies were sent to his lab, just like they planned. The kid says thanks, and Gillem heads out, stashing the medicine in his inventory. Left alone, Balin goes right back to staring at his new crown. What a great day, he thinks. But as Gillem leaves, he asks about the Mushroom King turning into a demon. Was that part of the leader's plan too? Balin stops playing. A really creepy, sinister smile spreads across his face. Gillem waits for an answer so he can get out of there. It's like the kid was waiting for him to ask, but then he plays dumb. I have no idea what you're talking about, he says. Not the answer Gillem wanted. He just keeps walking. If you need me for another job, just call. Outside, he meets the priestess and tells her he's got the cure. Time to go. They start to walk away, but she stops. She's feeling guilty. So many people died on this mission because of her, but Gillem reminds her they only went there on his call. They'll leave the guild as soon as the poison is gone. As for the hard stuff, he's got it covered. Meanwhile, the guild leader is on the move with his crown. He walks down a dark path, lit by flickering candles. At the end of the hall, he heads down these massive stairs. He's actually humming a little tune, totally chill, until he reaches a hidden chamber. The place is literally filled with lava. This is the altar of the golem's heart. Standing before it, he holds up the Mushroom King's crown. The boy looks weirdly satisfied. Then, he just tosses the crown into the altar as a sacrifice. The crown hits the lava and the boy just watches. It's being totally consumed. The intense heat melts the legendary item until nothing but bubbles remain. And then, the lava starts rising up the walls of the altar. Something is happening. Our boy is watching with pure joy as molten lava slowly fills a stone carving. It is glowing, intense, and looks absolutely terrifying. Finally, another piece of the puzzle clicks into place. He has already checked the big, rare items off his list. He has obtained the Cat Queen's eyes and the Mushroom King's crown. Talk about a weirdly specific and legendary collection, right? Suddenly, a creepy, mysterious shadow looms directly behind him. Only one final, rare ingredient remains to finish this recipe for disaster: the heart of true love. Once he gets his hands on that, the golem's massive, world-shaking power belongs to him. Game over. Boom! A massive tremor rips through the place, shaking everything to the core. This is not just a vibration, it is a full-blown earthquake. The entire guild hall is literally vibrating from the shock. It is so violent that even the rivers of lava are starting to churn. Fast forward 2 days later, and our little mushroom friend is still trekking along. But man, he looks incredibly deep in thought. He is overthinking everything they encounter on the road. Good thing they are running into various monsters to keep things interesting. Luckily for him, the piglet is surprisingly fast. Not to mention, she is doing most of the heavy lifting during their travels. Ever since that system error, the interface has basically ghosted him. The mission screen, frozen solid on the current objective. He is not totally locked out though. He can still mess with some buttons, checking out his skill panel and his inventory. He really wanted to use his decomposition skill to scavenge some loot, but that mage basically nuked the entire area. Everything was scorched to a crisp. The only thing that did not turn into a pile of ash was the Werewolf King's skin. Just thinking about all the epic loot he lost fills him with pure rage. Talk about a massive wasted opportunity. He had to kill time there for a few days just to absorb the mage's staffs and that stubborn wolf skin. The staffs were basically trash, totally damaged, and only giving him a measly 100 experience points. Seriously, that is it? And that wolf skin? He could not do a single thing with it. Turns out the thing is naturally resistant to magic. He will just have to try again once his skill level actually goes up. Right now, it is just a waste of space. He is fuming about the wasted time when he notices something. The little piglet? She is trembling like a leaf. He finally asks his friend if something is wrong, but then thud. She collapses, looking totally disoriented and dizzy. He has no clue what happened, so he pulls out the big guns, the evaluation skill. Time for a quick monster health check, but nothing. The status screen is not giving him any specific details to help him understand what is actually happening. Usually, evaluation lets him spy on every monster's secret abilities. But here, everything seems perfectly. He is completely stumped as to why she just fainted. He tries his best to wake her up using everything he has. He offers her stamina and health potions, but she doesn't budge. Then, he pulls out a simple apple, and wait for it. Her stomach growls so loud it echoes. That apple causes an unexpected reaction that he definitely did not see coming. She bolts toward that fruit like a hungry beast. Turns out she was not dying, she was just extremely hangry. The piglet seems overly excited now. He asks if she is feeling better and tells her to hold on just a bit longer. He pulls up the system map to check their progress. According to the indicator, they have already cleared the halfway mark. They are actually getting really close to the village. The goal is finally within reach, and he can practically taste it. There are snails crawling around everywhere, which usually means they might be even closer to civilization than they think. Now that they are nearby, he wonders if a specific item will work. It is a teleport scroll, a total luxury item. He gives the order to activate it, hoping it will zip them straight into the heart of the village. The scroll vanishes into thin air and consumes 20 mana points. Here we go, or maybe not. A glowing magic circle forms beneath them and energy begins to hum. But suddenly, it turns into sparks and glitches out. The circle just starts to flicker and slowly disappear. Then, the system hits him with a notification that is basically a middle finger. Error. Monsters cannot use this item. Last time it said they were too far away, and now it is pulling the monster card. The system is not even trying to be helpful anymore. Without responding, he just goes back to his open mission log. He does not actually want to do this specific mission though. He is determined to become a brave hero eventually. Even if they cannot use the cheat code scroll, he does not really care. He is in no hurry to get there. He can only imagine that the village is the perfect place to gain easy experience by taking down all the newbies. He pats the piglet to keep her moving, but she does not respond to him. She just remains perfectly still. Seeing this, he panics. "Are you okay? Do you want another health potion?" he asks, worried she is crashing again. He begs her to just tough it out for a little longer. He knows they will be reaching their destination very soon. Our boy wants to solve her problem, but get this, they're being watched. Total stealth fail. It's the rest of her old herd. And their leader? He's staring at that piglet with some serious, intense energy. After trekking for a bit, they stumble upon the newbie spawn point, the portal where all the fresh players pop out. Our mushroom hero dives into the bushes to hide, leaving the unconscious piglet right there in the open. He pops his evaluation skill on the portal. Turns out, it's a gateway to the village built by the 6 original Braves. You know, the legends who sealed the golem. This thing acts like a safety net, teleporting people whenever they're in critical danger. Mystery solved. That's why those players didn't actually kick the bucket when he thrashed them earlier. Now comes the fun part. All he has to do is sit back and wait for the fresh meat to arrive. Right on cue, the portal starts glowing. And look, a hand is already reaching out from the light. A bunch of kids roll out, all hyped up to level up by beating on some helpless snails. One little brat is already clutching a stone, ready for a one-shot kill. She hits a snail so hard, its eyes literally pop out. Another kid is bragging about how his dad hired pro bodyguards, so he's not scared of anything. He's swinging a spear around like a tough guy, while a level 12 boy with swords promises to keep everyone safe. Meanwhile, another kid, a fire manipulator, claims even a giant snail wouldn't stand a chance against them. Talk about overconfidence. But then, emerging from the shadows like a boss, our mushroom makes his grand entrance. He slides right toward those snotty-nosed brats. They don't even see him coming until he's right on top of them. Boom! Spore explosion. He drops the smoke screen and the kids immediately start hacking and coughing in the mist. Perfect distraction. While they're blinded, he goes into full attack mode, charging in and absolutely pummeling them. It's an absolute beatdown. And the best part? The sweet experience points start rolling in. With our mushroom warlord on patrol, those snails can finally breathe easy. Nobody is touching them today. He flies straight at the rich kid and his bodyguards. Spoiler alert, they get wrecked instantly. He scoops up the experience points, but honestly, it's not enough. He needs more if he's going to keep growing. Ask and you shall receive. More kids start pouring out of the portal. Individually, they're weak, but there are tons of them. It's an all-you-can-eat experience buffet. One girl is even rushing, worried the snails might escape before she gets... As soon as the new wave lands, they start looking around. Wait, where did the other guys go? Too late. The mushroom is already on them. It's a total wipeout for the second wave of newbies. That's another 630 experience points in the bag. Then comes the third wave. Boom! Another 540 points. The survivors realize there's a killer mushroom on the loose and start panicking. They scramble toward a high platform, thinking they'll be safe if they just get some high ground. Man, these kids are clueless. Our boy just watches them from the ground, totally unimpressed by their strategy. They're up there feeling all smug, thinking a mushroom definitely can't climb up after them. Big mistake. He's got the leg power to just leap right up there. Surprise! The kids are absolutely terrified. By the time the fourth wave is cleared, he's raked in another 720 points. Finally, night falls. Our hero sets up a cozy campfire in the middle of the forest to relax. He offers his pig friend some dinner, a nice, glowing health potion. But she just looks at the vial and turns it down. Weird, right? He's genuinely confused. What? You're not hungry? It's the good stuff. He checks her status window, but everything looks green. No debuffs, no weird conditions, nothing. He figures she must just be wiped out after carrying him around for the past few days. Her stamina is probably in the gutter. He decides he'll just handle the heavy lifting and farm experience for both of them. He can't sleep, so he starts scrolling through the system menus, checking his progress. He's already hit level 18 after a single day of farming newbies. At this rate, level 20 is just around the corner. His own stamina is getting low, but he's too exhausted to care. He'll just chug some potions tomorrow. He leans against his friend to catch some shut-eye. "Good night," he whispers, but she's way too tired to even respond. She just gives him a sleepy look. Her vision is getting all blurry from sheer exhaustion. And then, she starts hallucinating. Instead of a mushroom friend, she starts seeing a big, juicy plate of grilled meat. Our little piglet friend is staring at the mushroom and thinking, wow, He looks like a delicious snack. She literally starts moving in for a bite before her common sense finally kicks in. She shakes her head like crazy. No way. She can't actually eat her best friend, right? Even with her mouth watering, she tries to sleep. They're cozy by the fire, but her stomach just won't stop screaming for food. Meanwhile, some shady pigs are watching from the shadows. The pig leader is absolutely fuming at the scene. He's got his eyes locked on our duo. The mushroom and piglet are marked. Morning finally comes, but the new players are nowhere to be seen. Wait, speak of the devil. Here they come, a bunch of terrified kids emerging from the portal. They're shaking in their boots because of the scary mushroom rumors they heard yesterday. Nobody wants to get hurt, but then this one kid steps out acting like a total tough guy. He calls them all cowards. Apparently, they're here on a protection mission, but something feels off. Finding a mushroom now is super weird since the monster waves are supposedly over and done with. Word on the street is a guild wiped out the entire mushroom kingdom, king and all. So this little guy must be a stray. One kid starts bragging about the axe wielder's past. Turns out, Axe Boy actually fought the Mushroom King. He stayed behind so his team could bail safely. He claims the king was a total weakling, probably why the guild crushed him so easily. Our mushroom hero is watching them though. He pulls out his evaluation skill. Let's see, 2 level 17s and 1 level 23. It's risky, but he has to make a move. If they use the right strategy, he and the piglet can actually take these 3 down. The plan? Take them out one by one. He tells her, wait for my signal. The piglet is totally spacing out though. So he just drops his spore cloud, boom. He sprays spores everywhere, completely blinding the kids before starting the real assault. One kid panics, asking what they should do. Too late. The mushroom strikes without mercy. He's a total menace in the mist. One by one, the newbies are going down hard. Someone yells to stick together. Turns out, this mushroom isn't a weakling at all. The bald guy suggests saving the kids, but the leader? He honestly couldn't care less. The kids are just bait. The bounty on the mushroom's head is worth way more than protecting them. Screw the mission. But then, he realizes something, the mushroom is coming straight for him. Baldy tries to block with his shield. Big mistake. It's completely useless against this kind of power. Shield? Shattered. The impact is brutal, sending that guy flying through the air like a ragdoll. One down. Longhair is losing his mind. He definitely didn't expect this much strength. He's stunned. Meanwhile, hidden in the fog, the piglet is getting ready to pounce. She really wants to help her mushroom buddy, but her body has other ideas right now. Her stomach is growling so hard she can barely move. Then, the axe guy makes his move. He spins his axe like a propeller, creating a massive gust that clears the entire mist. The fog clears, and there she is, our poor piglet, just lying there on the grass. He's actually happy about it. He sees her meat as a high-tier, expensive ingredient for a feast. Longhair charges in to finish her off. He's determined to bag this monster pig for himself. His spear tip is inches away from her. It looks like it's game over for our little friend. But our mushroom hero isn't having it. He slams into Longhair with everything he's got. Get away from her. The hit is massive, launching the guy across the field. Crashing onto the dirt, he finally admits it. This mushroom is an absolute beast. He chugs a health potion to get back up. The leader tells the weaklings to scram. You're in the way. Get out. But Longhair refuses to quit. He wants to be useful. The mushroom doesn't care about their drama. He just tells the piglet, get up, it's go time. He tries to get a word out, but she's silent, leaving him wondering what's going on. Her eyes are locked on that mushroom's soft backside like it's magnetic or something. Suddenly, her vision blurs, confusing reality with a world where everything looks delicious. Now she's seeing a perfectly grilled mushroom, and our little piglet is officially entranced. Meanwhile, the human's ego is bruised. He thinks his buddy doesn't trust his skills, but he's got an ace up his sleeve. The long-haired guy asks, what's that? His secret weapon? A berserker potion. He starts chugging it like there's no tomorrow. Destruction mode. On. His levels start climbing faster than a stock market crash. Our little mushroom watches the whole thing, sweating. This is not looking good. Things just got 10 times harder. Even if it only lasts 10 minutes, they're cooked. The human hits level 38. Talk about an unexpected power-up. Mushroom is panicking now. Time for a strategic retreat, otherwise known as running for his life. Follow me. But the human isn't letting them go. One swing of his axe cracks the earth. The ground literally shatters. The impact sends our mushroom friend tumbling into the dirt. Giant earth walls erupt from the ground. The little mushroom is absolutely terrified now. Both him and the piglet are trapped. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Great. The wall is way too high to climb, and they're locked inside with the humans. This situation? Beyond unfavorable. It's a total disaster for our little fungus duo. The human hesitates. Should he slice the piglet or just stomp the mushroom first? He's weighing his options while the other humans are already dreaming about the reward. They're practically counting the gold before the mission is even over. Classic villain move. Meanwhile, the piglet is still in her own world thinking the mushroom is a snack. Pure hunger sends her into a total frenzy. She's ready for a little appetizer. Minutes pass in that cage. Suddenly, someone screams, wait, stay back, don't come closer. Boom. The walls explode. A force so powerful, it just shatters everything in sight. One human is definitely not waking up from this. He's down for the count. The area is completely trashed. His dying body teleports away safe, but totally humiliated. The other guy is losing it. How? I drank the potion. I'm level 38. Doesn't matter. The piglet stomps his stomach with pure, unadulterated rage. It's brutal. She grabs his clothes and starts shaking him like a cheap dog toy. Absolute chaos. She tosses him like a literal pillow. The guy flies through the air into the trees. He hits the ground hard and teleports back to the village. Battle over. Winners. Monsters. Level up. The mushroom hits 21 and the piglet reaches level 20. Just like that. Our mushroom is speechless. He knew she was tough, but this is insane. Now it's just the two of them. But wait, why is she still looking scary? That gaze is terrifying. The mushroom is shaking. Why are you looking at me like that? Her mouth is literally watering. She's turning toward the little guy with one goal. She is determined to satisfy that hunger, and the mushroom is the only target left. He quickly pulls up his evaluation skill. What the heck is wrong with her? Satiety? 0. She's in full berserker mode with 500 extra attack points. Oh boy, in this state, she's losing health and has 0 logic. She's just a hungry beast. He realizes too late the potion didn't fix her hunger, it just made her a monster. He backs away, sweating. Stay calm, I'll find you real food. Just please don't. Too late. She's found her meal. Sweet, cold, and shaped exactly like a mushroom. He doesn't want to believe it, but she's already midair. She's actually going to eat him. She's lunging at him, teeth bared, and honestly, our mushroom boy isn't sticking around to find out what happens next. He's hauling spores. Now it's a high-stakes chase with a hangry, enraged pig hot on his heels. Talk about a close call, he sidesteps just in time, and she slams headfirst into a massive boulder instead. Ouch. Even so, he's got to keep moving. He's terrified. If this piglet actually catches him, he's basically toast. But here's the problem. His friend's health is tanking. The more time passes, the worse her condition gets. She's getting hungrier by the second. His potions work great on him, but he's kicking himself for not packing snacks for her. Then, he stumbles upon a literal mountain of apples. Jackpot? Okay, a random pile of fruit in the middle of nowhere? Super suspicious. But behind him is a starving monster pig who doesn't give a damn about traps. This is it, his one shot to get some food into that piglet before she loses it completely. The enraged animal charges again. Our mushroom hero plays it cool, dodges the direct impact, and bullseye. The piglet faceplants right into the middle of the apple pile. From a safe distance, he stops to catch his breath. He watches the fruit pile intensely, his tiny mushroom heart hammering against his ribs. Suddenly, the top of the pile starts shifting. He leans in, desperate to see if his friend is okay or if she's gone full beast mode. The apples tumble away, and the piglet finally pops her head out. And guess what? The hangry status is gone. Sanity restored. She's back to her cute, normal self, and the mushroom lets out the biggest sigh of relief ever. He's totally fine with waiting until she eats her fill, but a thought hits him who actually left all this fruit here. Once she's stuffed, they head back toward the portal. It's time for the main quest, infiltrating the human village. The goal is simple. Get inside and figure out exactly what he needs for a class change. He starts walking. But get this, they aren't alone. The pig leader is still stalking them from the shadows. That's right, the chief pig has been secretly taking out humans this whole time just to protect these two clueless adventurers. Suddenly, the mushroom feels a cold shiver. His hands are literally trembling with anxiety. He's standing right at the edge of the beginner's village. This is the big one. He tries to psych himself up, thinking it's probably just a bunch of low-level newbies in there. He figures that once he's inside, he'll be the most dangerous creature in the zone. Full of confidence, he steps through the portal. Immediately, wham! He walks straight into something. It's a massive warning sign. The entire area around the portal is fenced off like a high-security prison. Fences everywhere, as far as the eye can see. Then, a piece of paper flying in the wind slaps him right in the face. It's a flyer. He peels it off, reads the content, and instantly pales. It's a dire warning about deadly monsters spotted nearby. He's stunned. How is that possible? This is supposed to be a low-level zone. He starts sweating bullets. He notices the language on the sign is exactly like his old world. Maybe it's a side effect of being transmigrated, but he's always been able to understand what these humans are saying. Not letting a sign stop him, he keeps pushing toward the village, looking for a way in. He finds an opening in the wall and watches the crowd. It's a massive flow of people, all protected by heavy guards. High above, birds are circling, and on the ground, everyone looks happy and safe. Standard RPG vibes, right? Wrong. One of those birds isn't a bird at all. It starts screeching and diving toward the crowd like a missile. It's a high-level monster. The peaceful atmosphere shatters in a second. People are screaming, running for cover. A poor kid is seconds away from becoming bird food, but before the monster can land a scratch, it's absolutely obliterated by a massive barrage of arrows. Our little mushroom is watching all this from the sidelines, completely terrified. He totally forgot the golden rule. Village sentinels are always insanely powerful. These guards are basically invincible. He realizes he needs to rethink his entire strategy before he gets turned into mushroom soup. Meanwhile, the piglet is just vibing, hugging an apple with pure affection. Seeing her gives him a brilliant idea. Nearby, he hears people gossiping about all the dangerous monsters appearing lately. Apparently, even a level 40 warrior got wrecked recently. Everyone is on edge, but then, a peculiar figure appears in the crowd holding a wand with an apple stuck on the end. Wait, what's his plan? They're so close to the gates, but then, a guard barks a command to stop. Heart attack time. Our hero freezes. Did they get caught? Not exactly. The guard just starts lecturing him about fines for littering. Yeah, seriously. He's told to dispose of that apple properly. Talk about a close call. The mushroom stays dead silent, rocking a mustache made of literal pig fur. Stealth? 100? Their masterful disguise? Just some wizard robes and a wand with an apple to bait the piglet along. It's the dumbest plan ever, but honestly, he feels like a total genius of disguise right now. A bit further in, and they hit the jackpot. The village center. It's got everything. Potion shops, blacksmiths hammering away at legendary gear, even a kiosk selling grilled monster meat. There's even a massive library. Our guy had only ever seen stuff like this in games. Seeing it for real? Totally different vibe. The graphics are on a whole other level. Now, mission number 1. Find someone who knows how to handle a class change. They weave through the crowds until they spot a bunch of humans gathered around. Time to eavesdrop. He inches closer to see what the hype is about. Turns out, everyone is reading a notice. It's a warning about dangerous monsters lurking just outside the village walls. Spooky stuff. To change classes, they need 10 shells each from red, blue, and green snails. Plus, a big one. A shell from a big snail? Wait, that sounds familiar. He's definitely heard of that before. The local kids are complaining though. With monsters roaming around, only the rich can afford to rank up. Snail shells are going for 50 coins a pop. Total ripoff. But what can they do? The class change ceremony is happening later this afternoon, and these kids are stressed. It gets crazier, they're actually looking for a level 60 player just to deal with one monster. One kid claims this monster isn't just a regular mushroom, it's smart, and it's got skills. Hearing this, our guy finally realizes why the streets are so empty, and he's definitely relieved that he didn't run into that level 40 player. Talk about dodging a massive bullet. The divine tree is set to release its class-changing energy once the sun starts to set. He tries to make a quick exit, but the piglet stumbles over the apple. Oh. Crash. The disguise is gone. They're standing right there in the middle of town, completely exposed. Total panic mode. He's sure the guards are going to swarm them any second now. People are staring. Even the shopkeepers stop what they're doing. He just curls up and prays. If the sentinels show up, it's game over for our little mushroom friend. Or so he thinks. But wait, nothing happens. People just keep walking by like he's part of the furniture. Turns out, they think he's just a pet for some ultra-rich noble. Apparently, mushrooms are expensive. He peeks out and realizes he's not being attacked. In fact, monsters are everywhere in this village. Look, a snail is acting as a backpack carrier, and there's a candle cat riding on someone's back. If everyone thinks he's just a fancy pet, this mission just got 10 times easier. He spots a boy wearing a very familiar-looking cap and decides to trail behind him. Walking with that characteristic main character swagger, the mushroom follows him into the queue. He's trying his best to keep a low profile. Then he sees something interesting off to the side, a sign pointing straight toward the village chief's house. Jackpot. He signals the piglet to break away from the crowd. It's time for a little detour. They head toward a massive rock in an open field to stay hidden from prying eyes. He whispers to the piglet that their main goal is just a few steps ahead. 2 players walk past, chatting about shop promotions and limited time deals. Typical gamer talk. They're planning to join a guild soon to make the grind a bit more manageable. One guy is kicking himself for not picking a priest class, since guilds are always hiring healers. But hey, tamers aren't bad either after all. The 3rd strongest player in this place is a tamer. Apparently, even angels and demons bow to him, creatures that would make any normal adventurer run for the hills. The kids think reaching that level? Absolutely impossible. Our little mushroom eavesdrops and gets super curious. Angels and demons? In this world? He's intrigued. He spots a crowd gathered over at the village chief's place. It's a nostalgic spot, for sure, but they stopped giving out quests there ages ago. So why the crowd? Our fungus friend is dying to know what's going on. One of the boys realizes today is the big day. The class change ceremony is finally here. Bingo! That's exactly the intel the mushroom needed. As the kids keep chatting, one boy mentions their dream of becoming top-tier tamers. His friend jokes around, saying he's already a pro with his tame mushroom and piglet companion. But wait, the boy's like, those aren't mine. They share a confused look and spin around, but the mushroom and piglet are already long gone. Poof! At the chief's house, a bunch of kids are standing in line, looking totally stressed. The ceremony is an hour late. Talk about bad service. Suddenly, the front door creaks open. Out walks this old-timer, clutching a staff made entirely of snail shells. Meet Broccoli. He's the one in charge. He casually apologizes for, Oversleeping. Classic old man move. He cheers them on, saying their hard work has brought them one step closer to being braves. The kids show some respect, bowing low to the elder. Then, he waves them all inside. The doors swing wide and the kids file in. Right at the very back, our mushroom. He's in a disguise, hoping this senile-looking guy won't notice a walking fungus. Should be easy, right? But Broccoli stops him. Are you the last one, kid? He plants his staff right in our hero's path. Hold on a second. Panic mode. Did he get caught? But no, Broccoli just points out that food isn't allowed. He reaches out his hand. He wants the apple. And yep, he just takes it for himself. What a thief. Inside the costume, the piglet is absolutely fuming. She is not happy. The mushroom tries to keep her quiet, but without that apple snack, things just got hard. Steering a grumpy piglet is a nightmare. He's struggling just to keep her walking straight. They finally wobble into the main hall, and while the view is absolutely jaw-dropping, it is the divine tree. And holy hell, this thing is massive, like skyscraper, massive. Ancient books surround the base, and its branches literally take over the entire room. From the outside, it looked normal, but this is pure magic. Look at the trunk. There's a woman's figure carved right into the wood. Every kid there is just staring in awe. Broccoli snaps them out of it. All right, put your materials in front of the tree, let's go. He's not playing around. He starts rushing the kids, telling them to move faster. The mushroom notices the change. The old guy is suddenly full of energy. Weird, right? Once the items are set, it's prayer time. Ask the tree for help and come back tomorrow. Simple enough. The kids start tossing their snail shells into the ceremonial pot. They close their eyes to pray, and suddenly, boom. The leaves start glowing like neon lights. Glowing leaves start drifting down like magic snow. But Broccoli notices a slacker in the back. Someone hasn't started the ritual yet, and yep, it's our mushroom friend just standing there. Broccoli isn't having it. He barks at him to get those ingredients in the pot. Right now. I won't say it twice, he growls, but the mushroom has a different idea. Can I use something else? He asks. I've got stuff way more valuable than some old shells. Broccoli isn't impressed. He demands the shells. Are you here to cause trouble? Kid. Tough crowd. The mushroom sighs and tugs on the piglet's ears to get her moving forward. Wait, look at the old guy. He is completely different now, downright terrifying. Our little mushroom friend still had no clue why those snail shells mattered. Suddenly, bam, a system error. The previous mission, a total and complete failure. And just like that, a brand new quest popped up right in front of him. Talk about bad timing. He was already in deep trouble. He didn't need this. The old man froze. He recognized the monster language coming from the little guy. Normal humans cannot hear that. He demanded to know what the mushroom really was. But our hero was so distracted by the glowing system screen, he barely heard. By the time he processed the old man's words about the monster tongue too late, the old man was gone. Just like that. Vanished, leaving him totally puzzled. Then it clicked. That old guy wasn't playing, he was ready to take him out. Suddenly, the system screen erupted. We are talking blinding, high-intensity light. He had to squeeze his eyes shut. The glare was just too much to handle. Crack! The old man's staff smashed into the ground, partially splitting the stone. But the mysterious speaker? Gone. Not a trace of the monster talker left behind. The old man stood there, staring at the empty space, wondering where he went. Turns out, the system dragged them into the penalty space. Total nightmare zone. Both the mushroom and his piglet companion slammed hard onto a floating platform. Ouch. As he recovered from the impact, he realized he had zero clue where they were. He checked the logs. Why a penalty? Just for failing one single mission? The terms were insane. Jump 10,000 platforms or it is game over literally. The clock was set to 1 hour. 60 minutes to pull off a miracle. He was absolutely terrified. The system never mentioned a death penalty before. Good luck, player. The system basically shrugged as the timer started ticking down. Wait, talk to me, he begged. There was no way he could do this alone. This felt like a total scam. Desperate, he looked around, his mind racing. No choice now. Either he clears this ridiculous mission, or he is history. Quick math. He needed to clear 3 platforms every single second. Pure madness. He turned to the piglet. Move it. We do not have a second to waste. Maybe if he charged up his power, he could clear multiple jumps at once. He focused, launched, and whoosh, he cleared a huge gap in a single bound. But wait, the piglet. She was still stuck way back on the starting line. She was just running in circles, totally panicked. This was not the time. Stop playing around, he yelled from above. Our lives are on the line here. Her eyes were wide with fear. She could not jump that high, but she tried. He screamed as she tumbled. He had to act fast, jumping back to grab her. He hauled her up with everything he had, but man, carrying her was exhausting. His lungs were burning. He needed to rest, but the clock was not stopping. 42 minutes left. 1,117 platforms down. Not enough. He popped a potion. No time for breaks, he growled, feeling the rush. 50 stamina points restored. He shoved the piglet onto his head. Hold on tight. They were flying now. Every jump made the poor little piglet shake with fear. Then the unthinkable. She sneezed. Midair. Total and utter disaster for his momentum. They plummeted. He lost a chunk of health and realized he might actually die. He looked down into the dark abyss. It looked like a bottomless, one-way trip. Luck was on his side as he hit the platform. Looking at the piglet, he's like, seriously, that was way too close. He tells her she's got to give a heads up before sneezing next time. For real, his heart can't take the jump scares. The piglet adorably demonstrates her warning signal. Fine, he sighs. I really hope you're not just messing with me. Back to the grind. He chugs more potions, though his legs are still shaking from the sheer, terrifying height. Our piglet friend, totally dozing off on his head. Meanwhile, with 30 minutes left, he isn't even halfway. Potion spamming commences. Sweating, exhausted, and probably vibrating from all the stats, he pushes on with pure grit. Failure isn't an option. 22 minutes on the clock, and he's still parkouring like his life depends on it. Time is ticking away fast. But wait, all that jumping actually paid off. His charge skill just leveled up. Suddenly, he's accelerating. Even with the piglet's extra weight, things are finally starting to look up for our boy. The buff is insane. One single jump now clears 10 platforms. He's basically a literal rocket at this point. 2 minutes left. The final boss of platforms is staring him down. Just one last hurdle to overcome. Here's the catch. The gap is massive. Carrying the piglet across this distance, the math just doesn't add up. He looks at her. Don't move. Not even a muscle. They literally cannot afford a single mistake right now. It's go time. With every ounce of strength and pure determination, he prepares to smash through this penalty. He jumps. They're soaring through the air, so close to finally escaping this absolute nightmare of a place. They rise and rise, but there's still a long way to go. The platform feels miles away. Mid-air realization. It's not going to work. Gravity is a hater, and they plummet right back onto the platform. He didn't even come close. He tells the piglet to hang on tight. They're doing this again, no matter what. He plants his feet firmly, grounding himself. This platform is his starting line, and he's not backing down. Get ready, he tells the piglet. Then, with a surge of courage, he charges for the platform once more. He tries, and tries, and tries again. But every single attempt ends in the same soul-crushing failure. Just over a minute remains. The piglet is starting to freak out. You can see the pure anxiety in her eyes. After so many fails, he's starting to wonder if he can even pull this off. But he won't lose hope. One more time, he decides. He positions himself, heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. He has to believe. This is the one. He's putting every bit of his remaining strength into this final leap. The piglet is locked in too. Less than 60 seconds on the clock. It's now or never, folks. She licks her companion to motivate him, but oops, it actually just distracts him. Thanks for the effort, little one. Suddenly, the piglet hops down from his head. Our mushroom protagonist is completely baffled. Wait, what? She just nuzzles him. No words needed. There's a look of pure, heartbreaking courage in her eyes. She looks at him, firm and steady. He realizes exactly what she's planning, and he absolutely hates it. She gives him one last warm look. Faced with the most brutal choice of his life, he breaks. Tears are streaming now. He walks to the edge, gathers his strength, and prepares for the lonely jump. Without the extra weight, he clears it easily. He reaches the final platform like it was absolutely nothing. It's almost cruel. Maybe the system was just testing his skills, but the cost was way too high. He made it, but the piglet isn't with him. He asks the system if she's going to be penalized. The response is chilling. Once the penalty is over, that world simply vanishes into thin air. Only death remains. That's definitely not what he wanted to hear. His heart just sinks into his stomach. Only 42 seconds left. He looks down from the height at his faithful companion, watching him from below. She's watching with concern, but his look back to her, it's a silent, painful apology for everything. He's standing right there at the portal. The exit from that world is literally right in front of him. Finally, he gathers his courage and jumps. But the crazy little mushroom jumps back downward. Impact! He loses 20 health points instantly, but he doesn't care. The piglet is absolutely stunned by this. There's no way he's leaving her. After everything they've been through, he'd never leave her behind. The piglet is outraged, pushing him while he stands there trembling with a swirl of complex emotions. Tears are flowing like a river now. The fear, the relief, the sheer madness of it, it's all crashing down. After everything, the pain, the struggle looking into her eyes changed everything for him. He couldn't just leave her behind. Not a chance. He's not that kind of guy. It's both of them or nothing. The little piglet sees that fire in his eyes. One final move. She's terrified. But if he's ready to jump, she's all in. Who is she to stop him? Our tiny mushroom hero takes a breath. He's shaking. This is the jump of a lifetime. No mushroom has ever done this. They're airborne. Halfway up already, pushing past every limit with pure momentum. So close. Just a few more feet and they're home free. Almost there. But the engine dies, gravity takes over. They're falling. Total disaster. 12 seconds left on the clock. That's it. Is it game over already? She shuts her eyes, bracing for the end. The seconds are just slipping away. The system warning is screaming in his ear. Panic sets in. He can't die here. Not like this. Suddenly, a memory flashes. He's got one last card to play. That explosive power, he remembers how that other mushroom propelled itself forward. 5 seconds. It's a crazy idea, but it's the only shot they've got left. He grabs her paws tight. Now, it's down to pure, unadulterated guts. He digs deep and boom. A massive spore explosion rips through the air. They're rising, like a rocket, blasting toward the exit with everything he's got. Call it the spore jet. Only 1 second left. 1 second. Almost there, and yes, she clears the portal just as the timer hits 0. 0 hour. Challenge complete. Talk about a literal buzzer beater. They tumble through the light, landing hard in a completely new area. Ouch. Piglet lands right on his head, but she's just thrilled to be alive. He's still traumatized from almost dying, and she's already grinning. Unreal optimism. Look up. The sky is glowing, revealing the massive, angry-looking divine tree. Our boy wants answers. Is he finally free from this nightmare after that penalty? 1 hour felt like a lifetime, but now he's finally calling the shots. Night has fallen. Finally, some peace and quiet to start the big ritual. Time for the class change. But the piglet, she's just standing there, paralyzed. She's staring at him like he's the most incredible hero in the world. In her head, they're basically soulmates now, bound together for all eternity. Hey, you coming? He asks, completely oblivious to her romantic vibes. She sprints toward him, eyes practically sparkling with pure, uncontained joy. Okay, the old guy mentioned specific ingredients, but how do these items even work? How is a pile of random junk supposed to turn him into a legendary warrior? He spots a shell in a pot. Suddenly, a green glow gets sucked right inside. He pauses. The gears are turning. Wait, I think I finally get it. He tosses the shell aside. If the pot needs to be empty, then everything goes. He starts dumping out every single pot he can find. Trash everywhere. He's convinced this is the secret to the ultimate super power-up. He didn't bring his own gear, but borrowing from others, no big deal. He clasps his hands together, looking all serious and ready to start praying. Oh, great divine tree, give me that sweet, sweet class upgrade right now. He peeks one eye open. Nothing. Absolute silence. Is this thing on? Maybe he did it wrong? Do I need to, clear my heart first? Back at it again. He chants his secret mantra to the divine tree, but total silence. Attempt number 3. He throws in some weird, made-up magic words. Still nothing. Rough. Desperation kicks in. He starts praying with some seriously bizarre phrases, hoping for a miracle. No luck. The scene hasn't changed at all. The tree is just standing there. Now he is starting to wonder, is it true? Are monsters really banned from class changes? Right on cue, the system pops up. It basically tells him he should just give up already. Seeing that notification? Oh, it just pisses him off. It is like the system is mocking him. But he is not a quitter. He has come too far to stop now. He will find a way. There has to be a path. He literally shouts for silence so he can actually focus. Meanwhile, the piglet is just vibing, hopping around, and snacking on these glowing green dots. Our mushroom tells her to stop eating everything in sight, but then something crazy happens. The piglet actually levels up. Right there, this should be completely impossible. Suddenly, he is very interested in that green energy. One of those glowing orbs drops on him. Boom, right on the head. And that is when the light bulb finally goes off in his mind. It just gave him 50 experience points. Just like that, for doing absolutely nothing at all. He analyzes it. It is condensed monster magic. The catch? Humans cannot touch the stuff directly. He pieces it together. Humans use mushroom shells as a filter to soak this power up. The secret isn't the snail or the shells, it is the raw, condensed energy from the tree. Big brain moment. He tells the piglet to save some for him. It is time to feast. The new mission? Eat every single green orb in sight. No crumb left behind. They start devouring the energy, and man, those level-up notifications start flying fast. Soon, they have burned through their potions. Absorbing this much power is exhausting for him. He tells the piglet to chug a stamina potion, but she doesn't care. She is on a roll. He checks her stats, and honestly, he is stunned. This little piglet is a literal beast. She is already level 28. He's officially feeling the pressure his friend is out-leveling him. It is hard to keep up with someone who treats a dungeon like a buffet. Being a mushroom has its downsides. He needs a better way to drain all this energy. There has to be a shortcut to absorb it all at once. He calls for the system. It repeats its annoying warning. Monsters cannot change classes. But he is looking for a loophole. He is level 27 now. He digs through his inventory, searching for anything useful. Nothing in the bags. So, he shifts his focus to his skills. Something catches his eye. Decomposition. It is ready to go. He looks up at the massive divine tree and smirks. Why not? He is already here. Time to go big. He has got nothing left to lose. He plants his little feet, gathers every bit of strength, and launches himself into the air. To get that extra height, he triggers his spore jet. He is flying now, straight to the top. He sticks a perfect landing right on top of the sculpture's head. Talk about a pro move. From the ground, the piglet is panicking. She is terrified he's going to fall. He waves her off. Just sit back and watch, he tells her. The show is starting. The little guy closes his eyes, leans his back against the tree, and takes a breath. Sorry about this, he whispers. Then, he triggers his decomposition skill with everything he has got. Waves of power start pouring out of him. Since the tree is organic, it is the perfect target. His potential is through the roof. His backside begins to glow with an intense, blinding light. He pours every ounce of focus into the skill. The piglet watches from below, completely breathless. With a massive shout, he pushes harder. The system screams a warning about unknown consequences. Does he care? Nope, he is committed. There is no turning back now. Whatever happens, happens. Our mushroom boy is locked in. He's not just taking some power, he's vacuuming up every drop of energy he can find, leveling up like crazy. His skills are becoming absolutely flawless. And check out those glowing green orbs dropping from the canopy. But wait, they aren't just falling away. They're being pulled back. The magic isn't leaking out into the air anymore. Nope, it's a total lockdown. Every single ounce of mana is flowing straight into our little mushroom protagonist. Talk about a power drain. The leaves are shriveling, and even the sturdy branches are starting to look like old raisins. Warnings? Who cares about warnings? He screams for the absorption to continue. Down on the ground, though, our piglet friend is absolutely losing it with worry. But the mushroom? He's just roaring as that raw power floods his system. The energy is literally being ripped out of the tree's soul. It's aging centuries in seconds. Look at that bark cracking. It's becoming a husk, totally bone dry. But our tiny hero? He's hanging on with everything he has left. He's breaking down the essence of life itself. It takes every bit of focus he has, and then bam, it's done. He's actually glowing, no, pulsating. There's so much mana stuffed inside him that it looks like he's about to pop. He's fighting to keep it down, trying to digest all that raw energy. It's a struggle, and man, it looks painful. Muscles straining, teeth grit the works. Meanwhile, the piglet is just watching, terrified for her friend. Then, something weird happens. A tiny flower starts to sprout. He's trying to hold it back, but it's coming. He's pushing, pulling, trying to contain it, but no luck. Our piglet friend is practically shaking with anxiety now. Too much power. Way too much. The floodgates break and that flower blooms with a blinding flash. He lets out a total guttural scream. Pain? Oh, you bet. And then, rays of pure light start shooting out of him like a disco. It's like he's being pierced by light from the inside out. Definitely not your average, painless level up. The little guy is a literal sun now. These beams of magic are bouncing everywhere, ricocheting off the trees and the rocks. It's chaos. Pure magical shrapnel flying everywhere. The piglet is tracking them, trying to stay safe, until bullseye. One stray beam catches the poor little pig right in the chest and sends her flying into the distance. She's gone. But despite the explosions and the literal earth-shaking, the old man, still out cold. He just rolls over and keeps on sawing logs. Classic. But check the wall. Something's happening with that glowing rune. The seal of Golem's left hand is flickering. It's failing. And that beam of energy? It's still on the move. It's bouncing off the atmosphere, spreading out until it paints the entire night sky. To the rest of the world, it looks like a beautiful shooting star passing over the starting forest. The pig tribe looks up in awe, their leader sensing something big. Remember, 2 mushrooms are carrying the king's legacy now. Then boom, a massive shockwave. That energy ray streaks right through the time castle like a hot knife through butter. In the dirt, a forgotten doll starts to glow. Even the submerged world deep below isn't safe from this light. Deep in the abyss, an ancient seal starts to crack. And from the darkness of the trenches, a beast lets out a roar that shakes the tectonic plates. The ocean is going absolutely wild now. Over in the Penacon Desert, some mysterious hooded guys are taking notes. Meanwhile, at the Source Volcano, the top guild leaders are all staring at the sky. Even the land of the dead is getting a show. Creepy eyes everywhere just watching. It feels like every monster in the world decided to wake up at once. It wasn't just one star. The sky was filled with them. Finally, the sun starts to crawl over the horizon. A little bird spots a stray petal floating on the breeze and decides to follow it down. It lands right at the chief's place, inside the hall of the divine tree. The place is a total wreck. Amidst the debris, someone finally starts to wake up. First thing he sees, a bookshelf. Then, out of nowhere, a glitchy system screen pops into view. Wait for it, update in progress. And get this, it just burned through 5 million experience points. 5 million! The system basically throws a party, congratulating him on the massive promotion. Our player is officially a brave. Our groggy little mushroom is like, wait, did that actually happen? Then it hits him, the grind was worth it. He's actually reached the rank of a brave. He doesn't even hesitate. He smashes that accept button immediately. The second he clicks it, his world shifts. He feels this weird, powerful tingle in his hand and everything changes. Whoa, check this out. The reflection in the screen is totally different now. He's actually got human hands. He lifts them up, staring in pure disbelief. After all that insanity, he's finally back to being a real human. It feels so surreal that he's convinced he must be dreaming. But then, he looks down and sees something even better. His eyes literally light up with joy. It's the only mushroom he actually cares about. And yep, it's back where it belongs. Realizing he's finally whole again, our boy can't help himself. He just starts screaming with pure happiness. All right, celebration over. Now he just needs to find that piglet. He tries to stand up, but his body feels super clunky. I guess being a fungus for so long makes walking on two legs feel weird. Suddenly, his hand brushes against something soft. He starts petting what he thinks is a plush snout with his fingers. It feels nice, so he keeps going. With his hand flat against it, he can feel the piglet's head moving from side to side. But wait, something's wrong. Why does it feel like there are two heads now? He looks down, curious, and his heart nearly stops. The thing right next to him isn't a piglet at all. His entire soul just freezes as a massive nosebleed takes over. Our little mushroom hero has absolutely no clue who this gorgeous woman is or where she came from. Warning, this is the Mushroom Police. We've got a seriously spicy situation here, so extreme censorship is now in effect. Just a quick tip for the road. Mistakes are temporary, but the regret of getting caught is eternal. Stay sharp. There's a literal woman just chilling completely naked beside him. He thinks he must be hallucinating from the human transformation, but then it clicks. He remembers that the piglet got blasted by that weird ray too. This is actually her. Suddenly, she starts to wake up. He panics and starts stuttering apologies, promising he didn't see a single thing. But instead of screaming, she just lunges at him, shouting mushroom, with a huge smile on her face. Talk about a reaction he didn't see coming. Suddenly, two very large, soft, and sweet assets are flying toward his face. She's hugging him with pure, unadulterated joy. On the other hand, our boy is basically having a total heart attack. There is zero doubt in his mind, now this girl is definitely the piglet he was looking for. Those two piglets are being pressed right against his face, and honestly, he's dying of embarrassment. He manages to shove her away because he's a gentleman, his friend is too innocent, and he won't take advantage. He's trying to stay human in every sense of the word, but then she hugs him again, saying he smells delicious. While he's struggling for his life, they hear people outside talking about the crazy meteor shower from the night before. He needs to get his people out of there, fast. If anyone sees him like this monster or human, it's game over. Looking at the destruction around him, he knows they're in deep trouble if they get spotted now. He turns to call out to the piglet girl, but he has to look away immediately. It's just too much for him. He quickly pulls up his inventory screen. Luckily, he's got a cloak in there to finally cover himself up. Thank God for these clothes, or things were about to get way too indecent for a public recap. The girl is busy sniffing his new cloak like it's the best thing ever, while he's frantically planning an escape. His only real move is to trigger a spore explosion and vanish into the chaos while everyone is distracted. This place is massive, so he knows he's going to need every drop of strength he's got for this to work. He tenses up his hands and feet, concentrating with everything he's got. Here it comes, the big boom. He puts in all his effort, releases the power, and times pleft asterisk. Just a pathetic little puff of smoke. Nothing happens. The piglet girl just tilts her head, looking at him like he's lost his mind. He's just as confused as she is. What happened to his abilities? He shoves her back, telling her it's not playtime, and he tries to focus again. Gritting his teeth, he pushes even harder, praying for a massive explosion. But once again, just a weak little puff. Now he's officially freaking out. Has he actually lost all his monster powers just by becoming human? He frantically calls up the system. Since his body is brand new, he has to relearn how to use his skills. The system basically tells him to get good and start finishing missions if he wants his powers back. Mission number 1. Go out and eliminate 10 level 20 monsters. No big deal, right? Wrong. This really gets on his nerves. All this system ever does is bark orders and hand out chores. Sensing his annoyance, the system admits they got off on the wrong foot and asks for a little favor. It wants the player to officially give himself a name. Out of all the crazy twists, he didn't expect that. Naming things is the absolute worst. Seriously. Our guy never thought he'd have to come up with a handle on the fly, and he is not. He's convinced the system is just trolling him at this point. Plus, there are people right outside talk about some seriously bad timing. He snaps at the system, calling it a total gold digger. But the system claps back, saying it hasn't seen a single penny from him yet. Deep breath. Okay. If the system won't help, he'll just have to rely on his own instincts. Classic protagonist move, right? He settles on the name Demo. Done. Now, let's get to the good stuff, checking that sweet inventory. Fingers crossed for a legendary weapon, but nope, just snacks and basic potions. Wait, what's that hidden in the corner? The system drops some advice, telling him to be kind because surprise he's officially human now, complete with all those messy feelings. Emotions? Great, but more importantly, he's holding a teleport scroll. If this thing actually works, they are home free. The goal? The fountain right in the city center. Though, honestly, he's still not entirely convinced. It just doesn't feel right. Suddenly, he hears it, that same old voice, grumbling about oversleeping and being late. Classic. The old man is on the warpath. Our hero is sweating bullets. Is this scroll actually going to work? He's got no other choice. It's now or never. He burns 20 mana points and triggers the scroll. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. A magic circle starts glowing right under his feet. It's happening. He just needs it to kick in before he gets caught. Tick-tock. The old man is closing in fast, and for some reason, the little piglet starts chatting him up right now. Seriously? Why now? Little guy. The magic circle is pulsing with light, getting brighter and brighter by the second. The old man is steps away from the hall of the divine tree. Our mushroom and piglet friends are still just hanging out there. He walks in and starts his usual lecture to the kids about magical materials. Business as usual, or so he thinks. Suddenly, the mushroom's face glows with this weird blue light. The old man stops mid-sentence, his eyes widening in total shock. He looks around the hall and holy crap, the entire place looks like a tornado hit it. It's an absolute disaster zone. Tables flipped, artifacts shattered, it's a total wreck. And keep in mind, the village chief is supposed to be one of the strongest guys around. One of the kids pipes up, mentioning they saw a massive flash of light coming from the hall last night. The plot thickens. The old man doesn't miss a beat. He slams his staff onto the ground, thud. Time for some professional damage control. He claims that since the ceremony was small, the tree's energy got too dense and caused the mess. Nice cover story. He plays it off like it's no big deal. Just a little energy overflow. Totally normal. Definitely not a mysterious intruder. Move along. He leads them toward the tree, acting all cool and collected. He's been doing this for years, so what could possibly go wrong? He's thinking he can fix whatever's broken. No sweat. But then, he sees it, and his heart just drops. He's completely paralyzed. This isn't just a messy room, this is a nightmare. He can't even process what he's looking at. The divine tree? It's completely dead, just bone dry. Even the kids are staring in disbelief. This was supposed to be their protector. It looks ancient and withered, with every single branch stripped bare. Total catastrophe. And on that bombshell, we are out of time. That's it for today. If you don't want to miss the fallout of this disaster, make sure you hit that notification bell right now. Stay tuned, and I will see you all in the next one, right here on the channel. Peace.